TSM has been doing a really good job of shutting down
Nice
Dan.
shot through the wall. A hell of a performance by Scyther. But there goes the Goyo shield as well, and some damage gets done to the ace with just over a minute left in the round.
The important thing to note is that Team Empire has only used 3 drones so far. They have 7 more to go. So meanwhile, TSM, they held on. Well, you trade 2 for 2, but Empire have somehow managed to gain all this information while not losing any drones in the process.
Yeah, that in my opinion, like Merc
due to having those drones
versus Dan is going to be.
Is so clear. And Shepard, he wants more.
Oh my
nice shot.
God. What
Basically, that's going to define this game.
Down goes Geo. Merc now with Nitro Cell in hand. He can derail this push with a well-timed explosive, but he has to rely on Empire pushing together. They have a numbers advantage in a 3v2, but both Chala and Merc have been good in the clutch before, as have Empire. And you've got some of the best players on Empire still upright. Their 2 main forces of Joystick and Dan not available, but that's okay. Sometimes Dan, he's known to have bad matches here on Clubhouse. What are you going to do? 15 seconds to go, and now you know that the stack up is coming through this doorway. Chala's down for the count. A grenade gets tossed in. Merc deftly avoids it, but he's in so much trouble. 2 targets for him to collect.
I thought he hit that shot for a minute.
And Empire answers back with a round of their own to tie the game.
Really good 2 versus 3 there from Empire. It was one person outside the windows, always on that hatch on office, and the diffuser came from construction. This means they could go in any direction they would like to and play off each other as they had that kind of 1-2-3 situation. Connect that person can help the window player or go into office of the office player. The opening kill from Always at the end there opened it up into that 1 versus 3, which really just seals the deal. Merc here finds 1, and then he found a second. Look there. Nice.
Nice shot.
Merc just seems to find these openings somehow. Oh, Scyther. And there we see, yep, Shepard.
That was just incredible. Absolutely incredible shot.
But that kill right there from Always, getting the kill into Chala instead of Office, that's what really opens up the round in that 2 versus 3, because now you can just walk on in, it's just Merc alive, very low on health, has no C4, used it earlier on the window, didn't do any damage, and well, you can either just plant for free or overpower him with guns. And now we are indeed seeing the rotation that we spoke about last round. Will we see the bar next if Gym doesn't work? The answer is yes. Basement, Gym into bar. No CC available. And again, TSM, they want to play the map. Bar allows them to do so. And on the Gym, they did a good job at extending. Early aggression onto the CC side, opened up the walls, had multiple shields with that going available. But
the charms are working now. Not for me, they're not.
Trade, which arguably
you could type exclamation code. That's the I made like a little tweet with like info how to get it.
Look at this bomb site, Nick.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Or
is it beautiful?
Or not? It depends on how you look at it.
Is it beautiful?
If they win, it's amazing. If they lose, you're gonna hate it.
Would you like to talk to me about the win rate and play rate of this bomb site? Because it is the redheaded stepchild of all 4 bomb sites on this map. I might be a redheaded child, but I'm no stepchild, so I don't know what that feels like. Don't at me. But I will tell you that we have started to see a new resurgence, as this was once known as the 2nd best bomb site on Clubhouse prior to the rework.
Long time ago.
It was then a bad bomb site because you go upstairs to Gym Bedroom or Cache, those were better. But now here on Bar Stock, teams are bringing it out more often.
Yeah, it's been played 25 times in 271 rounds, but the win rate actually isn't all that bad. It's better than CCTV, sitting at 48% win rate in favor of the defense. However, Clubhouse overall has a 55% win rate, so it's still down there. But it's one of those pocket picks where, well, you can bring it out of nowhere, and if teams are not as comfortable attacking against it, or if you just have a very fancy setup, it can actually skew those numbers a lot higher than what is 48% defensive win rate on the paper. We'll see how America deal with it. I mean, they're doing a cache over right now, similar attack as a Gym attack, where you roam over, you take the map control, but look at the timer, 1 minute and 30 seconds left, half the rounds burned, 9 drones left for Empire. They have information, but now they also gotta find the entries.
Absolutely, in time now at the halfway point here.
This is good though. TSM's doing stalling out well. This site though is like a problem.
Dan's still alive. Why does Dan seem to always have? I always seem to have bad performances on Clubhouse, with the exception of when they won in Milan. Dan doesn't seem, at least at this SI, to have the best performance on this map. It's gonna get worse. Bolo on a nice shot upstairs in Gym. That weight room position so strong. And the one thing that the UMP has going for it is the thing's a laser beam. That sounded like a one-tap to down Always, by the way. What happened to him? There goes Shepard.
Yep.
Empire falling by the wayside. Always actually fell off the roof, by the way. So that single bullet we heard, not intended for always, maybe intended for somebody else.
Wait.
An answer back as Merc is down for the count. Joystick sacrifices some HP to equalize, but there he goes to a Nitro Cell by Achieve from below. Empire, with 30 seconds left, are unable to get into the bomb site, and now Scyther is the next one
Dude
in line.
fell
as
off the
always,
roof.
is completely unretrievable. There's no way Scyther's going to be able to... Oh, maybe, but look at the clock. By the time he gets to Always and gets him back up, there's only going to be 20 seconds left. How the hell are you going to be able to pull this one off? I appreciate what Empire is doing, but I don't think this is going to be doable.
Here.
They're going to be there playing to die and will require one of the most absurd clutches we have ever seen. Where are they going to go? Inside a kitchen. Achieved here's both of them. Lining up, there's one, turns his back to buy time, and the clock ultimately gives the round to Empire despite them killing Achieved. Barstock goes in favor of the defense.
Even Achieved was like, there's no way they're both in kitchen, right? That it just doesn't make any sense. And sure enough, Achieved, they were
George,
both inside
do you think we
kitchen
could implement
because of
that in our
unfortunate slip from the roof
rank
earlier
strat?
that the Sledge, unfortunately,
Okay.
had. Empire, they
I
have
wanna be
this
Bolo,
issue
though.
at times where they seem
Okay.
to get stuck. And if the enemy doesn't like give them the opening, which in this case was just, you know, the opening kill going to favor of TSM, Bolo hitting the shot at Dan. That right there, this kill, boom. Empire completely stuck. Have no way in. There you see Always slipping off the edge of the roof. Nobody can save him. The wall wasn't breached. It takes so long to rotate all the way outside the building. This C4 from Achieved, trading out Joystick when he found this kill, massive. That evens back the man count in favor of yourself because TSM, of course, had no idea that Always slipped off the roof, didn't know he was injured. They thought there was a 3 versus 3, and that just means that C4 in their head was even more impactful than we knew from the spectator point of view.
Well, obviously elation now from TSM, who they didn't have to play all that much earlier today. Fatigue is something that gets discussed when a best of 5 comes up.
And Dan did not like that when he died. That's unfortunate.
No, not at all. Fatigue plays a huge role in a best of 5, and even if it didn't go past 3 maps, that 22 map spectacle on Coastline between G2 and Empire. Empire players will tell you they did not recover from that.
Yeah.
That drained their will to go forward, and then ultimately Border and Bank fell, and that was it. That was the series. For teams that are more experienced, you know that endurance, and especially for teams that used to play at those old DreamHack events, where you'd be playing 9, 12 maps a day, an incredible amount. TSM
Dude, I'm so
could be
tired
potentially
right now.
playing 7 maps today, which seems like
I'm
but
good
in all
though.
reality, teams are usually
I gotta
prepared
watch how they
for
win.
2 best of 3s. What the hell is that, Bolo?
Dan just got picked 4 rounds in a row.
And then, well,
Smack yourself more, Dan!
Right
Wake up!
Punishes his team.
Oh, you know what? I was wondering why Dan looks so familiar. He's in my favorite movie, Gladiator, Tiltimus Maximus.
Oh no, don't say that.
Tiltimus Maximus. Here's the goal. You tilt the hell out of him. That's it. Dan has been the first to die on 3 of the 4 rounds thus far, and you can tell that he must be frustrated by it. And his compadre, his comrade, Joystick,
they're gone,
2 of the most formidable players in the world, both are now down for the count, and there's still 2 minutes to go.
Joystick just walked, look at this. Joystick just walked on the main stairs before the Sledgehammer did the vertical play. They could have waited 20 seconds, always could have gotten in the building, done the vertical damage, then you walk down with support or a drone even. I'm not sure if they're getting inside their own heads or getting frustrated with themselves, but the player camps that we just saw when they lost the previous round, it looks like Team Empire in for a really bad mental game on their first map, which was their choice. That's really not good. Now we see again Empire not playing together, creeping around. Sure, there's a drone nowadays and always on the main stairs. It's some sort of crossfire. But Geo, he has the strip room completely readied up.
Once again, and this was about the time that they killed Geo before, so they've knocked Empire off stride more than in previous rounds. Now the question is, how much energy and utility do you expend on Geo? Because if you don't, you're going to have 2 players pushing the bomb site while Shepard escorts the diffuser in. Geo is going to be on flank, you know that. Scyther and Always will have to be watching flank while the other watches Shepard get the diffuser down. And guess what? There's still 4 players at TSM now unaccounted for. And
I mean,
that's
I'm
trouble
happy
for
they're
Empire.
going after him, but I don't know why they're going after.
Because you need all 3 players
they're pushing so hard to clear this room, they're going to get annihilated on it. I'm happy it's happening.
Not closing in yet, but this Toxic Babe's going to buy so much time.
Well, they create a hole, so TSM says we're going to use that as well. And out goes the Toxic Canister, and there's the flank, but Shepard handles it. Doesn't lose a single bit of HP, and the Geo flank that was looming large, now it's gone. TSM, though, they're still inside of the bomb site. They've got it working for them. Scyther down for the count. A 4v2 featuring TSM, still deeply protected. Both players on Empire 15 seconds to go.
I know, dude. Gio's ratting so hard.
Ace some blowhole.
Ace some. But kitchen hatch is closed, so Shepard has to drop in, dies with diffuser and Moto, and always, how about never? That is a third round for TSM through the first 4 on Empire's map.
Dude,
Parker like comes up with
start
these in his
for this
head
North
like
American
months
team.
prior.
I have good news if you're
He
Empire.
definitely
And
does.
always?
Now locked
How
for the
about
remainder
never?
of this map. TSM
That's
cannot go
smart, that's smart, but-
downstairs again, which means
I
you
feel
just
like
don't have to worry about
Parker
it.
like
You can
wakes up
completely
and he
ignore
has
what
like a
happened in the
dream
past.
journal
Look
where
at
he's
each
coming
and
up like
every round in
puns
front
and
of
stuff
you.
like that for the
Because
cast.
every single round matters so much from Rainbow Six
Every
Siege.
night
If
before he
somebody
goes to
gets
bed, he
7
reads his
rounds
little
first,
journal.
that's the map. And of course, if you go OT, you gotta get 8. You
I
see
have a
this
little
here,
red book.
always sledged open the barricade. Dan held the angle, but Bolo somehow got the kill, and Dan once again, frustration as he's showing very physically. Then Joystick walks down the main stairs with no support, dies as well. Sure, nice shot from Shepard to shut down the Geo flank, but it doesn't matter. It's an impactless kill. What could be impactful just wasn't. The hatches were closed, there was no breach. The only thing that was opened up was Moto hatch, which funny enough, the defenders opened themselves, I believe. So, Team Empire, they're getting stuck on the map. Time is ticking down. They got drones alive, but they're not progressing. They're not finding the openings. And now they gotta do it. Gym plus 1 bomb site. Could be bar, again, could be CC, but they gotta attack Gym first. Last time, they tried to do that roam clear from CC side, opened up the main breach, walked into server cache, cleared out. It was that 2-for-2 trade, so 3 versus 3, and then they progressed through and they traded back and forth. And ultimately, Team Empire ended up winning that round, but it was kind of close.
All right, well, Gym
Keep tilting
bedroom
down.
again, and
This man was
we
sweating
will say
before
an
the
awful lot
game.
about Team Empire over the course of this
think
best
he's
of
nervous,
5. Buckle up, by the
maybe.
way. It might be an exhilarating thrill ride so far.
Yeah.
It's probably only going to get better. That's how these things usually work. But when we talk about
Wake
Team
up,
Empire,
dude. I'm tired.
I feel like if you took a shot of the finest Russian vodka you could find, every single time you heard this following phrase, well, they would study you to see the human body's ability to ingest that much alcohol. Here's the phrase: Russian machine never breaks. And that is correct. Empire are so resilient when it comes to that mental game, Nick. They do not ever quit. They can pull off remarkable comebacks.
Dan seems
We've
pretty
seen it happen
tilted,
in
dude.
Mexico. We've seen it happen in Raleigh. We even saw it happen on that coastline map. And we've seen it happen here. This team can never be counted out. And that is something that TSM will know.
Parker.
TSM will understand, we got them on the ropes. This is perfect. They can always bounce back.
Yeah, last time Empire was against a North American team that wasn't TSM, or at least like in their very opening game against Sonics, they were down really bad on Oregon. Sonics looked like they had the match.
Dude, I hope Merc
but
gets staying
what do you know?
again.
Empire brought it back like 6 or 7 rounds in a row, took it to OT, then won in OT
I'd burp.
8-7. So they can make comebacks. We've seen it before. Now we see the drone
little bit
actually
more.
missed Bolo, but a second drone's falls in the
LG
Gemini,
Days
that
holds
is, in the
one
beginning.
player. Welcome
Bolo
back.
almost got away with a sneaky play,
Glad
but
to be
Empire,
back.
they ensure that this does not happen, and that's good for them because they need something to go well in that first minute of the round. Otherwise, it's going to be another one of those extremely frustrating situations as Joystick now makes his way through Garage, but 40 seconds has been spent and almost no ground has been made. The Chief has this Go Shield
Kill
and the
him, Merc.
Jammer inside of CCTV.
Kill him!
That's their extension. That's where TSM wants to sit and fight. And you can argue Empire, vertical nation down below can do a ton of damage. And last time they tried to do that, Merc
you
got
have a
2
donut.
kills. So Empire, what do you do?
Danny Donuts.
Well, apparently what you do is you start from the top and move on over. And all of the bodies from Empire right now surrounding that cache part of this map. Achieve has already lost some of the wall, but he has an Electric Claw that can go up against the wall and potentially even one of the shields as well. We'll see exactly where the radius of that was.
Donuts are pretty good.
Kai Claw
Not
actually
in
did not go
Siege.
through. The summer charge exploded, that then killed the claw, so the wall has been opened up. And that means 1 soft wall and 1 breached wall here. That means that TSM and Achieved have no cover inside of the cache.
That is pretty bad, but you've used at least half of the clock, and there goes a nice nade tossed out onto Achieved. At that point, you're playing to die in cache, Nick.
Yeah, look, Joystick creeps up, the flashbang, almost team flash, but not quite. Bolo reaches the situation, but no, Joystick is just so much better in this position.
I imagine this will be a story moving forward. Joystick's ability to go toe-to-toe with that 3-pronged attack and that 3-pronged roam that we often see of Achieved, Bolo, and Merc. So a huge advantage for Empire in this round. Looking to keep it close on this Gym and Master take. they don't like going to CCTV cash on TSM's side of things. It's another attempt on a
Kill
bomb
Dan
that
again,
TSM
Merc.
lost previously.
Get him.
And with just a little under a minute to go, they're not in great shape. It's a
Get him.
5v3 for Team Empire.
And they have to now close it out, right? Like, dude, last time 2 versus 3. Now they got to do it 5 versus 3.
He's on the windows, Merc.
Always
Get
on
him.
the hatch. You got Dan and Scyther on the windows with Shepard and
Dan
Joystick
still
inside
has
of
a donut.
construction. So they got the ground covered. They got the positions. Now, well, they got to do the execute.
And they know that they've
Take
got
down
at least
Danny
one player
Donuts.
inside a garage, too. Nate goes out by always. Merc evades it. They drop, but Merc has some problems with Shepard, as does Geo. Chala's inside of the bathroom. He's trapped. He's a goner. There's no way for him to get out. The wall's still closing in, and Aid goes in as well. Can he dance around that one? He can!
No, Dan got a
the
kill.
man
Shit!
gets
It seems
the
like that's
final
not their
kill.
site.
And how about a flawless round for Empire to try and keep this matchup close?
Yeah, they
Dan got
needed
his
that,
skill
and this
chat.
kind of shows the story that Empire, well, they get stuck when things really don't go their way, because if they don't find the opening, it's all panic. It's all like, what are we gonna do? And that round, well, the Nade got the opening, then Joystick walked up the staircase with a second guy behind him, Flashbang came out. It was a 50-50 gunfight, but even if Bolo had taken down Joystick, there was 2 more players from the side of Team Empire that had walked on up the staircase or into the red breach and then traded out regardless. So a really good job here. You see there, good entry. Shepard, same story in office. 2 players from Empire was inside the office with Joystick and Shepard together. So even if one person loses out the gunfight, there's a second person to follow it up. That's what Empire can do when they're in the man advantage. But when they're down in numbers, that's when they struggle the most. And TSM, they're gonna go back to bar.
Dan
No
is sweating,
CC
yeah.
will be had from the side of TSM.
Dan
on
was
the
like,
first 60
literally,
remaining
so
rounds of
listen, if
bars.
they,
That's
chat,
a
no
first.
joke, if they shut down Dan, I honestly think they win this,
I think
especially on
this is a moment
defense.
that the desk will
Last
look
time they
back on
lost
with
to
a
Empire
bit
was
of
because of
judgment, because
Dan,
I
like literally
understand
getting
that there's a
opening
Maverick
picks
on the
like pretty
board.
much
I
every
understand that
round.
there's a Thatcher ban in play. I understand that Kaida's available and the
Dan
Maverick's
got
available.
left
and
hanging
yada,
by
yada.
his
There's gonna be that
coach.
whole juggling of the wall. But teams pull it off. Teams pull off a CCTV cache defense, even with these operator bans
Dan
being
is
present.
cool as a cucumber.
So I have to wonder what TSM knows.
And
if they
Dan
lose
clutched a
this round
2v4
here
on
and they
close
emerge from the
coastline.
first half tied up
Honestly,
with
it's not even
Empire,
the clutches,
that
it's just
the
the
desk is
opening
gonna say,
picks.
well, why didn't you at least give a crack at
Like,
CCTV and cache?
Coast is
Let's
a hard
see,
map to
especially with Team
defend.
Bedroom, which the first time that Empire won it, I think there was a kill or 2 from TSM. Second time, no kills from TSM.
Yeah, it's true, and the thing is this, I agree with your statement about the Maverick being open, the Thatcher's banned, and therefore CC is bad, because I agree, when Maverick is open, CC sucks. But more so than just the bomb side preference, I think the way that TSM wants to approach this matchup against Team Empire, the way that they see themselves comfortable in the game, is when they can play the majority of the map. And CCTV
You
as a
believe in
bomb
Empire?
side, well, you're stuck inside the bomb
Why
side,
don't you want
waiting for
America
them
to
to
win,
breach the
dude?
wall, then waiting for them to take Garage, and then waiting to lose the round. On bar, you can go up above, extend out, take some gunfights, hold a certain area of the map, and make a decision on how to play dynamically. And that's how TSM wants to play. You can argue that Clubhouse might be the hardest map for them, because every other map in this series, well, they speak to more map control, and that's what TSM wants. And I think that's the key factor as to why they're going bar, not just once, but twice without going CC a single time.
Well,
Makes you want my KingGeorge FPL streams.
1 minute and 45 seconds.
First
entry
I mean,
point
if
is gonna
the
be
queues
over
are
towards
better
Gym
once all the
before.
pros get
TSM
back
commanded
from
this part of the map
Sweden, then
quite
maybe.
spectacularly. They also had control of this main stairs part, which again Geo is holding. It put that Team Empire spot that they had, wanting to go through construction, wanting to go through
Yeah,
master, and then
shambling.
eventually
He can't
hitting
even open
kitchen
a
in
wall.
a very precarious position, and I don't know how Empire is going to be able to deal with that timing. There goes
Nice.
Joystick, by the way.
Mr.
A
Mert.
critical figure in the previous round, and now he's not going to be available. Drones are something that we've talked about an awful lot. Who's better at droning than Yana? And now you don't have that, and you don't have the nades as well.
You only have 3 drones left, so even normal drones are really starting to slim down. But that grenade, oh my days, catches Merc's heels, and that's a really good opening, but can they get more?
Oh, excuse me, Bolo. That's a pretty nice shot. Were he streaming, that would definitely go in a montage. That one wouldn't, though, by the way. Shepard outduels him. The support players of Empire showing up and showing up hard at the moment. They're going to need a bigger performance for Shepard. It's suddenly a 3v3. There's 40 seconds left. Top floor control now for Empire. You got to do the legwork and get down to that main floor. And maybe for the first time in this map, try to get a diffuser planted.
Can I argue that Bolo should have dropped the gym hatch there and played the numbers 4v3 on site, but he went for that 50-50 gunfight, didn't go in his favor, and now we see the 3v3. The thing is, time is on the side of
Shepherd
TSM
is
with 20
cracked.
seconds,
Shepherd and
Empire.
Skyther are both
They
playing
have
really
to make
good.
a
They're
move
carrying
really
right now.
quickly, and they haven't even cleared strip yet. They don't even have any drones for it. 50-50 gunfight, Dan. Can you do this? Can you get your team back in the advantage?
There's a flash that goes out, and Dan doesn't seem to find it. There's Chaladon as well. Achieved, gunning down onto Always. Shepherd with the diffuser down. They need to call into action.
Nice.
And suddenly, Achieved comes to the rescue and stops them both at the last second.
They tried to body block the bullet.
I understand what you're trying to do, but damn, it didn't work. And TSM take the first half 4-2.
Again, frustrating round for Empire. Really slow in the early stages of the map. I'm not sure if they're fearing TSM possibly hiding in any corner possible, or if TSM are just doing that good of a job at slowing you down, but you had so many drones alive throughout the round. I mean, it was at the point of 1 minute, you had 5 drones left, and then, well, what did you do in the beginning? I don't know. Bolo here got the kill, could have up the hatch, went for that gunfight here. Shepherd wins it out, and that gave Empire a chance to win. And with this kill from Shepherd dropping down that hatch, that cleared up Dan as well, playing that 2v1 as Empire's been doing so well so far. But this wall bang off the yellow ping, the Yokai most likely giving that information as the bar T4 cam can't quite see the exact position. That closes out the round with a wall bang of all things. Even though they tried to body block the bullets, it didn't work. 4-2 now, and Empire, they gotta get off to a strong start. Going down the basement,
The
just
coach
like
came
TSM
back
did
later.
with a,
They literally
I would say
replayed.
similar, but
They
a different approach because Dan is like roaming above, but
They
they don't have a cast or
replayed the
anything
guy
else, so I don't think it's
getting
full
left
roll.
hanging.
All right,
Come
Taylor
on,
to take
bro.
the
How
first
you gonna
half.
do that
Nick,
to him?
if I
The
may,
man's already down
obviously
bad.
the
He's 1-4.
scoreline TSM prevailed 4-2. Defender-sided clubhouses are not outside of the norm, but
I mean, dude, even though I
beyond
want
that,
TSM to win,
TSM
you gotta
won
feel
4
bad for
opening
the guy,
picks.
dude.
Guess which rounds they came in? All 4 they won. There you
Yeah,
go.
I was gonna tell.
I'll answer it for you.
All 4 they won.
I know you were prepping for the second half, and I caught you off guard. Haha, I bamboozled you. I have the upper hand. Team Empires got 2 opening picks as well. Guess which rounds those
Geo
were?
is
The
1 to
ones
5.
they
Do you
won.
know how much
So
time
all the
Geo has
opening picks, you have
wasted?
a 100% conversion rate.
Dan has
Only
gotten,
one
like,
flawless
spawn
round. That
peeked
was Team
every
Empire
round.
Back in round 5. No diffusers planned.
Geo, like,
Close.
held strip and
On 3
actually won them
rounds,
that one,
close.
like,
But
that one
was it.
round.
Close as no cigar.
Single-handedly.
Doesn't really matter. Now we go to the second half.
Man wasted
Also,
2 fucking
both
minutes
teams have their
sitting in
timeouts
strip.
available.
Yeah, 55% defensive win rate across, the average of Clubhouse. So a little bit of favor on the defensive side. Empire can be very happy about that statistic because they need their favor to go in their way right now.
Yeah, you always
Dan is
have
actually keeping
Gaz
that roam game,
wasted.
always in joystick as well.
I mean,
Playing on that
none.
blue
He got
stairs.
spawn
Joystick
peeked, like,
actually
every
opting to
round.
go up to top floor, can kill this drone, possibly then fall back because you don't want to be all alone up here. But what a nice shot. That's Bolo shot down, and Joystick, he just plays this position so well. It's something he was very early on recognized for in his career, how he roams alone on a map like Clubhouse. Team Empire used to have these strats that only relies on 4 people being alive, so Joystick could just go and do whatever. Dan follows up with a C4 in his hand. He cannot fight back, cannot shoot back.
Merc got him
That's an
again.
easy picking from Merc.
Got him
Tied back
again.
to 4-4.
Well, again, going with this conversion rate, Nick, this does bode well for Empire, but there's still more to be done. Same panel opened up over top of the reinforcements inside of Church. If you're
Yo,
an
Merc's
attacker,
doing
you
right
want
now.
to
He's
drop
literally
native.
like,
If you're a defender, maybe a
he's
nitro
literally
cell
running
toxic
it Dan
canister
every
awaits
round.
you
Like, you know when you
at the
find,
bottom of those stairs for the
you know when you
attacker. So,
find out that somebody in
something
your
to see.
game has like a
Always
0.7
has the
KD,
lineup
you just
ready.
like try to fucking
Knows
peek him
exactly
every
where the
round,
nitro
like
cell is
ego
gonna
peek
go.
the
That
fuck out of
is
him.
a very tricky throw for a lot of teams.
Man's
but they will go in
literally,
and
man
practice
literally
it.
found the
And
guy with a
because of that,
0.7 in his lobby. Is
fear it all too
just
much.
ego
TSM now
peeking.
getting the hatches open. There's a
Oh
minute
my
left in their
God.
very first round on attack. Team Empire can sit pretty. They desperately need a round here. If TSM can take their very first attack, I fear for Empire for the remainder of this map. And the analysts all seem to be united. They said Empire have to make this one click.
It worked.
There you go. The toss from Always on to Merc. Bottom of the main stairs. Empire now with the upper hand and the lead in numbers.
Interesting enough, Geo right now is going for the blue hatch, but a call has been made to rotate over. Scyther has 1 impact grenade left. If he can deny the breach on the kitchen hatch here, that could single-handedly win Team Empire the round, but Cypher has moved into dirt. He's not in a position to deny it. That means the hatch will get opened up, and TSM, they have to act upon Kitchen. That's all they really have.
This is a well-timed smoke that'll do some damage to Chala. One still remains with 15 seconds to go. TSM barreling into the bomb site. A drop. There goes Geo. Achieve taking a lot of damage. All of them are going to drop. Are they going to take any damage? Yes, there goes Achieve. Chala now next one in a 1v3 with Diffuser. He has to find them. He sees them. Unable to convert. Joystick the kill. Empire get their very first defense. The gap closes between the two teams to a single round.
Similar stories as well, right? Because TSM, they went basement, did that kind of roam game. They got the opening pick, they got the round. Well, Empire, they go defense, they do a, not like a full roam, it was a joystick roam. He got the opening pick, they win the round. And the same issue for both teams is the time, the clock, the resources. There was one exothermic charge left available. They chose to use it on the kitchen hatch, even though Geo had spent 20 seconds running towards the blue hatch. At the last second, as he pulled out the gadget, they changed their mind. The call had been made, but no time was there. 20 seconds, you gotta go. This C4 right there, ton of value. That is such a huge pick for Team Empire. It's the ace off the board, no heartbreak from the side of TSM, and that made their lives so much harder. Flash, nade, drop, def, joystick, got the first pick, and got the last one here with that double, making that a triple across the board for him. And joystick looking really good, as he has been throughout this invitational so far.
Well, you need some motivation. You need to get back in it. Again, the mental composure of Team Empire, it always looks flat. It's very flat neutral.
It's the same thing. Excitement, anger, disappointment. It's the same phase usually. And you know what? They fist bump even on lost rounds because they do keep up their energy, their momentum, their vibes, if you will. And it really is important, like you mentioned earlier, that you don't tilt yourself out of a series or out of a map. As long as you think you're in it, you will still be fighting as if you were, and the moment you think it's
I think I'm being too hard on Dan.
Really
the man, most of the casters are saying they always keep their head in it. Man was smacking his head.
It does not mean a win or a loss unless you are a match point. So you gotta stay in it all the way through.
Lots of bullets now from the LMGs as you hear rattling away. The rat-a-tat-taz, we've been talking about it. Bolo has already used 60 bullets, 55 to be exact. Yes, if you don't play Zofia LMG, I would like to invite you to do just that, by the way. 150 bullets before you need to reload. Very limited recoil as well. Were you born with wrists? No, well, then you can probably still control it.
Chala.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you watch my own gameplay, sometimes it looks like I wasn't born with wrists either, because my recoil
Geo look a little different from what I remember.
As we talk about this, 45 seconds burned. This is Dan roaming on the main floor, and not for long, because Bolo sends him to the Shadow Realm. A gym and bedroom defense. Again, we are now 8 rounds in, no cash CCTV defense yet for any of these teams, and immediately TSM get that very first pick. Dan is 1-6. He's going to be unhappy.
This is what happens when you want to do like a joystick impression, but you're not joystick. For anyone watching at home being like, oh, I could do that too, right? You try it out, you get slapped in the first minute of the round, and that's what happened. Dan now 1-6, another struggling round for him. Hasn't really found his footing, and it really is unfortunate because, as you said, Parker, this is the moment where Dan
did not give Achieved a flattering angle.
Absolutely. I mean, this is
gotten picked every round. It's like you find the person with a 0.7 KD in your lobby, and Merch is running at him and frying him every round.
But just from all the matches that I've seen and casted of Empire,
it's like,
it
yo,
seems
this guy's
like
got
Dan
a 0.7. I'm gonna go kill
performance
that
on
guy.
this map, despite the fact that this is such a good map for
I'm
Empire.
gonna get mine,
so if Dan
dude.
ever does wake up, that's it. It's over.
Actually, funny story.
Speaking of
There's a
over,
Clubhouse
round
game
far
that
from
you
it.
and I played.
1 minute to go.
Vertical being used
And,
from TSM, they went down to
I'm now
Chala,
friends with this
and just
person,
walked
but
into the breach, and Empire has no idea that's happening.
They don't
I didn't know
he's in
who
here.
it was.
If there's no intel,
it's like a
waiting for the cross
0.6
from
or something.
construction, they boxed them out, both Chala and Merker.
And I was like, yeah, I'm slinging that guy. And then Parker comes in and goes, that's not a guy, that's a girl. She's 2-0. She's very nice.
Very within reach.
Like,
Still
oh,
covering his Chala.
and now we're friends.
Lighting up Shepard, but he gets out-dueled. Geo, in the meantime, Diffuser down, and Empire will now scramble. The very first successful execute, and TSM's guns are hitting their targets. Always in Scyther, off-site, boxed out. Always swinging for the fences.
Let's
He
go.
gets one, but he's traded out right away. And TSM take their 5th round.
Reading the map very well, our TSM, they went down below bar, did the vertical clear
What
with
was
the
it, like
Sophia, with the
2019
grenades.
Mark was
and while that was happening, I
was a
assumed they were
demon,
droning
and
out
then
the bomb
2020
site from the Jacuzzi breach, and once they realized it was
2020
clear,
Mark was kind of meh.
Geo and Chala
And 2021,
walked on in,
2022
hand in
Mark
hand, understand,
he's
no
back to
player
Demon.
from Empire inside of bathroom or inside of gym, and not even inside of
Dude, they're all playing off one
itself.
computer. You
Playing
see that shit?
so far back in construction and inside office, had to retake once the planet went down. This opening kill from Bolo, that just really set the tone, because ever since that moment, Empire played almost scared. Body block strategy 2.0 this time kind of worked out, because they had no idea they were planting, no information available to Empire. The Valkyrie's banned, they're not playing Maestro. I don't believe they had no bulletproof cameras either, so they only really have what they're face checking, and they aren't face checking much. Dan tried his hardest, but that's not enough in this situation. You gotta play more together if you're Team Empire. Roam with a duo so that if there is an issue on the roam game, you can trade it out, or at least try and find something else. Because if you're just dying for nothing, well, sometimes you just play 5 versus 4.
He's got
All
the
timeouts
married
still
now,
available,
I
by the
think,
way. I almost
right?
called them team outs.
Is he?
Team outs,
Yeah.
timeouts. I mean,
He's
they're
got the
basically
married
the
man
same
buff,
thing.
dude.
Nick, it's happening.
We're seeing CCTV for the first time on
He doesn't
round
really ever like post
9.
anything about his life,
happening.
does he?
That's a world first, I have to say. I don't care about statistics because, again, I don't have
remember
them
him
either,
posting a
but from
picture
my
of it,
memory,
like,
I've
think he
never
got
seen a
married.
situation where it took us 9 rounds to get CCTV defense.
I like that you said world first, because it reminds me of, I think it's the Game Awards. Whenever they show a brand new game or a new premiere, they'll go world first.
Every time.
Every single time.
I mean, if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, there's a world first a lot of things, but if you want to be like, you know, more like top-down level,
I mean, 2 bar stocks from a team in a grand finals could be a world first. Nice shot from Dan, by the way.
and getting opening kill, that might be a world first.
Dan!
Dan wearing the skin of his enemies
Yeah, I
against
guess
evil
he got married.
geniuses. This is the map upon which Empire, and in Dan's very first international event, the team won their first international
I'm still confused why
tournament,
Gotcha
if you
and
recall,
Pojo
all
Man
the
are
way
both
back
there.
in
But it's working. They're in the
2019.
grand
They've been going to win
finals,
the
so
Raleigh
I'm not going
Major
to question it.
over some insignificant team that they beat, some chumps.
Very true.
In the finals, if you'll recall.
Very true.
Dan is the EG skin on the MP5 and will continue to roam downstairs as the best statistical performer from TSM today. Achieved no more. That's a Sledge who doesn't have access to nades. That's tricky
Dan
on a
woke
bomb
up.
site like Cash
I think he
CCTV,
hit himself
especially
enough
with
in
way
the
that
head that
teams
he's like, he's gonna
TSM
perform, I
like
guess.
to throw those nades through the floor and get picks on the unsuspecting defenders.
Yeah, if you're TSM right now, I'd heavily advise or suggest that you go to master bedroom now and do a double clear, because you only have 2 grenades, and if this grenade can get a kill, nope, it cannot. Now you gotta clear 2 catwalk players with a single
you smell like
grenade to your
shit.
name. Actually, Shepard jumps down 1 catwalk player of always, but only 1 grenade to your name. It's really limited utility.
Always just saw the legs of the Maverick, by the way, so he knows that there's somebody out there. There's also a shadow that gets cast from the position that the Maverick is in. They knew he was there, but they can't capitalize. Merc is in the middle of the bomb site, by the way. TSM love to do this. Will he see one of the defenders? Catwalk, clear. They know that. There goes Dan to take out Merc, still roaming. Merc's attention
Oh
is in
no,
the
Dan
wrong
killed
spot.
Merc.
Empire with the upper hand at the moment in a 4v3.
Bullshit.
Still plenty of time for
0.7
both of these
strikes
teams to work it out. But Joystick has
you
reasserted
gotta have
his
the
position
0.7, you
down
gotta get a
below
kill every now
inside
and
of
again.
Garage. And this could be the difference maker in the round. If TSM don't have intel, there you go. Joystick can do some damage. He does it on a bolo, trade it out. And they're swinging. Back and forth.
Dan got 3.
Peek or be peeked, swing or be swung, leaving Chala upstairs on the roof.
Dan's
to
awake,
last the
chat.
remaining
Run.
35 seconds. We don't know
Run.
what it's gonna be. But Empire need to watch a single doorway, a single breach, and a single window. Guess what? There's 3 of them. They can do that. This round is over for TSM, barring a miracle from Chala.
Unless, they're running away. There's no fight.
They don't want to take the engagement. Why bother? You have the bomb site working for you, especially that they know he's in there. Chala suspects that there's somebody holding a default spot, and he gets pokeballed. You got to catch them all. Start with Chala. Why not? 150 more to go. Empire pick up their 4th round. We got ourselves a
Dan
ball
mad,
game.
chat.
As these
Dan
2
mad.
teams
Run.
are so
Run, chat.
close in action.
Run.
Yeah, Empire looking a lot better on their defensive side. Actually, that round in particular, they played so much more together. 2 players inside of Catwalk itself, 2 people swinging the breach, trying to find isolated targets from the side of TSM. Dan got the opening
I'm telling
pick
you,
and another
their
one to
coach is
follow
watching
as
my
well.
my
So
code
looking a
stream
lot
and he's
better
like,
for him. He's
Hey,
now
you get
arguably
made fun of
in
by
the
some
game,
midget.
activated and everything else.
Start
You saw here
shitting on
Dan with the
people.
opening.
Get no
Always, he
man.
did not hold the Catwalk.
Talking
He
shit.
actually ended up falling. Then Merc was inside the bomb site. TSM could not follow up, and Dan found an absolute freebie on top of him as well. Then Joystick retook Garage from the first floor.
All right,
got
fine, my
one,
bad.
traded back instantly
My
here
bad.
by Dan as well. And then, well, then it's difficult. Then you just got Chala left all alone. But very little health to his name, no grenades, and he gets, pokeballed, if you will. And look, the lack of smiles on their faces. They are ice cold.
They're never happy, though.
They're never happy.
If you are working for the best law enforcement agency in the world, and you were looking at any of the 5 players on Team Empire and trying to get them to crack, to learn something about their posture and their body language, impossible. You can't do it. It's simply not doable. So, Empire, as we've talked about time and time again, they have ice in their veins.
Yep.
They never give up. They never break. And even if they do,
I think Dan's gonna
come
Q&A
back in the next
servers
map
and shit on me
just
in
as
ranked
formidable and
chat.
ferocious as they were before.
Please
TSM
no.
are a team who aren't really known to have mental struggles of their own.
I streamed 7
They've got a
hours
pretty
late.
affable
The fuck do you mean,
behavior,
Hellman?
You know, the
Smell like
affable set of
shit.
players,
I already
they're
explained
quite
this.
nice and
Smell like shit
genuinely
and you
nice.
can't
They
tell
are. They
time.
like to joke around.
Yeah,
So
quite nice.
they can easily look.
Looking.
I mean, if you got nice teammates, you can keep it in.
You're
Let's
gonna fly to NA just to
talking
shit on
about
me in my
vibes.
own
Having
servers.
teams love to
Dude.
talk about vibes.
The vibes are high with TSM, looking pretty good with that as well. And Dan actually bringing out a stable 6-pick from the side of Empire, pocket pick if you will, the Capcan. Something that in this particular matchup might bode well because it is a basement roam game and the time was quite low from the side of TSM
No, they
last
know.
time. You saw
Merc
Merc
check.
right there
Merc
just
check the
kicking
door.
left
They
and
know.
right from the door frame, making sure that there are no Capcan traps indeed. So they know about this pick. They know it's on the board. They've confirmed it. It might still gain some value in this. Oh, Merc creeps down the main stairs, doesn't see it, and then he hears him this time, doesn't take the gunfight. Or last time he lost joystick. Doing his first impression of standing still like a statue in Bolo. He falls for it, doesn't see him. Easy pickings again for joystick.
I'd like to once again reference that conversion stat that we talked about at the tail end of the first half, because now 4 rounds into the second half, it has not changed. The team that gets the first pick has gone on to win the round 100% of the time. For Team Empire, this means a tie game unless things go really sideways for you.
And you see Empire, they're actually all falling back to the bomb side. They recognize the
play
same thing as we
patient,
have.
Murky
They
Poo.
have the advantage. They didn't burn so much time. There's
got this,
4
buddy.
drones left for TSM. Half the round, shotgun bottom main. Doesn't find the drone with the first shot, but doesn't the second. Now, you just wait. Shepard, you might want to fall back here, have somebody else help you. Dan did hold the angle as well for the refrag, and that's really good because once you have the advantage, you really got to hold on. TSM, they have 3 Selmas and 2 exothermic charges. They even have the Maverick Torch. They can open up any wall and any hatch. But they got a minute to do so. Vertical Blade in kitchen. We need the Chief to rotate over. He's quite far away right now. And Gio needs the hammer before we can start opening up the hatch because there's a Kite Claw. So that grenade is now required. Break open the floor, deny the angles. 1 impact from Shepard who can try and contest this breach as well if they try and open up the hatch.
In position to do just that, as you talked about. Scyther being the one with that single impact and won't use it, it looks
The
like.
only way
No,
G2
it'll be
can
the
make it
hatch opened up
finals
now
by
for
a
TSM.
weapon
C4 on the
skin?
ground,
Oh
actually.
my
So if they read the
God,
situation
dude.
correct, they achieved could be in for a bad time.
Oh, I was actually wrong. That was the other hatch that went off. The one inside a kitchen still there, and there's the nitro cell tossed out so well. Geo blows up sky high, scattered into thousands of pieces inside of the kitchen, just as it seems like the
Leave
hopes
my
of
boy
TSM
Geo
in this
alone.
round. Could it be the dawn of another flawless round for Empire? They had one earlier in round 5. They're looking for another, choking out Merc and achieved. In goes Merc. Both players on TSM softened up. Merc down for the count, leaving it all to achieved, and he's just gonna sit and wait miles away. It's technically a flawless round, but they only killed 4 of them. Empire tie it up, 5 rounds apiece.
Empire looking alive on their defensive side, and TSM are the exact same position as Empire were, struggling on the entries, struggling on clearing the map quick enough to have time to do the execute. And not even that, but once it looked quite good for TSM, well, that pre-play C4 that was put there 30 seconds earlier, it actually ended up getting a kill. Here we see Joystick getting that easy early pick, always with the prep C4 onto Geo. That's the thermite off the board. Always another easy one because Chala had a grenade in his hand, could not fight back, and always had a triple kill that round. I will argue that was a flawless round as well, because they played it as it would be and achieved. I mean, sure, he could have found the pick, but he surely couldn't have found the round. And I think that might just be our first team out.
I feel like you're making fun of me for that one, but
No, I like it. I was just taking it and using it.
It is a team out, it looks like. On your screen, it says the replay powered by Predator, but that's not the case. We are currently looking at the clock being stopped in the server, which means one of 2 things. Technical timeout or tactical pause, and there it is. TSM deciding, let's settle things down a little bit here
tactical.
and talk through this. There's still 2 more rounds to go. One of these teams will go on a match point at the end of round number 11. That's what we're looking at the moment. It does appear to be a defender-sided Clubhouse. Your worry if you're TSM is that you need to win 1 more round to go to overtime. TSM are not approaching it like that. TSM are approaching it like, let's get 2 rounds and win before we need OT, because in an OT, it's a coin toss like so many times before, especially given that it's unlimited overtime. So you gotta be keeping count. That said, what do you think the key focus for TSM is? What's their main struggle that you've witnessed so far through these 4 executes that have come up short 3 of the times?
So there were the 2 things, right? The entry alone, they just haven't found them. Since the side swap, TSM have only got the
Merc
opening
just needs
pick
to focus
one
up
time. That
and
was
kill
on
Dan.
round 8. That was the last time they attacked on
Pick
the
Dan
Jimbo
early.
side like they are just
That's
now.
the move.
And the other one is simply just down to execution, right? Because the time is so low. I like this.
Send you one of these sweaters. You could buy one if you type exclamation merch.
The Retero drones, and they explode, which means verticality, clear positions, destroy utility, etc. And on the side of Empire, well, they were struggling with information, right? And they were actually hovering the Maestro from Shepard, who then 6-picked onto a Yokai. So both teams have done the adaptive work here. They've said we had an issue, and now this is how we're gonna try and fix it. And I really like the approach from both teams. Now it comes down to, well, how does the opening kill, that first kill, how does that play out? Because it's played such a pivotal role so far. It's Dan and Joystick on the side of Empire,
Mike
doing
the
that
Gamer,
early
thank
round
the Prime
shenanigans,
sub.
and it's Merc and Bolo from the side of TSM so far. Achieved has been in opening kills, but mostly, or the one time at least, he didn't find any success. And Joystick doing the same things before, roaming 1 floor below or 1 floor over from the bomb site,
NA
trying to find
fans in
drones, trying to
shambles.
slow
It's a
down
tied
TSM,
game
and most
right now.
importantly, trying to get into a gunfight.
You're molding.
All right, well, 30 seconds off of the clock. Upstairs, now this defense, as we talked about. Back over on Jim. Set the scene for us. Roam from Empire, but not over on Cash side, it appears.
Nope, just 1 floor below his Joystick. It's a pretty passive approach, so there is a roam, but it's not the typical one. It's not an extension, if you will.
Teams like to play from down below. Hatch has opened up as well. Empire are going to play for time here. They're not going to play for much else.
Vertical here, nice.
This is a nice play from Dan. He's downstairs next to the pool table. You can look up through the doorway, and if anybody walks right in, it's easy for TSM to get a plant down. This was the main struggle on this bomb site last time. TSM opened up Jacuzzi wall and walked into weight room. Nobody from Empire was looking in that direction. That was a major problem. Empire have fixed that now. They've changed up their strategy. But will this potential roam down below open up other blind spots for TSM?
Comes down to the gunfights, right? Because right now, TSM are mostly on the Cash CC side with just Merc here on Jacuzzi all alone. So that's an isolated target Empire could abuse if they so choose to. And these one might this will catch one summon charge, but not the second. I don't think there's a jam on the wall because an impact comes out trying to deny it, and it did so successfully. But Merc, well, he has more to go. Actually, that was the last one. I take it back. He has no more to go.
That was well played, and now TSM are not going to be able to get into that bathroom wall as we discussed. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Take a deep breath with us. So, Joystick with 1.5. Sight was looking for a kill hold down in dirt. He misses an opportunity to take out Merc. Now TSM are in a bit of a struggle. They don't know where to go, but Sight felled by Achieved. Again, this conversion rate. We will talk about it before. You get the first pick,
in.
you get the round. That's the way it's gone. It's Empire now to try and make sure it doesn't happen. But Bolo has that blind spot to exploit, as we talked about. 30 seconds to go. Gio was able to get the diffuser down on Jim before. He looks set to do it again. All of a sudden, we see Merc walking backwards, but Bolo picks up kill number 2 as the diffuser
fact that
gets
Gio got
planted.
that plan off
Chaos
is
in the midst of the
crazy.
bomb site, leaving Joystick in a 1v4. He's got pings. They know whereabouts they might be. But can he find all of them? Almost falls through the hatch, but he does that deliberately. Now vaults out, but Achieved shuts him down, and it's TSM on match point on Empire's map.
So, the one thing that's really confusing to me is that Empire, they had this Yokai with information. They knew pretty much every single location of TSM. Dan used the impacts earlier on in the round, meaning nobody was down below to actually watch those vertical holes. And more importantly, well, if you had saved the impacts or a C4 and played inside a bar, which you had full control of, by the way, TSM did not contest it. Well, you can deny the plan for free. The Yokai drones are giving you a lot of information. Sider here swung unnecessarily.
When this
and Bolo
region is
hears
down
the fact
on
that Bolo is
rounds,
running away, gets the timing advantage, and Shepard, the only kill they found for his
smacking
team,
themselves
wants to
in
get
the
that Yokai drone.
face.
That's not enough. So Empire, it looked really good in the beginning for the setup, but the execution of their strategy really fell short, and TSM will win their second attack, both having been on Jim, and Team Empire, they're gonna try and bring it to OT on CCTV. No bar from them. We want to keep going, but first you gotta see them fist bombs.
You literally.
There it is. Note that these holes in the wall that we see, it's for the Maverick. It makes it more difficult to torch off the wall, and then you want to put like a jammer on it, and then they gotta try and deal with that. It's gonna slow them down about 10 seconds maybe. Not a huge deal breaker, but every second does count. So it's just about an efficiency value, if you will.
One thing that we do want to talk about to those of you that watch is that, especially at an invitational, when we have the most eyes on this esport of the entire year, is that many of you might be new to the game. For those of you that aren't new to the game, we're not trying to be patronizing, we promise. But you will see things that you kind of go, well, I don't really understand that. Who better to talk about that than a two-time back-to-back world champion? And I know that you don't need to be a two-time world champion. You don't even need to be a back-to-back world champion in order to know how to do some of these things. But it's nice wisdom to impart. If you're playing in a ranked match, a casual match, and you want to get real sweaty, we're talking moving your computer into a sauna. We're talking multiple towels around you to absorb all that sweat. Like when John Cena wears like 19 armbands. Shoot some holes in the wall. Reinforce it. It makes Maverick's job a lot harder, and it makes you safer as a defender because then you can shoot through it if a Maverick tries to cut through the wall.
For the Prime,
true.
King of
and
the
there are some things that even I, or even anybody for that matter, really knows. Like sometimes you're just going, huh? What happened? And well, they dealt with it differently. It was an upside down rappel. They cleared out the jammer, breached the wall. That's going to do the same job as doing it on a regular breach because the thermite exothermite charges does such a big hole in the breach, and they can make use of that. And TSM looking to be set up the exact same way, wanting to attack directly from that CC breach. Nobody's garage door, nobody's in the roof.
No, this guy's like,
open up all the angles that they can as
literally,
possible.
I like look over
but
the left. I was like watching the game.
Walls, the breach
It's
does
up
not go
30 seconds ago.
I don't think they can just run in the breach here. That's a little bit of wishful thinking if you're TSM, so you gotta start making the next move. That should be Garage looking at the situation here, the time and whatnot, but Joystick has so much confidence, just peeks the Garage door. How can you do this, Joystick?
And he gets traded back immediately, but still that first blow goes in favor of Empire. Garage control's not been wrestled away from them. They've got the Kaid up top. Always will sit there, govern over the doorways that lead in and the explosion that opened up the breach below him. Always could be prime fodder for a grenade if it gets tossed up. But he's sitting on some ADSs near the telltale sign, and there's also magnets there as well. He was successful in this duel on the doorway before. His second time a charm. This is a reflex test, and Merc has got to have some of the finest reflexes. Gio's down below. You got to bait him out.
Yep. They're waiting for the nades. Achieve is down here, so flashbangs on Gio, nades on Achieve. They're gonna have to make it work together.
Oh, what a shot from Always, a second as well. They're not quick enough. He gets blown up, but it's so worth it for Always up top on those Raptors.
He comes out on top for sure. Getting 2 picks in that position is so vital. This nade is so vital as well, because if it can find something, it cannot. That's going to make it so much harder for TSM to finish up this round.
And look at Empire. They vacated the bomb site. They might decide now with 20 seconds to go, we got to get back in there. But you've got the luxury of time. These 2 remaining members of TSM have 10 seconds to pull this off. Gio with the plant down. It means Achieved will have to watch the cross, taking some damage. He's been phenomenal today. There's Gio to frag out, but they lose. Yes! 2 big kills. There's only 1 left, and he's going to be immobile. They swing him, and Empire plays the clock masterfully. We're going to potentially unlimited overtime here on map number 1.
I just want to point out, if that single wall into construction was soft or not reinforced, that's over. Somehow TSM would have likely won that round with that wall bang.
Am I going to go back to my old streaming schedule after invite? Yeah,
outside the building, jumped back in, he was spotted out. What a nice try for TSM, finding that opening. Gio walking in through the breach. That's the smoke off the board. It allows the clutch potential. But here on early on, where it really defined the round was this trade back and forth. But then the Always on the catwalk rafters. Really good pick onto Merc. The second one here is just a butter on top, because he should not get away with 2 kills. And yes, the nade comes out. Good flashbang coordination there from TSM, but the damage has already been done. And well, you just can't really find any footing to plant with.
Honestly, how different is that round if Gio holds the plant and Achieve just simply wins his gunfight? How different does that round end up turning out? Either way, no matter who prevails here on map 1, we wanted a show. We asked for a show.
We did.
We didn't get it in TSM versus FaZe, unless you're a TSM fan, and then that was one hell of a show. But here, we wanted it, and we're getting it. I'd like to remind you, unlimited overtime. You need to win by 2 rounds. That is the number. So the teams will continue to go back and forth on sides. TSM on defense starting off. They'll defend twice, and that could be the knockout blow.
Yep. That's how it works. And I'm really glad we're not on Coastline. This is Clubhouse. It's a different ball game if we do get to see this craziness of infinite OT. TSM will do the thing they started off with when they're on the defense, the basement roam game, right? That's the castle, that's the poles. They get information that the characters will slow down the attackers if they make it close to the building. And now, same story as always. Empire, they have to roam clear. They're doing it so much faster this time around than TSM themselves, playing a little bit more passive. This is the factor of overtime. There is more pressure on these teams now than there were last round. Sure, match point for one team, that's a huge deal. But overtime usually means no mistakes are allowed. However, in Infinite OT, you are allowed one mistake as long as you can close up the prior or the next round, because you can just go forever. Whoever finds the momentum for 2 rounds in a row, well, they'll get the map. It's been a back and forth so far. The attacking side has not done so good, and Joystick doesn't get the opening pick. In fact, no one even takes damage. It's Merc inside a bar, doing the same thing he did the first time around, holding down the ground with Geo inside a strip room, but Merc is now falling off, leaving Geo all alone. And Empire, they've dealt with this twice. Do they leave him there? Do they just trade out one player and hold him stock, make that a 4 versus 4? Do you leave a flank zone?
Yeah,
say,
I'm gonna like
let's
probably lay
attack strip,
down.
let's clear out Geo and play the 5v4. 3 options from Team Empire.
We're not really
soon
talking.
because
This
time
is
is
much of a
ticking
watch
down.
party.
Nades primed and ready as we hit the halfway mark, and there it goes, down another one as well.
Oh, he's not even
I
his
don't know if it
fucking
got
computer.
it. Yeah, there
Yeah, they
you go.
got it.
Finally got it. It took 2 nades all the way down into Moto to get that bulletproof, but they finally do it.
Did George go to sleep?
Job well done. But still, that's quite a bit of utility expended on a single bulletproof. You could have saved yourself the trouble and got it on the very first nade. Conversion rate still holds as we're now in overtime. This is round number 13. You get the first pick, you win the round, still at 100%.
So Cypher's actually holding Geo stuck in strip, but Chala gets the opening pick. That's Stursik off the board with no follow-up. He's all alone.
thought George was at his computer.
He's trying to get really quickly into side, trying to open up the round, but it gets shut down in their face by Chala.
I was like, I'm gonna go
That
lay
means
down.
with
He
that
didn't say
flanker of
anything.
Geo
I
up
was like,
above,
oh,
it's
not
not
even
going to be easy because you're getting people at all around you if you're Empire.
Geo under fire again in strip club.
Oh,
But
he
he's
went to
lasted
sleep.
so much longer. His flank was unsuccessful last time. Are we going to see something different? No. Scyther says that's quite enough. No more games for you.
He's on damage though.
He did.
Half health onto Cypher, a little bit off always. That's okay, but with 20 seconds left, you need more than just damage, you need kills.
And on top of that, you've got 2 toxic canisters to soften up the remainder of these players. Now it's Shepard to take quite a bit of damage. Merc down below. It's the upper hand in favor of Empire, but Merc swings. Shepard now as well. It's Merc coming through on the flank. Nobody's watching. Nobody's watching for Merc. What a monstrous clutch from Merc. TSM on match point.
Merc reads the situation perfectly, understands that Empire are pushing on through into bomb side. They're not going to be watching their flank. Their drones are scattered all across the map if they are even alive. There was one drone inside a motor door. Merc himself looked at it, but it wasn't active. Team Empire had no idea this was coming. And even though Empire cleared out blue and made their way to the bomb side, that's not enough. You need to secure the diffuser if you want to win these rounds. And that doesn't happen.
Trembling.
TSM, they take the first round in OT, and the side swap is coming through. Can they do the same thing on attack? Can
EU is
Empire
sweating
do
harder
the same
than
thing as
the
TSM
Empire
and hold
players
on?
chat.
Chala, beautiful opening kill. Really swayed things in their favor.
All
Geo
right,
got
I'm gonna
shot
lay
down
down.
on
It's
the
gonna be
flank on
great.
that roam, but Merc here.
This watch
he even
party
got
has
the
been
kill
dog
caught on
shit.
main.
We've said
Empire
5 words.
should actually have had a decent idea that this was happening.
Blame you.
And with 6 seconds left, you can argue,
Dude,
do
you've been
you
live for
plan?
10 and
You
a
have
half
6
hours. You
more
can't be that
seconds to
tired.
figure out if the gun should
Yeah,
be up.
great.
You win for the easy choice.
The thing that gets me is that they knew that
Drink
Merc was coming. Merc
G Fuel.
goes
That's
through
the
the
kill.
area where every single pulse is going to play on this map. Every pulse. I see that pulse.
Corsair
a goal
Elgato
for
G
crying out
Fuel.
loud. You know there's going to be a pulse there.
Keeps.
Teams call it
G
pulse
Fuel
spot, for
keeps
God's sake.
Corsair
They know
Origin.
that Merc is coming. Was it
Gaming
bad
credit card
comms?
Origin.
Was it simply somebody not doing their job? What was the issue that
Game Lab.
prevented Empire from knowing that the flank
Lap of
was
aim.
coming in.
I think it's just the chaos, right? There's so much happening, and I think it's the same reason why they're planting with 6 seconds left. There's just so much going on that you're just defaulting to the simple solution. Plant and pray that your teammate will cover you properly. But in a 2 versus 1, you cannot cover both angles, and TSM, they swung together. Either Merc gets the opening, or the cover has to turn all the way around and leave his back exposed. It's well played from them. Well, we'll never know what happened if they didn't plan. We cannot go back in time. What happened, happened.
All right, I'll see you on the 5th map. I'll be back.
TSM holding angles here early on, not risking that opening kill. They wanted to go in their favor. Droning out the top floor right now while Joystick's in the basement, holding that catwalk walk up.
Love you, bye.
So if TSM want to try and clear the catwalk itself, they'll get shut down. But TSM, joke's on you. They're going in from Jacuzzi side instead.
Conversion rate still remains the same. I feel like now I'm going to keep saying it. Every single time it shows up, I apologize if you're playing a drinking game of water. Water.
Water?
Water, respectively. Say water, respectfully, as I said. You only drink that.
Hydrate. It's important.
You gotta hydrate.
Good for you.
We drink tea.
Look at this.
Oh, wait, hold on.
He's past their
hold on. Oh, there we go. Bolo runs right in. They don't know that on a basement defense, that Joystick is holding map control in Garage. Empire get the first pick.
The thing is, I think he climbed the ladder while we're spectating Merc because he was in the basement earlier. He waited for the drone to go past, climbed the ladder, was going to go for a flank top floor, but at the same time, Bolo got off the drone. Of course, Joystick heard that, turned around and found the pick. And that's going to feel really bad if it's TSM because you're like, oh, we droned it. It was clear what happened. Joystick happened. Well read from him. That now gives us that opening kill. Can they convert it into the round? Or will TSM break the curse?
Yes, just one kill.
That is going to be a number that we continue to reference.
Died that way 3 times. It's not important.
Things might change on Cafe. TSM's map up next, no matter what happens here. How nice it would be for the North American fans to see the team that made it in through the qualifiers, by the way, succeed. Yes, that's correct. You heard this. If it wasn't for the qualifiers, TSM wouldn't be in the grand final right now. They made it to the upper bracket grand final, and now they're here as well. Nitro Cell goes off, but it misses.
How is Shaw alive even? I mean, I'm happy about it, but holy shit.
Empire
just ate a C4 to
keep
the
this
face.
church wall closed.
This is really good, by the way. Achieved in the meantime has made vertical play inside of Kitchen, denying that back B position, allowing Chala and Merc to work off this breach. But this is not too good because Always has the angle on lockdown. Last Toxic Babe has come out with 30 seconds left. TSM, they can't actually stall and wait.
And Chala takes some damage, but down goes Always. These are tight rat angles being held by Empire. Very advantageous spots to be in. They're going to come to blows very quickly. Not a lot of time for Geo to go in. They still don't know that Shepard's in here.
Oh, they got a nice Geo.
They have control of Church, and on a prayer, TSM need 2 more, make that 1. Joystick, he does Joystick things. Is he going to do it? Diffuser down. This is dire straits for the Russian team, knowing that the match could be over, or the map could be over if Joystick doesn't pull out ahead. He has a single bit of HP, and Chala says, no you don't.
You trembling!
And they take Clubhouse.
That's Geo right there, vaulting through the breach, finding the kill of Shepard, who was hiding, waiting, lurking with the shotgun SMG-11. He could have killed all members of TSM, but Geo hits the craziest shot mid-vault and quite literally puts TSM in his backpack and plants the diffuser. And post-plant.
Geo might have only got 6 kills to his name, Nick, but those are all incredibly high impactful kills. He wasted a ton of time in that strip roam, as you saw, for so long. On attack, he was able to get 3 diffusers planted over the 7 rounds that TSM had, all while he relied on the rest of his team to make space.
Waxy.
And while he might have only gotten half the kills that the top 2 performers on TSM
1.8 million points,
it is
channel
hard to
points going
argue
out,
that
chat.
Geo was not one of the most impactful players in that matchup. There's no advantage. TSM now take Empire's map away from them, and we have an unbelievable showing ahead of us. Now TSM are going to go onto their map to try and send this one away, Nick.
That they are. I mean, I want to point out, Geo before this matchup was -45. Statistically, one of the worst performances of a member of a team at Invitationals. And he's in the grand finals and doing a really good job at showing up. And now Cafe, TSM's next map, that's where they look very comfortable. They had a really good win streak up until Fury ended that. Let's see if Empire can do the same.
When I say send it away, I mean send it away to a third map with them up 2-0 because this is a best of 5. We didn't need unlimited overtime in map number 1. For TSM fans, you're probably pretty happy about that. But we've got a lot more to go and we don't want to waste your time, so we got a quick break ready before we come back with more of the SI 2022 Grand Finals.
Banker looks like a 1930s banker? No, he doesn't. This is not the uniform to be like promoting right now. This is like a Halloween, dude. Chat, you guys buy Nomad Elite or no? Is it a buy or a pass? Dude, the Nomad charges better look different or something. That's what I want. She hip fired that shit. Hey, they have a train. That's public transportation. I don't know what that is. I'm from America. The green car? Is there another green car? That green car is back, dude. That's crazy. Dude, whoever's flying this drone really like trains a lot. We're good.
Well, let me tell you something, you kids over here. This is a nice lo-fi playlist. This lo-fi is real nice, let me tell you. Yeah, it's that lo-fi stuff. I'm really pretty happy they won.
Welcome back, friends, to the command
code,
center, and what a commanding start.
Just type
to
exclamation
this
point
matchup.
code.
North America for TSM, they take their opponent's map, and that sets up the story for the rest of our best of 5 grand final at Invitational 2022. Welcome back again. I'm Mel Stemetic, your host for the show. With me on the desk are my beautiful experts, Jack, Jess, and James, the Triple J, on here. And you know what? Ace up their sleeves. That's TSM, James.
Honestly, that was really
Codes,
surprising.
you just have to keep
In theory,
trying. I
Team
got
Empire
mine.
Should have been very favored on Clubhouse. Fortunately, we got to see an absolute treat. It was overtime, joystick and Bolo firing on all cylinders.
I mean, some of the biggest players we'd already highlighted in the pre-desk coming in strong. We wanted that. It took Team Empire a little bit to warm up into the matchup, but we finally had a series on our hands. And once we did, I think we saw who was really going to be putting, you know, sort of everything against the wall,
Alright,
because
chat,
that was
go to
Empire's
sleep.
map
Night.
pick. In the advantage map pick, mind you.
And it's a strange scenario we saw it a few times, and I'm referencing specifically EU here. The EU qualifiers where Kavana played M&M. Kavana picked first in this same format, lost that map. We've seen anecdotally a lot of teams, they've picked that map in the best of 5 with their veto advantage and then gone on to lost it. That's exactly what happened here.
Yep. It's always tough to kind of look back at a best of 5, especially when you have the option to pick how that big ban is going to go. That's the major thing. That's the point you're driving through.
Yeah, that's really the storyline for this desk, I think, moving forward is Empire, they had a leg up. In fact, they had an entire box up, the same way as I'm standing on a box here right now for you all. This is Empire standing up on the box going, I've got Clubhouse under my sleeve, pulls it out, and the card rips the moment they pull it out of their sleeve, and they go, uh-oh, this is not what I intended in any way, shape, or form.
And that's why I love this system, because if you go back to old systems, they would have had an automatic one map.
They would have, yeah.
They've got the full advantage. They can choose any map. What's the best map we can possibly go and win in this final? But they still have to fight for it. And fight for it is what TSM did.
Here are our top performers. The scoreboard that will come up on the screen for you in just a second. And
loader,
at 8 to 6,
minutes.
it's
Wake
Chieftain
up.
Merc really leading the way. But I'm trying to look here at beyond the numbers. What got us
I'm not actually
to
sleeping.
this point, James?
Honestly, it was a really, really strong game from both teams, particularly on their
resting my
defenses.
eyes.
Both teams really showed up on a variety of bomb sites. I know, Jack, you've got a couple things you want to talk about for some of the unusual bomb sites that TSM picked, but for me, I was just impressed by the overall level of play from both teams. A lot of good individual plays. I know Nick Pengu on the cast talking a lot about the solo roams from joystick, a lot about Merc's playmaking ability, and achieve just a pure consistency as well.
Yeah, I mean, we speak about the fact that it sort of takes a team effort from Empire. They've actually been rated 0.12 together throughout this entire tournament. If Empire doesn't show up together, and you can look on the scoreboard right now, outside of Dan, the rest of the team were trying to step up. But from TSM, it's their top 3 rated players that outshine most of the team.
And that's been the case throughout this invitational so far. It's been those big 3, and I know Gio and Charla, they've not necessarily stepped up at the time. And that's what's made Empire so good, is that they have stepped up as a collective. The same story coming out here, and I actually want to... The win condition, I think, for TSM of this whole map is actually their site selection, in my opinion. I talked about it. I actually posted about it on Twitter, and I said, I think they should play bar and stage as opposed to CCTV, which is exactly what they did. They ran through the rotation. They went church, gym, bar, church, gym, bar. And the reason for that is Empire have traditionally struggled to attack the quote-unquote off-sites. We've seen it with Living Library on Villa. We've seen it with Bar Stage inside of a UL throughout the past 3 months. TSM, they did their homework. they got those 2 wins on the bar site, and that's what at least pushed it to overtime. I know they came through in overtime. However, I think if they went CCTV, they probably lose this map because Empire is so good at attacking that particular site.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that Empire also defended CCTV, and while they were successful, the other bomb site that I thought was of a special interest was Church Arsenal. It is the default bomb site. Everyone loves going to that. It's the most defender-sided. We absolutely saw that. We saw 5 successful Church and Arsenal defenses between the 2 teams, and then when we hit overtime, and it was Empire's turn to defend it, TSM broke that trend, broke that momentum. First team to win Church and Arsenal on the attack in this map. Also the first team to win despite losing the opening pick on this map so far. So TSM, I've got to say, they really turned it up in that final round, and that single round meant the death of Empire on their own map pick.
I love it as well because if you look at Empire, I mean, TSM look to be holistically more rounded than Empire. On Empire is one of their best maps. Don't take a Russian team to Clubhouse. You know what
Your
TSM
bar
said?
was so ass,
you
dude.
say that. I say this. We play every site. Empire doesn't. I have 0 written here next to bar and stage for this particular team. If you were going to take a team to an area they don't understand, it's going to be that one pocket of the map that Team Empire doesn't really know, and we've really highlighted that.
And I'll come back to this time and time again, is TSM's strength is their flexibility. The flexibility in their map pool, the flexibility in their operator pool, and the flexibility in their site selection. It's exactly what won them this map, in my opinion, and it's exactly why they will continue to be a threat throughout this full
Also,
best of 5
Geo
final.
getting that kill on the smoke.
That was our first map in this best of 5, and it still went to overtime. It shows how effective TSM have been, despite the fact that they already played 1 game today, 2 maps. They're coming in warmed up and ready for this matchup against the Europeans of Team Empire. Before we talk, Cafe Dostoyevsky is our second map. Expectation for that as TSM start off on the attacking side for this. What is it, James?
Well, I've got to say, we saw these 2 teams play Cafe yesterday. It was Empire's map pick, right? And TSM, they
There's
went
no
7-2.
jinxes.
Empire
TSM's
only won
winning.
a single attacking round that whole time. I think that TSM should definitely be favored here. If I'm Empire, I want to ban the Echo. They lost so many rounds because of that Echo, and I'm curious to see whether that will happen
And
again.
it was a true win condition yesterday of Team Empire. They were, sorry, of TSM. They were really pushing the time that they could spend out on the roam to really delay that time. They actually won two of their 3 attacks to get over the line. They're starting on the attack today, so if they could really start snowballing these rounds up on the attack and really put Empire under the pump.
I think Empire's really struggling on their attacks. We actually call Clubhouse an attacking-sided map for them. We're going on to Cafe now. They lost several rounds based off of time alone. We're in the grand finals of the World Championship. You can't be losing rounds based off of time alone. Imagine they do that on a big map like Cafe. Boys, I'm telling you, that spells disaster.
They really struggled to take Bolo out of Pixel Spot. That's what I want to see from Empire. If they're going to adapt and they need to win their attacks when they get onto attacks, they need to deal with Bolo.
Well, friends, thank you very much, James, Jess, and Jack. It's time for us then to kick the theory out of the room and get directly into game. Cafe Dostoyevsky between Empire and TSM. Can Empire fight back and take us beyond? Or will TSM take the 2-0 advantage in Taro and Pengu? Enjoy.
Well, thank you very much. So what an exciting first map we got to witness, Nick, between these 2 teams. Empire's only advantage coming into this best of 3 was getting to pick the map first.
Yep.
And it was all for naught.
It's gone. So basically the whole upper bracket situation, it doesn't matter any longer. It's just pew.
See, I'm making a poof noise. I don't know what noise you made.
I went for like a Star Wars lights, like pew pew.
That is not what a lightsaber sounds like.
Space
Well, you know what?
fighting.
We'll work on it. We'll talk in the background about possible onomatopoeias if we want. But let's get underway with Cafe Dostoyevsky. TSM will be starting on attack. They won map number 1, Empire. They did not win map number 1, even though they chose it. They're going to be starting on defense. They take the Ying out of action right away.
Interesting. Let's see if they actually end up banning the Echo like the analyst that spoke about just recently. And TSM first, of course. They will have to choose the 1 buy, so something that we've been seeing kind of creeping up in the ban rate here at the 6 Invitationals of 2022. It's something that teams just don't want to deal with because you can come out there with the Jaeger and their Rooney, and it's hard to clear out certain positions. The Mira gets banned out. That means that the Echo is left up on the board, and not just the Echo, but so is the Valkyrie. So information is readily available for both teams when they're on the defensive side. And looking back at Clubhouse, there was a massive amount of intel missing when Empire was in the defense, and they can now rectify that and change that situation. Whereas, well, TSM, you're looking good before. If you can add information into that game where they played the
All right, let's get bets.
before in Merc, well, you're probably going to be looking as hot as you did previously. And the final interesting point was what Fresh brought up was, well, Team Empire aren't necessarily very good at attacking those tertiary bomb sites, those like pocket strat bomb sites. And TSM, when they get to the defense, let's see if they actually end up playing mining a lot, because that's not something that we see very often across domestic play.
Round number one. First defense, Nick, upstairs, Cocktail. This bomb site doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room with map control. There was a brief period of time where you saw teams foregoing Cocktail, instead going down to Kitchen first, or even onto Reading first, because this top floor acts as a bit of a buffer. When you're attacking the two middle floor bomb sites, as you talked about mining, and the other bomb site Reading, you almost always want to have one of the attackers upstairs. On the defensive side, you want 2 to 3 defenders upstairs. When you look at a Cocktail execute from teams, they're going to clear top down, but that is effectively just the skylight. The defenders are not often going to peek the skylight unless they're really feeling it. Outside of that, the attackers are going to want to take red, they're going to want to take piano, and then they'll take that middle floor. Try and grab control of pillars, try and grab control of white stairs, punish the defender sitting in that spot, and leave the defenders sitting in the back bar and Cocktail portions of the map before the execute can happen. That's if things go well, of course, for the attackers.
Yeah, and things might not always go well. And well, one thing is the clock. We gotta keep an eye on that because half a minute has already been burnt. We saw Valkyrie camera from Cypher outside the building. They will stay alive the entire round. The change where they disable after 5 seconds is not in the game yet, but will be very soon in year 7, as we saw earlier on that reveal. Sorry if I spoiled that.
How can you not put points on Empire?
One Valkyrie camera from Merc has been shut out, and that's very nice. And we have to
TSM
see
has
how they're going to deal
1.4
with the
million
stages ahead
points
of
on the
them.
board right
The thing
now,
about
chat.
Team Empire's setup right now is that they're not holding Pixel, they're not holding Piano. So TSM actually have a very straightforward first half of the round in front of them because there's no obstacles.
On the
they're
LMG.
playing far back and they're playing below on that second floor. So that means that, well, vertical, C4s, etc., vertical damage from Team Empire, that's what they want to play around. And TSM have to now figure out, well, do they challenge the situation or do they not? We see Merc in the basement. It's usually going to signify that, yes, TSM have read the situation, they want to challenge, gain ground. Yellow Ping comes out, and Bolo can now comfortably walk on in as they have information.
This is going to be a duel to the death, and Joystick is being the one called into action. They know he's there, and he can capitalize off of this, but Bolo gets away. That's Merc, actually, not Bolo. Joystick might have missed his golden opportunity, and if Merc has a good set of in-ears, could he have heard at the bottom of Brown Stairs the one roamer from Empire?
That's really an unfortunate situation if you're a Joystick, but it happens. And now we see TSM, they have taken piano control. That's the one thing that normally is an obstacle, but right now that's Joystick who gets away with half HP.
Curious where that bullet hit. Must have been a shoulder peg onto him as Joystick gets away from that. Weaker, as you talked about. A nice line being drawn into the bathroom. Is there somebody there to watch it? No. Empire fallen off of that position at the top of white. That's where
Empire's
Dan went, but he doesn't want to
This is
potentially
good.
engage. ADS is getting burned out now. As Achieved is on rappel, still looking towards white, nades in hand. Scyther heading back up top, he takes some damage, and now there's the Finca of Bolo still on this Scyther hunt, but they're on a different part of the map now. Down goes Achieved. Scyther with the kill and the MPX in hand. Bolo tossed out a nade to eat the last ADS. He'll go fishing inside of the bathroom. Could have flushed TSM's chances down the toilet if Bolo screws up. Well, there's a nice kill from Dan on the run out. He'll head from home. This leaves a 3v3 on the bomb site, by the way. That becomes a 2v3, but now always punished. Merc has control of Cocktail. Gio's got the diffuser in hand, but he gets taken out by Joystick. Blind spots from TSM. Unaware of where these Empire players are. Merc with 4 seconds left. On a wing and a prayer, as they would say. And the first round of map 2 goes to Empire.
What an absolutely messy round. So it starts off with both teams fighting in the basement and nothing really happens from it. And then while TSM, they go back upstairs, they clear out utility, they set up the execute, so to speak. Achieved then goes back downstairs into the garage to try and stop the vertical play from Empire and those C4s. Well, it didn't go out that way. Achieve gets shot down from Shepard, and then front 4 from that, well, it's just TSM getting really unfortunate, right? We saw a player on the white stairs, started sprinting, and the same moment he started sprinting, Cypher actually in the basement, not Shepard. well, you died. Dan jumped down, punished Charlotte on the repel, and with that timing, well, TSM, they push forward. They know there's one player on the bomb side.
Stay on
but Shepard,
windows?
instead of Freezer,
Because
just held down the fort, and that means that TSM.
I mean, he
not
could
find
have, but
their
his
way
team
in.
had full
Geo started
control over that
sprinting,
area.
Droids,
Like
they got a
Bolo
free
was already
kill,
in the
and that's
bathroom,
that
but they didn't
first
have
round
control of
for
the
Team Empire.
staircase. So
Top
he really
four
has to
successfully
help them get
defended,
control of that
and Reading is
staircase.
now
The way you
up
do that is by
next.
going down
So
and going
again,
up the
we're gonna
stairs.
see
Just the guy
TSM's
probably
focal
heard
point
him rappel down and
be
ran
that
down the
top floor.
staircase.
Even though
Or
there's
they
no
might have had a
bonsai
camera
present
there.
on it, you know how crucial that is. Because if you're looking at a reading take, you want a sledge or a buck over in Cocktail, which is where you see the right side of your screen. Take out some of those floor panels, drop grenades down in the default plant spot, which is by the bookcase in B-Bomb. You as a sledge want to hold that line so that if a defender goes to swing, you can pick them off ahead of time, because the default spot for a lot of these players is on that second floor, if you can show, down inside of Laundry. Instead, we're going to look as to where these Valkyrie cameras are going. Scyther still has one left. Bear no mind to the player cam, by the way. That's not Scyther.
It's changed his visuals. It happens sometimes. We've seen some
It's an imposter. He's on the wrong team, Nick.
There are colluding. Is that the word? Colluding? Colliding?
That is correct.
Yeah, there it is. They're colluding, trying to figure out, how can we get the favor here? Maybe we swap one player from TSM to Empire, we share the strats, and now it gets really exciting because we all know each other's approaches to the map. But right now it's going to be TSM once again working their way through the top and down, not having any presence really in the basement besides Bolo just droning out right now. Merc on this balcony, opening up the window and applying pressure. Really keeping Empire guessing where TSM are going to be entering from. And Empire, once again, they have no focus on piano. So when Chala opens up this window, he'll see it's all clear. There's no shield, there's no ADS, there's nothing really. Empire playing a, I would say, different approach to the defensive rounds than most teams typically do, whether you will sit inside a pixel. And it might be because that all mine has been banned.
Well,
Empire might not be comfortable without the mine to sit in those corners because they don't feel safe. As TSM, they keep bringing those grenades. 6 this round.
And lots of demolition that can be done with those, getting dropped on the heads of the defenders or blown up from below. First
Astro on the
Scyther
beat, like
and
they did months.
Scyther got the very first kill back in round 1, and Nitro Cell goes out, and Bolo dances around that one, so a second bit of action too. Immediately, a bit of a proactive, a reactive adrenal surge goes out. Merc with 2 kills to his name. He was the lone survivor in that previous round. And, well, he'll sit
American
and wait for
ego,
now.
nothing to show for.
TSM,
What do you mean?
NA
is tied for the most
They
invitational
cannot
ones.
get outfoxed, but there's a run out from Dan down below. They know they've got another player from Empire isolated. Dan was a slow starter back in map 1, but he's taken a lot of gambles this time. I like that. I like that moxie.
Yeah, with a minute left to go, Empire now falling off that top floor hold. They don't care about that anymore, but they have Valkyrie cameras still, I believe. So that means some bit of information available. And you spoke about the sledge doing that vertical play on the floorboards of Cocktail. That's exactly what TSM will do. They will start setting up the bomb site in preparation for that default
Actually,
plan.
chat,
And to drone out pillars,
think
take
about
control, then walk onto the bomb site. Then the vertical play that you see right now becomes
NA
extremely vital, because if
technically
you can
has
hold down
3
the angle
invite wins if you
successfully,
include the
it should be an
Xbox
easy
win.
plant. Meanwhile, down the basement, here goes Geo, out of pace, just starts planting, Bolo tosses the grenade, and will cover from now on.
And I don't know if Gio's gonna make it through. Yes, he is, with a hair, and he gets away. First kill goes to Bolo. Merc finds one as well. Shepard, rat-tat-tat, pitter-patter of the MPX. Good enough for 1 kill. Joystick is on pillars as well. TSM still have the advantage. It's Scyther with 1 HP to be finished off from Merc. And Joystick
Excellent,
to clutch.
excellent, excellent.
He's sitting on top of the diffuser. But he needs to be wary because guess who's up top on that top floor? It's the sledge of Achieved. We talked about this in the preamble of the round. You need to hold that top floor if you're a sledge. Achieved does it just like that. And this game now tied up at 1 apiece.
And that's the thing, even if there's only 1 minute left, if you fall off the top floor without getting any sort of advantage, well, you will just start doing the vertical play and walk into side. TSM only needed 25 seconds of setup to just say, we're doing it right now. They did it off pace. And what I mean by that is that typically you can read very easily when someone is going to plant. They want to get all the right angles, get all the right rotations, drone out the right areas, then they go. Normally, that would have been like 10 to 15 seconds later in the round than what TSM just did.
Geo?
But because they did it at an unexpected situation, there was no response from Team Empire. The only thing that could stop them was that toxic babe. It was tossed out far too late.
Geo
Then we
is
saw Bolo
American as
push
they
on in,
come,
get a
dude.
kill, trade it back and forth. But as long as TSM holds up top with that vertically playing control, well, the post-plan is so easy for them. And that's why that round looked way easier than it should have been, because TSM TSM only needed 20 seconds.
No,
to do
Gio's
everything
from
for the setup.
Mexico
Good
originally,
read
but
by
listen,
Gio,
he's
who's been
basically
taking
he's still
control of these
American.
plans and really bringing TSM forward
He
in
loves
this last minute of the round.
He plays
Well, you
for an
cannot
American
lose your
team,
footing
so
on
by
your
you know
own map. That is the big issue for TSM at this point.
he is American.
They struggled on round number 1, but picked it up on round number 2. Look at what has presented itself for round number 3. It's a kitchen defense for Empire. and
Exactly, like
Lord
Kelby
will
said,
grace
America
our
is a
screens.
melting pot.
The Lord is in play, combined with the smoke and the yokai.
The
So
love of
this is
freedom
arguably
and
a very
winning.
bomb deny or plant deny setup for basements. That means that whenever TSM will be attacking, well, if there's not a lot of time left on the clock, you have 3 different ways to deal with Gio trying
Love
to
freedom,
get the plant
buddy.
down. So TSM, obviously, they will not know that this exact situation is happening, but
There's
they
actually
will need
the
to work
junk
a
on
little
the
bit
board,
faster
chat.
or be very convincing throughout the second part of the round. That last, like, 1 minute 32, about 30 seconds left, right before you start planting. If you
I've
can
been up
gain
all
a lot of
night.
control, I mean,
Yes.
that Terradrome right there
I am half
just
dead.
gained control. It cleared the shield, it cleared the ADSs, we're already off to a good start, and Dan has that FMG playing smoke inside our VIP. And already one Toxic Babe is in.
I have no idea I'm
prepared, but not
awake.
popped just yet.
I'm on the struggle bus, chat. I'm gonna be real.
Well, they want to clear out the outside portion around the bomb site. I guess they might have started with Get Joystick. Goodbye to the Russian Cyborg. Shepard will now get aggressive, maybe to answer that. Over by Whiskey at the bottom of Brown stairs, but Empire already finds themselves in a 5v4. There's 2 minutes
You're watching me
left
before
for
me and thought I
TSM
went to
hold
bed
that
and I started
advantage before
still
they
streaming
execute.
this morning.
And note that TSM haven't actually done
listen,
anything this
you
round. They were
did.
holding
Yeah,
angles
so
from the
fine.
exterior, and now the angles come out. The Toxic Babe got grenaded out,
bye-bye,
so won't be
Dan.
popping out. The flashbang hits perfectly. It's an easy
Merc
entry
loves
for Merc.
killing
There
Dan.
could be another as well, but always
He's an action
with that LMG,
enjoyer.
guns down Merc. It's one of the few LMGs on defense. A nice Tachanka kill for you to see. You don't have a smoke present. That was the Dan who died earlier. The best surrogate on this team.
Dude,
at the
Dan is
moment
definitely
is
gonna
gonna be
fucking
that
Q&A
Tachanka
ranked and shit
with
on
the
me.
Shumika launcher.
I've been
and
talking
11
so much
Molotovs
shit.
Still remaining, make that 10. There are Yokais
Oh,
in play
yeah,
for
I think the
Shepard
20
too.
month
So
resub,
plenty of
welcome
plays
back.
out, but oh, there goes Shepard. Where did he die from? And now it's always down for the count. Scyther in a 1v3. It's an adrenal surge that got popped by Bolo before he got finished off. And Scyther is in a hopeless position. Upstairs, Nitro Cell to potentially distract.
Gonna jump you,
It
Brown.
does actually work
No, I don't
to
know
stare
anybody in any
Gio
team
off
kills
this
anymore.
plant.
I always
He's so
make
close to
chat
getting it
commands
down.
for them when I
On white
owe people
stairs,
team
Scyther's
kills, and now
re-entry to
there's
the bomb
none
site will be
left.
from over inside a freezer. He can't outduel achieved. Second round in a row achieved, gets the very final kill. TSM looking in mighty form through these last 2 rounds, and they've now got the lead on their map.
And that momentum, right? The early pick going favor of TSM. They were Terror Drone doing all the damage it needed, clearing out all
EU
the
in
ADSs
shambles
and the
right now,
shield.
chat.
That later paid off because one single little
EU
flashbang
in
boy bounced
shambles.
off the door frame, completely blinded Dan inside our VIP. And look right here, you just run on in, he cannot fight back. It's super easy. No trade inside, always does find one, but it's just not enough. The yellow ping, the shoulder peeks out, another freebie for TSM. Empire, they're playing the angles a little bit incorrectly here and getting picked apart early. And especially the gunfights, well, the Russian team of Team Empire has been known to be one of the most fierce teams, especially on LAN, but TSM are looking so good in their individual gunfights. Not just today, not just against Empire, not just against FaZe, but throughout the entire tournament. All 5 players, even though Gio and Chala are both statistically negative in terms of stats, they are really winning their ones.
There was a growing sentiment of the remaining teams
Gio
that
might
were
be
here.
like
Many
not
of whom have
technically
now
playing
left.
well,
Once teams
like
were eliminated,
statistically, but he's been
they get on a
wasting
plane and
so
they
much
go
fucking
within
time.
48
It is
hours. The Sonics just
ridiculous.
lost. What is it, 36 hours ago? They left on a plane this morning to go back to North America. So you lose, you quite literally go home. They put you on a plane as fast as is humanly possible. But I asked a lot of the teams, when we saw the final 6, who is the scariest team here? A lot of teams said Liquid, but the scariest team that I heard was FaZe. Team after team said FaZe when they got knocked down to the lower bracket. This is a team that is going to make a tear, and they're going to clean up the lower bracket and make it to the finals. Guess who beat them?
TSM?
And guess who beat them 14-4?
TSM?
Earlier today, TSM not just going into a grueling 3-map contest against FaZe Clan, but they pummel FaZe Clan.
It did.
So here you are. Team Empire got the upper hand. The very first time
Chat,
these two teams
you see that? You see
the
that right
rematches
there?
almost always
Merc
seem
just
to
hit that
favor the team
C4
that
out of
lost,
midair. You know
and
why?
TSM today are
he
playing
plays
on
aim
probably
lag.
the highest
That's
level
why.
we've seen since they got to the 6 Invitational.
Yeah, this iteration, this roster with these exact roles that TSM have been brewing in the offseason,
Yep,
putting Geo
X-Space
back
for
on
an aim
hard
lab.
support, moving Merc up into the front line on an IGL vocal role.
do,
I
buddy?
didn't think it was gonna work, I'll be honest. Like, Geo and hard support makes sense, but I think a lot of people, myself included, were doubting Merc on the
I'll be on
IGL entry.
early on Monday
But I
at
think
like
this
4
is Merc's
p.m. because I want to
best
play a lot of the new
performance in his
season.
entire
So
career as
honestly,
an
whenever this
individual,
game is done,
statistically. And then you gotta add on top
I'm
the fact
gonna
that he's
go to
also
bed,
providing
and then I'm just
in-game
gonna
leadership
sleep
to his
until
team at
tomorrow.
the same time. Very few players can do both.
Sleep for 20 hours.
Again, the map control that's being held right now is just off-site. This is another attempt from Team Empire. Upstairs on Cocktail. Half of the round has
Halo
expired.
helped through their Destiny trial
Nobody's dead
matches.
just yet.
Nice.
Adrenal surges have gone out, and I'm going to give you another statistic.
Okay.
With the exception of the very final round of Clubhouse, the team that gets the first pick goes on
see you
to
at
win
10
all the
p.m.
time.
Monday.
So
I'm
that
gonna
stat,
be
that
on time
conversion
on
is
Monday.
proving its value and proving its worth right now. Chala's the first one to take some damage on the side of TSM. It looks like maybe Merc, as he might have lost a little bit of it. But other than that, Empire are sitting quite pretty.
That they are, but there's still not much ground for Empire to have. I mean, they have the bomb site, sure, but no piano presence,
Dude,
no cigar presence.
I've only
TSM
had a
in the
messed up
own net area
schedule
the map.
because of
When
the
minutes are
games,
left, all they gotta do
okay?
is break through this next wall.
I'm
They
4-day
have Merc
vacation.
on the Maverick. He can use the torch, open up the angles. Nate comes out. It's gonna force Empire back inside a bathroom. And this area right here, well, if Empire can swing and get something for their money, that's going to be good. But otherwise, this wall we can open right up.
Oh, and Dan doesn't hear it amidst the chaos and confusion, giving a 30-second window now for TSM to continue to push into the bomb site with the advantage they have. They lose it, though. Polo taken down by Scyther, and now always gets one with Geo 2. So Empire, they gave a lead. Nade goes out. Damage done to Always, but the guns from Empire are hitting their marks. It's a desperate throw in by Achieved. He's been so good in 2 rounds. Can he do more? No, Always says that's quite enough for that one. We're
Not
going
me,
to take a
anything, the
round
Prime
of our
sub.
own. Cocktail proving
Legends,
to
like the
be
Prime
a
sub.
little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
too
from Trim Trimmins.
impregnable for TSM. Empire will now take both of their defenses on this bomb
Yeah,
site.
listen,
And with
chat.
the game tied, they're going to need to win on
They
another
gave him a couple
site
of
for the
rounds to make
first
things
time
interesting. It's
if
fine.
they
You
wanna
can't
win
win
this
too
first
fast.
half.
Like people have
Nobody on
drops to
Clubhouse
get.
can break the basement attack
You know, it
until
is what it
OT,
is.
and of course, so far, well, TSM have not
Nice
been
guy
able to break that
TSM,
top
you know,
four
letting
defense
people
either
get all their
from
drops
Team
and
Empire.
such.
It looked quite good once they got the opening pick with the Maverick torch that we see right here. Easy pick for Bolo. Dan couldn't even fight back, but you see Bolo
Not
sprints
coping.
into 90, gets shot down, also nice shot onto Cigar player, and then Merc has to vault through a rotate. Diffuser left in Cigar, by the way, for TSM, so even if they got the map control, they were not in a position to plant at all. And Achieved, nice try, but it's not enough. Back to reading we go. Similar start for Empire. They're playing it rather passive, not giving TSM anything, really. Or rather, giving them everything, because they give them piano, they give them cigar. They don't want to risk dying early
I
on
honestly
in the
really
round
hope
because
that
Empire,
TSM
they want
closes
to
it
play
out
a
relatively
5v5 or
quickly because
4v4,
fatigue
and
is
so
going to
far,
start kicking
well,
in.
50% success rate, right? 2 rounds have gone to either team, so there's not a clear-cut situation of like what's working out in whose favor, but right now we're seeing a change. Empire setting up ADSs in Pixel, setting up a Renegade for the double door in Cigar. This signifies a very clear change in their approach to the round. They will now contest TSM on those piano rappels as they're entering into Cigar, and they have the stock shield to follow up as well. So now we gotta see TSM, with the MI being banned from them, can they pick this apart rather easily? They got 3 flashbangs and 6 grenades. All there's gonna be in their path are going to be those 3 ADSs and maybe a single Renegade.
These outside Valk cams have been oh so choice, if I can say that.
Sure.
And it's been giving a lot of information to Empire, necessitating this
Thank you.
IQ pick to try and figure out where is Empire getting this information from. Info has been the name of the game for Empire in this matchup. Think about it, the amount of bulletproof cameras, the yokais that we've seen from Echo, the Valk cams being just a non-stop presence from Empire. They're tripling up, essentially, on Intel, rightfully so. And it's really helping them through the mid-round.
They are.
Even if TSM were
But
simply
the
better on
core
the entry
server
those
shows
2
how
rounds,
XCs.
it was Empire at least knowing where it was coming from, even if they couldn't handle it.
Yeah, we saw the strength of IQ just there. Chala basically looked through the entire, floor, I guess he's on the roof. He looked through the roof, down into the 3rd floor, and saw where the ADSs were. And he can now say, guys, they're holding Pixel. They got 3 ADSs. We gotta clear it out, or
It's like
we need to avoid it. Good
fresh
one
pasta
flashbang
salad.
spent from Skylight, and that's the thing with the IQ can bring. You know exactly how many ADSs will be in each position. So the call is 1 ADS on that stock shield, 1 flashbang goes out. Next call out now comes. There's 2 ADSs inside a Pixel. Geo throws 2 flashbangs and 1 nade will follow. And then it's perfect utilization. There it is. 1 gone 6 in fact. So you spend 3 flashbangs and 1 grenade. You've cleared out the entire map that Empire set up through the prep phase.
Well, we don't often talk about value from utility. It seems like with Flores, that's when we really start to get into how much utility is gained, or rather, how much utility is burned from a single gadget on your end. Obviously, Flores not in play at the moment from TSM. They've been favoring this same static lineup. There's a run out from Dan, by the way. Look at the confidence of Empire. Dan has gone for a run out in 3 of these 5 rounds and has been successful in 2 of them. On the biggest stage in the game, you're doing this to TSM.
He wants it, feeling confident despite a messy Clubhouse being it off, and Chala takes a ton of damage. Cypher as well, but they both survive. 45 seconds, reading attack by the way, so vertical play from TSM is coming along nicely. And what can he answer with right now? There are 3 toxic babes in the pocket of Shepard. That's the key player. Dan is now off the board, but as long as Shepard's alive, they can't deny the plant.
Scyther will retake from red stairs. He's only got a tiny bit of HP. First toxic canister goes out. 30 seconds left for the next 2, and another will be burned immediately. Empire trying to blanket the bomb site so that TSM have no way in to get that diffuser planted. It's Geo again. Shepard dodges around an explosion. They've got 1 inside a laundry. Shotgun out, and a pump could get another, but he misses. Turned on by Chala. Scyther from above, but still on a tiny bit of HP. Bomb site control now in favor of TSM. It's always to try and stop it, and he sees it. Damage done. He gets back to pillars. It's a reset for these teams. A bit of calmness will go over the bomb site, but Merc decides no. To hell with calm. I want violence, and he finds it. The little that was left of Scyther, gone. Always now with the diffuser. 1/3 of the way gone. He'll wait. The rest of the team will give him intel, playing off of these 2 players of TSM, one of whom
That
still
timing,
sits
he
in the
almost
bomb
had
site, the
that.
other above. This top floor control for TSM is so critical. Always gives his position away. Diffuser still going down. An almost unwinnable situation.
9
All it
rounds in the
takes
mag.
is a couple bullets, but TSM don't want to give it to them. They get the clock. They don't know where he is.
Been played.
Merc gets it like a damn fiddle. TSM up 3-2.
The discipline in the 1 versus 2 always had no idea where TSM were. He was so convinced as a player inside a laundry, but no, he got played indeed, and TSM 3-2. They are now in the lead for the first time on Cafe. As we're entering round 6, Dan, really good jump out early on. 2 nades off the board, Bolo gone, LMG gone. That nade though from Merc does so much damage, and this kill onto Dan as well. It was such poor timing for Empire once again because, well, when TSM were planting in this corner, always he peeked it 1 second too late. He could not deny the plant, and always could not win the 1 versus 2 because TSM played it so well.
I would just like to say, even though we are on a delay, we use tablets to keep track of what's going on in the rounds, and I get now time and time again whenever somebody ats me on Twitter, there's something that'll pop up that'll say, and I'll just see a brief window it. And I just got this right now, and I want to read it out to all of you. Intero, stop talking about the team getting first pick winning. It feels like every time you do that, the team that gets it loses. There have only been 2 times, now 3 times in this entire match where that's happened, and I have brought it up a lot. So no, I will not apologize, and I will not stop doing it. I will keep referencing it. If the team you want is losing, I say to them, simply play better.
Wow. The arrogance, right? Oh, you're tired of losing? Stop winning.
You have no right to accuse me of arrogance when you have to correct me, because calling you a 2-time world champ is simply
It's factually incorrect.
You then need me to say, I'm sorry, not just 2-time world champ, back-to-back world champ.
Because technically
it is correct.
Yeah.
Which is the best kind of correct, Nick. I am technically correct
Tommy
when I call
being
you a 2-time
toxic.
world champ. I am just omitting another part of it.
But you know what, Parker? What's beautiful about the whole champion and back-to-back and 2-time? we will see a new champion at this event. Neither of these teams have ever won a Grand Finals at 6 Invitationals. TSM has never seen or been in an Invitational Grand Finals. Team Empire, though, they've been there, back against the wall, having a hard time. It was Scyther, Shepard, and Joystick. There was no Always, there was no Dan back then. So even for those two players, off Dan and Always, this is a first for them. We got rookies here.
Oh, there we go. Okay, cool.
You made it.
There you go.
It fits nice and tight.
We've seen this a couple times. One big change to Echo if you haven't played recently.
Is there history in
no
Merc and Dan?
invisible,
Yeah,
but
dude.
Always able to be spotted.
100%.
So
They
if you
fist
wanna
they
put 'em
they
in
fist
nifty
fought
spots,
before.
guess what? You're far more susceptible to being spotted, especially with the fact that there's an
That was a
operator
crazy
designed
brawl,
directly to
dude. They
counter
wrecked the
that.
whole
Which
stage
operator's
last year at
I
Invite.
believe it's an operator which is used to describe the sheer amount of numbers that I possess, which is IQ.
Okay. How tall is that number? Look at this nade. That's a high IQ grenade right there from Merc.
And it's an anvil dropped on the head of Scyther. Empire losing out on that first pick again. TSM, this is their map. They want to end the first half up 4-2.
They're showing it as well. Oh, Achieve, one more time. There it is. They're showing it again as well because they're looking very comfortable here. I would say a lot more comfortable on these attacks
No,
than
there's
that
no
of
beef between
Clubhouse.
them. They didn't
Always
actually
looks to get a
fight,
kill.
but-
He finds it. Even back 4-4. That's the vertical gone from TSM as Achieve is no longer available to break that floor apart.
No sledge for a minute left with an execute to happen. If TSM want to go, they're likely going to go for a freezer drop. In which case, where are you going to put that soft destruction and where is the coverage going to come out?
Oh, they've barely broken the floor as well. Like, losing Sledge here is actually way bigger than I thought it was. And then there's 2 more Toxic Babes as well. You got the Yokai drones. Team Empire, you gotta hold on tight. If the gunfight goes in favor of TSM, it's bad.
And there's the drop. The flashes go in as well. Adrenal Surge to try and give a bit more staying power to TSM. Merc is unaware that there's one behind Whiskey, and Merc wins the fight. Shepard a bit of a sloppy aim. Nade hits on to Dan, and TSM have blown their way into the bomb site. All it's going to take is Geo to get the diffuser down, but Joystick fires back onto Bolo. 20 seconds left. It's a 2v2 with Geo getting the diffuser down. There goes Joystick. Always finds one, pivots, and Chala, 500 IQ, gets that final pick for his team.
Empire had everything, right? On paper, Empire wins that round, done and dusted, we go next. But TSM finds one pick with a gunplay into a grenade. That's Merc walking down the brown stairs and somehow just beats Shepard that was on the Echo. Shepard had a rough time, whiffing a lot of bullets there, and then
Dude,
Bolo
chat,
had a grenade
check this out.
really hit home.
Russian
and that opens
STC.
up the round for TSM. They make their way to the bottom side. Geo, I think, proning through, trying to avoid
Got
those
his
holes
leg
in
up
the
right
floor.
here.
And while he does fall to Joystick eventually, it buys enough time for TSM to push on up and take control of the bomb side. That's the first half done. 4-2 side. TSM gained momentum. We see the replay on your screen right now. The grenade counters Scyther, always trades it back on the vertical. It's very nice. And this gunfight right here, so pivotal. Yokai's off the board. The nade as well for VIP. Look at how Bolo supports Chala on that push. And that's it. The 2v4. It's way too hard for Empire to win.
All right, we got to do the post-mortem on the first half, Nick. We do it all the time.
Do it.
A half recap, by the way. You can see at the top of your score when it comes up, instead of TSM fist bumping each other. I would like to remind you, by the way, you saw Achieved's face. He tweeted that if his team wins the event, he will shave all of the hair off.
Both the beard and...
Yeah, but I think he's going to leave his eyebrows.
I think so.
As somebody who said they would shave the hair off of their head, I was also targeted, and I will take no eyebrowless slander here, okay? The only caster who can shave off their eyebrows is Dez. It's the only one that I will accept. If you are a fan of Overwatch or Valor, maybe Sideshow. That's about it. Those are the two casters. It's a British thing. I don't really get it. Anyway, first half in the books, TSM takes it 4-2 in terms of opening picks. It's also 4-2, but not evenly split by rounds 1. 2 diffusers planted while by TSM back in round number 2 and round number 5. Almost planted for round number 4. I can't remember if they got the kill before the diffuser got planted. Same with, I think it was round number 3, the diffuser was almost down. So it was 2 successful objectives, almost 4. You have to go back and see if the diffuser got planted right as the kill happened.
Yeah, it was like very, very close. I noted down as 3 plants because they basically had it, but you are correct. On that final second, it might have changed out the outcome there. 2 Ibana pellets on each hatch, that's all you need to open up these hatches. In fact, you only need 1, but the minimum you can shoot is 2. That's max value for Hibana's X-Cairo pellets, and that's going to mean that now Empire, they can make their approach through this attack. And we actually see TSM with the castle barricades inside of Freezer, not holding Pixel in a similar fashion that of Empire. I think this Wamai ban is really forcing these teams to not play Pixel because it's not going to work. And this adaptation from TSM is very evidently prepared with the Wamai ban in mind because it was TSM that banned it out. So they've studied this, they talked about it, and now they're doing it.
This has been such a one-sided matchup to this point, and I don't think either you or I really saw that coming. The first map went real tight into overtime because Empire started to find their footing and claw their way back. But now on Cafe, even on the rounds that they've won, I don't think Empire have looked anywhere near as strong as they can. And that part is what I think needs to be highlighted. Their ability. Nobody doubts Empire's ability, but we have seen time and time again, and was referenced by Ace and Dez in their cast earlier against FaZe versus TSM, that teams have just failed to show up for some of the matches here at SI. Empire are coming in against a very hot TSM team. At what point do we start to question if Empire is having these same struggles? I think we give it a round or two, see what the landscape looks like, because this is Empire's first attack, and there's only 40 seconds left.
That there is an Empire seems to be gotten stuck, but now the flashbang and grenade comes out. That's the execute as well. They want to go deep because they cannot just plant. Kills does not go in favor of them though, because Bolo finds always as an opening pick for TSM, and Bolo on that FMG does good damage.
And he's still got the lineup as well. Shepard flashing in, going for a plant on the wall, but Bolo looks the wrong way. He gets stopped by a Nitro cell. If Bolo can't do it, then Achieved can. Scyther on a nice angle. All of a sudden, Empire finds 2 kills, looking for more. Scyther is the hero of the round right now. Joystick at the halfway mark. Geo dropping. Can they stop him? There's Scyther down for the count. Achieved can almost get it. No. Joystick has 1 HP. Geo, you have to clutch, and you're gonna get it done on the diffuser. A heartbreaking round for Team Empire. 5-2 for TSM.
Put Geo off the support onto the Jaeger and show him, or let him show rather, what he can do. He closes out the round in a crucial
where the Geo haters at now, chat?
TSM's momentum alive.
Where the Geo haters at?
Speaking of 1vx's, when this series first started, and I don't think it's
real
changed,
fucking quiet.
The only player in this entire
real
lobby
quiet now,
that's yet to win a 1 versus X at this event is actually always from Team Empire. So Geo, he adds another one to the board arguably, but always have yet to find a clutch of his own yet in this series, and I'm really keeping my eyes on
I can't hear you anymore.
The quote-unquote rookie of Team Empire.
I should be able to, before this shit,
to really show for
I can hear these motherfuckers bitching through my Corsair Virtual Show XT.
I think we are.
Now,
looks like Team
can't hear
Empire.
shit.
They've hit the brakes. Empire didn't take a timeout in map number 1, Nick, but they're not making that mistake here. They see the light at the end of the tunnel getting farther and farther away. They want to settle things down.
Geo, look at that. Easy kill for Geo. Tactical timeout coming out from Team Empire. They're going to hit the brakes, as you mentioned. They want to slow down TSM, try and regain some of that momentum because they've lost it. Empire won the first round. Then it was tied up 2-2 because TSM, they came back. And then, well, ever since round 4, Empire has not been in the lead because TSM has been getting the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th round back to back to back. And Team Empire,
Cub Alliance, Canada, USA, Mexico.
They didn't really seem to know exactly what they wanted to do. They saw the setup inside of Freezer when they got into Piano. They didn't have a Maverick. They couldn't break apart the wall because those kite claws were down below, so they couldn't clear them out. And then they just said, you know what, let's just try and go for side. They walked on in, Bolo got the opening pick, then they tried planting, and TC4 took care of it.
If it wasn't for Cub, you wouldn't exist, buddy.
Lost the first 2 members. Then they flood the bomb side. But arguably, if you're Empire, you gotta flood the bomb side to begin with because you cannot just walk in and expect TSM to not have an answer to your plan. You know, go basement, come up the white stairs as you're pushing through the dining fireplace and really collapse on that player on bottom white that was Bolo on the smoke. That's your best bet.
Yep.
A heartbreaking round, as I said, for Empire, and you really got to feel for them after that one. Just TSM's gumption, man. They just never give up. They're always in it. We saw that from Empire when they were on defense. Yeah, Empire only got 2 rounds on that first half defending. But Dan had the cojones to hop out on 3 separate occasions, and it never hurt Empire. That's the craziest thing. He got kills on 2 or 3 of them, and was able to get back in without being punished on all 3, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
That's remarkably good stuff, playing off of that Valkyrie. I do find it very interesting that TSM have not been as reactive. Valkyrie is available. You're not running her. TSM don't want to do that. And that speaks to me that because it was TSM banning the Wamai, they might have been expecting a Valkyrie ban from Empire. Because that's the case, they're just sticking to their own game plan. They don't want to change things up. They're going to go with what they think works. And after that first round it worked, plenty of time for them to pick up 2 more rounds and send us to map 3 with TSM up 2-0.
Really interesting here, when Bolo got flashed off Pixel, he actually pushed forward instead of falling back off like you normally would see. And now he's found himself very deep inside Piano on this ticket booth area. And Team Empire, well, they know about this position. The south side window is barricaded with a castle, but Bolo has to try and see if he can stay alive.
Oh, this is such a bad spot for him to be in, especially on
One
rappel,
world champion,
he's waiting for an
Andy.
open up.
How many world champions do you have?
He's under fire from multiple angles, and there you go. Just too many to look at.
All right, listen, chat. I'm going to break this down very analytically. What Bolo needed to do was fall eye out the window. That's it.
Yeah, they've cleared Pixel.
If he flew out the window, he would have killed everyone. That's all.
Himself. So when you look at it, Team Empire, they successfully did what they had to do, but they got even more value out of it because Bolo chose to aggress. I like that, playing a little bit different, a little bit off pace again, as TSM have been doing so far in this series. But this
Let me
time
tell you,
around,
I've been playing there for a long
leaving
time.
them in a 5 versus 4, and there's
Many
no
moons.
C4 either from the side
Okay.
of Bolo. And well, there we go.
Fly out
Merc
that
on the ground
window.
now from that grenade.
It's a
Once
dub.
again, the numbers are falling from TSM.
He can get back behind the shield, but I don't know if he can be retrieved unless Shala decides, hey, I'll go on in. Nobody swings in his direction. Down goes Merc, and the gunfire pushes him out of his position. Swinging for the fences.
I don't know
is
why.
achieved. That's kill number
Why did
1
they
for
switch
his
out
team.
Bolo
There's 2
playing in
more inside
bathroom?
of
Bolo
Piano.
was like
Maybe giving his
shitting
life
on people
away.
in bathroom
Drone
yesterday.
spots him. He sees
No
one.
pun
a nice
intended.
shot from Joystick. 3 kills from Joystick, in fact. And Dan with a nice one as well. Chala in a 1v4. The timeout paying dividends as Empire backs up the timeout with a round win.
100K roll from Zag.
That's exactly what you want
Zag,
with your timeout, right? If
please
you
join
can
the
take the
Discord.
timeout,
I'll
so
give
hit
you
the
100K
brakes,
roll.
slow
Oh,
down
you're
the
already there.
momentum,
Wow,
and then
look at-
gain it yourself as
look at that.
well. That's
Why
the
did you get
best
timed
case
out?
outcome from
Instead of
Empire, but that
asking
was also arguably
why you got
the
timed
easiest
out,
one, really. You got the opening pick,
just
you cleared
don't
off
do what you
Pixel,
did to
and
get timed
Bolo
out.
walked in
It's pretty
towards
easy.
you. They did a really good job
Alright, enjoy your
capitalizing,
100K
making sure
roll.
Bolo would not slip away for free. 2 players on that window rappel, 1 person on the hatch, and it just snowballed from there. The injure onto Merc, then the kill onto Merc. A Chief takes spot, gets a kill, but then gets straight out right after, you see right here. Really well played from Team Empire. Joyce with a nice triple kill, and Dan with a nice shot as well. Now we're getting up to 5-3. As Team Empire slowly getting up on that board. And TSM, they have room for error, right? They can go on different bomb sites, try out different strategies, and see what will stick eventually. And, well, Empire needs 2 more rounds to tie back to a 5-5.
I think when you look at the state of this half, TSM are in very comfortable position. I don't ever count Empire out.
Never.
TSM could be up 6-1. And I'm still not sure that the match is about to be over. Empire are just so strong and so
the
clutch,
Come Alliance
especially if they
will
can settle
persevere,
themselves
chat.
down. Now, our expectations coming into this map is that TSM would prevail. That's why they chose it. And
Isn't
if you
TSM,
look at the map
there
pool that we
4
have,
Americans and then
it
Geo's
should
from
be
Mexico,
TSM
right?
equalizing. But it's not.
I believe.
TSM took Clubhouse in a desperate
Aren't any
and
of
stunning
the-
fashion in 14
Yeah,
rounds
Bolo's
and are now
America,
better
for
positioned
sure.
to take map 2. That would
Chief is
force
America,
Empire
Merc
into a
is
spot
America,
where they
Charles America,
must
right?
win their map of Oregon next.
Hojo's Canadian,
Then
I
the hard
guess.
part,
Yeah, that's
win
true.
Villa.
Yeah.
TSM's
Come Alliance
best, one of their
intact,
best,
chat.
one of their better maps, one of their best maps. A good map for Empire too. But then you pull off the reverse sweep by winning Bank. It's not even about map pools at that time. It's really just about how are you going to win 7 rounds, 7 rounds,
Come
and 7
Alliance in
rounds? That's an
chat.
awful lot
Intact.
of siege where your mental might be shot out. Empire are a
Chalo's
team
EU?
that can do it though.
When did that happen?
They are, and I think the one thing that speaks to that is the score around 7-6-6-5-4. They're always so neatly together
The only
because it really
thing
is a
that,
full team
you know,
effort.
Chala
And
has
sure,
related
there
to
are some
EU
moments
is,
like in Clubhouse with Dan, he took a while to really get on that
shitting on-
scoreboard, but
shitting
this
on
time around,
Empire.
it's pretty equal out. Whereas in TSM, you got 10-2 5-9-4. So it's again about that holy trio. If you are aggressive trio, but Cypher gets aggressive, that's Pole off the board. Speaking of holy trios, now they're down to a duo because just Merc and Achieved standing.
Empire have gotten the opening pick in all 3 of these rounds, and now Chala wants to equalize. He had a read potentially on an outside Valk cam. I'm not sure, but Dan might know that something is coming. Chala very aggressive on that Echo is not ideal, because if you don't win that 50-50, if you don't win that gunfight, you're gone. Your Yokais are going to be spotted eventually, and now your team is in an even more perilous position, down into a 3v5.
Yeah, and you got so much time to work with, 1 minute and 20 seconds. It's even
they don't
faster
even
than
care.
what
They
TSM
let
could do
old
themselves.
Merc up top.
This floor is really taking a lot of damage. If Merc is up above, could get a nasty
Get a
flank, just like he
Mercy
did previously on Bank in an earlier series. I can't believe he's getting away with this again.
And there it is. You talked about it. You willed it into existence, and there's another one. Dan manages to do that without losing a single bit of HP. Merc gone, but at least taking out Always. How crucial that sledge is on a kitchen execute, and Empire will be without one now for the final minute.
It is an important kill, but most of that vertical damage has been done, so now Empire, they just have to act off it and play together. They have the numbers advantage, they got the verticality, they still got 1 flashbang and 4 grenades to go, or 3 grenades to go now actually, so they can make it happen.
And they need to get this smoke off of this spot, but they will walk now into Freezer and a drop.
No, I was just memeing.
Joystick will be there to greet them at the bottom of White Stairs, but Achieved with the shotgun out prevails. This is all the while that Empire are almost in the bomb site, inside a Freezer. An aid goes out. It does not connect. Chala quarterbacking from behind. TSM have seeded most of this bomb site. But there goes the nade onto Achieved. The Yokai can move into position. All they need to do is get it into the right spot.
Yes.
Shepard's almost completing it. Knocked away. 2 seconds to go. And Jill can stop it. What a good bit of teamwork by TSM. They're on match point on that too.
They coordinated that perfectly, right? The Yokai comes in, slows
Even
down
more
the plan,
iconic
and at
duo.
the right moment, once again, I believe it's
Empire
Gio
getting
who
shot
vaults
off
over
plant by
and
an
finds the 1 kill that matters. We talk about impactless kills and impactful, and Gio, almost each and every single one of these kills in this series has been impactful kills. That's a support player doing a phenomenal job on that supportive role.
Feels good, man.
We cannot highlight it enough. The way that TSM played that deliberately together. The first one is Achieved on the bottom of White Stairs. If Joystick does not die, then Joystick can stop Gio from going in because there's another set of eyes watching the post plant. It's almost impossible for Gio to get in at that point and shut down Shepard before the diffuser can get planted.
It's so true.
Joystick going, first domino, then the Yokai, then the castle, a thing of beauty from TSM, and a deflating end of the round where Team Empire are now watching match point.
It almost seems like TSM are reading 1 step ahead, having a plan, and then capitalizing.
Match
Whereas
point.
Team Empire, they're being more reactive. They see
Match
a guy, shoot a
point,
guy.
chat.
They don't really think about the possible
No one on
consequences,
TSM
right?
has
Joystick
ever
walking up
played
close,
in an
getting
invitational
shotgun from the
finals.
VIP player of Achieved should never happen.
The best
because
they've
if your
done is
teammates drop the
third
hatch
place.
successfully, and then walk into the bomb side, you don't have to care about pushing the VIP guy. You can sit all the way back on Garrett's door. If you breach the garage wall, sit all the way outside garage wall itself, hold the angle, and wait for the next step. But instead, bit of a desync, miscommunication, a lack of trust as Joystick walks up too far and gets punished. And Gio, we spoke briefly about his impactful kills. On that final attack on basement on Clubhouse,
get
Gio
someone here in
found a
chat?
kill that saved the round. Gio had a 1 versus 1 earlier, and he won that round as well. And what we just saw in basement was a joint effort of Chala and Gio to support
goodbye.
the Yokai and the castle. But now it's Merc's turn to get the opening kill once again.
Or get it with the
Always on
rank
the edge
C4.
of
Let's
the
fucking
board
go,
so
baby.
early.
And that was again another sledge pick early on a bomb site that is not on the top floor. That sledge is so critical to pull off and execute on reading, and that's exactly what Empire will not have. Out it goes, and down always goes. Empire, though, they don't want to be too slow on this execute, so they drop Red Hatch. They've droned out most of the top floor, and they know that TSM have fallen off. But TSM are cool as a cucumber at the moment. They just need to wait, let Empire come to them. And if they can do that well, they're in good spot. Hold on a second here. TSM hasn't actually fallen off the entirety. They're still holding on to the portion of the map over by White.
holding bathroom and stock, but it's just Bolo all alone. And this time he progressed backwards instead of going forward into the guns of Empire. He went back, and this nade, it barely misses. It keeps Bolo alive, and he cannot fall back or stick his ground. But either way, he has no help. Whatever he does, he's all alone. But when you got the opening man advantage, you can risk playing those risky bodies because, well, you still got the 4v4, but achieved with a nice C4. That's gonna punish Empire, and achieved that
nice.
Despite heading information, Empire cannot react.
It's all
but then
up to
finds Bolo's
Dan
head.
Scyther.
Another one aggressed further up, but Scyther, well, what can he get?
Well, hold on a second here. We need a temperature check on this TSM team. Merc might be able to get one, and there you go. What a performance!
Yo, Merc is such a rat.
14 damn kills and 7 damn rounds. TSM take map number 2. They're 1 map away from being SI champions.
Pretty sure TSM has some sort
Easy,
of
chat.
invincibility
Peasy.
code because they are in position that seem to be obvious. And Team Empire, they have no idea. I mean, that was a breaching charge going down on the floor, expecting no one to be up there with no drones. You cannot.
You have 7K
assume that
points
to
to
be clear.
see.
And if it was droned out, that's miscommunication. That's
You were so
confirmed.
confident
It's
before
2-0.
this,
It's series point for TSM. We're headed to Oregon. Empire's map choice.
But TSM are no slouches on this.
They aren't.
That's the thing. The map pool,
You were at
especially the later that
500K?
we go into the
You're literally like,
series,
I'm betting
tips
everything
in
against
favor of
TSM.
TSM. When you look at Oregon, Villa, and Bank, it is so hard for you to find how Empire comes back on even 2 of those.
7K
let alone
poggers.
All 3. So
That is
this
just
is not
unfortunate.
where you want to be for the Russian squad. They've been in the finals before, and the last time they were in the SI Grand Finals, they won 0 maps. This is the
You're gonna
second
bet your
time
last
that Empire have been
7K
in this
points
spot,
on Empire
and they
2.
still have not won a single map in the 6 Invitational Grand Finals. Is Oregon going to be that map? That's what we have to see. That's the question that's going to be answered, because if it's not, that's over. TSM, they're the world champs. That's how it works.
And even if Empire, they managed to get that Oregon map, well, you gotta go all 5 at this point. You gotta make a comeback 3 maps in a row if you're favoring Empire to win, or want them to win rather. And TSM, they can now choose, quote-unquote choose, to close it out very soon.
At this point, I don't know what you can do to slow down TSM. FaZe had no idea what to do earlier today, and now Empire, especially the looks on their faces, as they walked past us at that map ending, they don't look like they know what to do either. Is Oregon going to be the turning point for this series? We'll find out in just a couple minutes. We got a break ready, and then we'll be back with more of the SI Grand Finals.
Com is better than communism. Yeah, this is great. Oh my gosh, that FaZe clan, the team that just got beat by TSM? Yes, that's why TSM is after. Give you VIP Empire 3 your points away? Listen, dude. You believed, and now you're in shambles. Chat, let's all do a pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America. Yep. America, America. Feels like the 4th of July, chat, let me tell you. George is the type of guy to lower a truck. Isn't that just a car at that point? What do I know?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and MBs, to the show, to the command center, where you'll see a machine right under this desk, hooked up directly to my veins with pure copium. Europe is not faring too well. TSM are up 2-0, and what a way to finish up map 2. You thought overtime, you know what, we got a good chance, Empire coming back, but no, not them, the second one. What's going on? We're back here. We're going to talk about things in detail. Least biased Death Coast, by the way. It's fun. We're having fun here. Got Jack, Jess, and of course James to talk about our second map and how things went down, because TSM looked dominant. Here's the scoreboard, just in case you forgot what happened there. There's one team that's really showing up here.
TSM have got Empire's number. It's as simple as that. And what I actually want to talk about is not necessarily on the scoreboard, but is the round rotation. So yesterday we saw these two teams play on this map, and Empire, they could defend Cocktail as their first site rotation. They couldn't defend Reading as their second site, and then they couldn't defend Kitchen as their third site. TSM walked away with a 4-2 split because the same thing happened again today. Empire could only defend one site, which was Cocktail. Reading, they lost it, they lost plants. Kitchen, they lost it, they lost plants. TSM just have Empire's number when they are attacking this map.
I mean, I hate to point out the obvious here, but we just keep calling Merc the tip of the spear. And it is so sharp that Empire has no armor to deflect this.
Yep.
Merc just keeps coming at them in waves, and it's not the same kind of wave of unpredictability we oftentimes see those entry players come in as. It's not sort of the crouch walking sort of entry Ashmain that sometimes we will reference throughout the years of entries. Merc plays it smart. Oftentimes you will see 2 drones in front of him. In fact, Pixel had 2 drones in front of him time after time. He's working off the intel. The players at the bottom of the leaderboard there aren't really, in my mind, at the bottom of the leaderboard. They're the ones droning. You don't have stats for drones like that, and all the kills that Merc is getting on the entry is based off that team play that we can't quantify.
I mean, you've got to admit, Merc has just transcended to another level this tournament. When the pressure is there and when the stage is as large as a 6 Invitational, he steps it up. And if you watch back the highlights, it's just Merc after Merc. He was tapping heads. I was just sitting there doing my best Jesse Pinkman impression. He can't keep getting away with it. The number of times he would come around for that flank and win the round single-handedly was just ridiculous.
Absolutely incredible. But we talk about our spearheads all the time, and it's very easy to highlight it because how do you highlight players that you can't always see purely on the scoreboard? That's the difficulty. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring up our two supports. Got Shepard and Geometrics from their respective teams of Empire and TSM. And here's the stats that we're picking up. Lance, survival, entry death, and cost. Jess?
Oh, go to the third row down. Glance right at the glaring obvious discrepancy between Geo and Shepard on your screen. When we talk about objective-based teams, Team Empire has been one that is known to want to idealize the objective play time and time again. But I tell you what, Geo, remember we used to talk about Goga, CCI plant? Well, Geo's going to have to come up with his own catch line here because he is the one that is getting in round after round, plant after plant. Wow, that is something that we didn't see Team Empire achieve throughout this map at all. TSM always had a counter for Shepard. That must be so frustrating to be him.
And I've got to admit, like, there was one round on the first map where Shepard was planting the diffuser when the round was won, but most of the rounds when Empire were attacking, they ran out of time. They were too slow. They lost the man advantage. They didn't have enough players on the board to execute. We looked at Cafe. There was a round when they were attacking Reading. They were trying to plant in Fireplace, in Dining. 5 versus 5. 25 seconds left. There's a C4, there's smoke, and there's 5 TSM players ready to deny plant. Like, imagine being Shepard in that scenario. He's like, yeah, I'm just cannon fodder.
And you know what? I think that Shepard's it perfectly into the moment where Jess walked on over to Telestration because you pulled it perfectly. That's what she's going to break
Did you know
down.
that was my Telestrator
I actually had no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
There we go.
That is incredible.
They know exactly what's going on.
Wow.
Jess, you can go ahead. Telestrator is all yours. Break it down.
Thank you. You know, that's great. What a segue. The man didn't even know. All right, I'll step down off the box. Come over here with me. Have a look at this screen. James has already spoiled it just a little bit for you guys, so I'm going to kind of go through the nitty-gritty just real quickly for you guys. This is something that Pengu stated on the cast. He said TSM is one step ahead of Empire every time. Looking at that graphic we saw before, let me tell you why. We were talking about before. James said it was a 5v5. Always goes down in the last 25 seconds. So there's
crazy
only
to
25
see
seconds left
how
on
far
this round,
America's gone.
and they're going for the plant. What you don't see off
Yeah,
the
dude.
screen,
I
to
mean,
give
I'm
you a little bit of
I'm
context,
happy.
there is a player holding
Proud
the
of
red
him.
long hallway here so that no one can
Proud.
peek when Shepard goes for the plant. So don't worry,
Proud
that's not
of
left
all
out
of
there.
them.
Empire have that covered. What they don't realize is that below, let's try and get a little zoom on the man. Right below, Achieved has already placed the C4. And you're probably wondering, where has he placed the C4? On the direct plant spot that Empire want. Why have they done this? Because they already know the default plan of Empire. They've played them before. They know what Empire does. This is just yet another set strat from Empire that they know is going to go down. They've already prepared the counter. What they don't also realize from Empire's point of view, they believe that the only player that they have to deal with, and oh my goodness, guys, I can't even get my arrow to point the right way. Let me clear it. Let me use a line. There we go. We're getting there eventually. They believe that the only player they need to deal with is this player. They would be right, usually, but there is a redundancy layer here from TSM underneath. So I'm going to play it out. I'm going to show you the absolutely crippling moment. Team Empire realizes that their strat has already been counted before it's begun. It plays out here. There's a player holding red hallway. Goes, no one can stop me. You kind of misread it, buddy. They can stop you. They're below. And I'm also going to highlight the fact that Dan had a drone in pocket. He also had a drone out. Imagine they put a drone in the bottom floor just to know whether there's a C4 there. They know that there's multiple C4 players over on this lineup. They've got Charla who still has a C4 in pocket. It hasn't been expended. They should know that this is a possibility and Empire hasn't accounted for it. We'll let this play out just a little bit more. Because at this point, they know they still need to get the plant down, and they have about 10 seconds to deal with it. They move in, get the player behind knocked over bookcase, and when they go for the plant deep, what they don't have here is a drone on the flank. Let's go have a look at our little man over here. There we go, and we can always assume it's either going to be Achieved, Merc, or one of the support players who's last alive to come in for the flank because TSM love the flank. They have no drones there to work this out. As a result, the flank comes in easy as can be. No one has any idea. Goes down to a 1v1. Joystick is so lit, he has no opportunity to live. And that's round over. And I tell you what, in a normal round, where Empire has that strat going for them, they know their C4 is below, they should win it. But TSM is 3 steps ahead at all times. Wanted to point that out. Well done, James, for reading that.
I actually feel really bad. I had no idea that was your segment.
Nice segue.
I mean, his preparation leading you on, this is like literally TSM and Empire in that round. He just had you ready for it.
He had my number. He's 2 steps ahead.
Nitro is just ready. You know what? We still have just a bit of time, so just enough to talk about our third map. We go to Oregon. Empire are on the attacking side. It is their final shot at this. Please tell me there's a way for Empire to come back, Jack.
I've been racking my brains trying to find anything to say about how Empire could come back. And they've already lost 2 of their big 3 maps in Clubhouse and Cafe. Oregon's a map they don't particularly like, but they've done okay on it in this event. So they're gonna have to use what they've done well on this event. And I really don't know. I'm feeling like it's all TSM right now.
I said to Jack before we got on the desk, they either pull like the historic reverse, you know, sweep.
Happened before.
Like I'm thinking of like my very first time on the grand finals with SSG, and I'm just emblazed by the fact that SSG is coming back like that. Do I have the same feeling I have back then about SSG for Empire? I actually don't, because I actually think they're making so many mistakes that there's so much they need to band-aid and patch up. I actually think that there's too much, unless they just flip the strat book on its head.
Look, the last time Empire played Oregon, it was a lovely 7-0. Like, that was against Sandbox. When they played against M&M, they really struggled on attack. And they only won 1 out of 6 rounds. It was only on a tertiary site. That's where they need to step it up. We need to see Empire pull their head in.
Empire, this is your last shot. If you fail, it's over. TSM, they're so close to making it a 3-0 victory.
I'm pretty ready for it.
NA. We've seen an EU comeback versus
NA.
Empire
is tilted off the face of the earth, and this is a GG.
We talked about all of this earlier on, but TSM, they look so good. All the work now, all the pressure is on the Europeans.
Just opened a bunch of.
Thank you very much. It's time.
You just opened 13
on Oregon. Will we have more maps, or will it just end here for TSM? Let's toss it back to our casters. It's Intero and Pangu. Have fun.
Well, if you're just tuning in, you might be a little surprised, my friends, at the scoreline.
I'm muted. I'm just restarting the whatever. I'm just reopening it so we make sure we don't have like any delay. When you watch the stream for a while, there's like a little bit of delay.
EU, when they were down 0-2 last time around, what happened? Tell me right now.
You came back.
Reverse sweep, correct? 3-2.
Right.
EU is down 0-2 once again.
Right.
Is it possible?
Is it possible?
It's always possible. So what's on the menu is copium. Milosh said it first. I'll just reiterate it. I think it's possible. The bans right now are the Ying ban from TSM, which is interesting because they played themselves as well, but they want to ensure that when it comes to that basement defense, that Team Empire cannot crutch onto that Ying operator and make their lives easier for themselves. So the Ying's off the table. So was the Mira, so is the Valkyrie, and so is the Thatcher. So quite standard operator bans here from both teams. The Ying and Oregon is a team that most the Ying and Oregon is something that most teams play these days, but it was kind of started by SSG from North America, so TSM, they're very well versed in what this operator can do.
A lot of the top NA teams like this Ying on Oregon because A, you can bring the hard breach gadget, the secondary hard breach gadget, but you also have the ability to chew through Aruni gates, chew through ADSs, Wamai discs, which by the way, will be present. Wamai, despite being banned in the previous map, will be back again and expect to see a decently high pick rate from this operator. He was seen quite often back in map number 1 on Clubhouse. Between these 3 maps, Oregon and Clubhouse tend to share more similarities than either do with Cafe. So you're going to see, potentially, a lot of Wamai in action. Hilariously, in our very first round, there's no Wamai on the board.
I was going to point that out.
It's just the Jaeger with his ADSs. But there's also no Aruni. Teams like to bring Aruni. They like to bring Jaeger. They like to bring Wamai.
Probably
Defend
above,
downstairs,
I'd
then
guess
bring
they
a shotgun,
open hatch
one more
above.
flex operator. That's okay for a good lineup. TSM,
I would assume they
they're
did.
bringing a castle. And are they going to play off-site? The answer immediately, yes.
We know what they like to do because they did the exact same thing against FaZe. Not necessarily this particular setup on Oregon, but they want to get active on the map. They want to challenge their attackers. They want to make it difficult for them to get any footing in the map, and they want to basically make sure that Team Empire has to fight for every area to even peek, to get information, etc. Dan has used his gun 6 on the barricade on the double door to blue, and Joystick has sneaked up inside the dining kitchen area. On TSM,
so it's an actual sledgehammer
above.
encased
no other
in
than
like
Merc leading
the
his team
shell.
once again from the aggressive front
I
line.
don't
And he's
know.
about to fight the entry of Joystick. Nade in
no.
hand, and this nade might just read the situation, but it does no damage because the ground that Merc sits
Everyone
upon
get on your
is
feet for the
non-penetrable,
Rainbows
it is
Alliance.
non-destroyable, so he survives at full health.
Immediately, the adrenal surge hit. It doesn't get Joystick back to full HP, but at least a little bit more health in that department. Merc still from above. He watches one angle. Down goes Dan, and now Merc gets away with his life intact. A successful roam, and the first pick goes to TSM. Again, Dan was cannon fodder all the way back on Clubhouse. The first round of Oregon, it's the same story. And Joystick as well. TSM having free range of this roam.
And let me just take one more hit real quick. All right, we're back up into it. So Empire is a 3 versus 5. They can still come back. They can still do it. They can still win the round because it's not over.
Hello, production. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you get the copium vape off of the table, please? Yeah. He just keeps hitting it over.
Come on.
And over. Oh my God. I'm
It's
sorry.
Parker.
Wasn't holding
there are more rounds to go. We
I
need
was
the
not
machine.
holding the button down.
We need the machine back because there are so many more rounds to go.
You've got the Russian machine. That's the one that's representing Europe at the moment. But guess what? The machine might not be broken, but she's not in good shape at this moment. That's still about half of the round to go, closing it on the 1 minute mark. A Flores is so impactful on this map. Expect to see Empire bringing it quite often, especially when you're going to try to pull off any execute that involves blue. But the problem is that you've lost too many bodies. The attackers being at a disadvantage is already bad because you lose another player when that diffuser goes down for 7 seconds. And Shepard has been one of the most consistent players on the team. So you don't want him out of action if you can avoid it.
Yeah, I mean, Empire, they have no ground here. I'm not sure what that thermite charge is about, if they just want to hold an angle with it, because they can't do much other than that. And Cypher's on that freezer hatch, Shepard on the freezer stairs, and always on the laundry. This is going to be a desperate attempt of an attack. We're going to walk on through, take the gunfights, and see what we can do. Empire, 20 seconds.
And there's Geo taking a lot of damage, Merc as well. A couple bullets can swing this completely in their favor, but they're at risk of stalling out. There goes Bolo. TSM need to hang on. They might actually be in worse spot right now, and it gets better for Empire. They're now in a 2v3, still dwindling, but TSM waiting. A big kill from Shepard into the bomb site. He goes,
there we
but
go.
he's swatted away, and it's simply a way for TSM to stay alive.
The SI
Round
hammer
one
gets
on
it stays in Montreal.
Breaks in TSM's favor.
You just get a smaller trophy.
One massive problem that Team Empire ran into was that, well, the diffuser's on Shepard, who was on Maverick inside a freezer, and he could not get to the laundry side. There was no rotate on the freezer wall, as there typically isn't. So they had to go deep for kills. The time ran out. And of course,
it's
when you're
not
sprinting
here.
into
I
sudden
leave it in my
desperation,
office.
You will be met with a gun from TSM that shuts them down dead in their tracks.
I really should
what
keep
a
it
nice
down
try
here.
from Empire on the back of that 3 versus 5. We see double and kill here from Achieved. Nice shot onto Dan. He didn't even into the building, and Bolo with a really
Bolo
tight
actually
angle onto that
fucking
freezer hole.
slammed Joystick
Really
there.
gets another one onto Joystick. Then it's a trade, it's a brawl back and forth, always a
Have I held
Shepard
the
trying to
hammer
make
for
it
it?
work.
Yeah,
but
I
without
won the
the
first
verdict
6
here,
invitational.
and not having time to use the torch slide for the canister, well, you just can't make a way through. TSM, they hold the line. Charlie with the shotgun in hand takes out the only member that mattered. It was a Shepard with the diffuser. And with that being said, we have a situation on our hands. We are going to get all that bad voodoo out of the server once again. Just doing a quick restart before we get back into the following round. It's not a tactical timeout. This is indeed a rehost. We'll get back very shortly, I'm sure.
Scaring all the ghosts out of the servers, out of the cables, out of the cords, whatever you want to call them. I would like to remind all of you here of the last time that we saw Empire facing defeat on Oregon. And if you are an NA fan, I'm about to say the scariest things that you've heard in quite a long period of time. I apologize in advance. But the last time that Empire mounted a comeback at an international event to win the whole thing began in the deep depths of Oregon.
Shut up, commie!
Geniuses in Milan choked.
Nate, Dr. 88 in the 2
Empire
months.
starts picking it up, and they come back for the reverse sweep. Now, that was only 3 maps, so you had less room that, your opponents can come back on. Empire now, in order to win the entire hammer, need to win Oregon, Villa, and Bank. But if there's a map that has a bit of magic behind it, if there's a map that Team Empire can look at and put a distinct mark on, that will always, in my mind, be compared to them and the success they've had. And every single time we see them play, I always think of this map. It's Oregon.
I know,
That's
I
just
was
really
getting
what
a
it
little
boils
bit
down to. The
scared
3
when
most important maps
Merc
for
was
this team are
proning on
Clubhouse,
top
Coastline,
White
and
Stairs. I'm
Oregon.
not
I
gonna
think they
lie.
are tied uniquely to the team's
You know,
history.
as in,
Now, they
you know,
lost Clubhouse and Coastline got banned. but if there's a comeback
Invitational,
that's gonna
North
start,
America,
it
Oregon
has
top
to
White
start on
Stairs. Yeah,
Oregon,
it's just
and
not a
how
good
poetic
memory
would it
for us
be
here.
if that's exactly what happens.
No, you're right. And
No, wasn't
I mean,
that
there's
in,
also the argument that
that might have
backs
been.
against
Was
the
that
wall for
somewhere
Team
else?
Empire, right? There's no more room to lose a map and to make massive mistakes. And the
That might
first
have
round
been
of
somewhere
Oregon
else. That
isn't what
was-
Team
is
Empire
Milan, yeah,
wanted
that's
it to
right.
be.
Against
and if you're
Empire,
TSM,
actually,
you're gonna be
right?
feeling a lot of pressure, right? You can see the hammer right behind their monitors. They can see it every single round if they glance off the monitor itself, and you have to wonder, will TSM fall
Yeah, it was
under
against
the pressure
Empire
and
as
maybe
well.
even their expectations that they've set for themselves? Because I don't think TSM came into this thinking,
Here's the
we've
story.
made the
Dude,
grand
I'm not
finals.
high. I am
That's amazing.
exhausted.
They came into this grand final thinking, we want to win, and we are going to win the grand finals, and that's
Merc
the
has a
goal.
Harry
That's
Potter
the
thing on his
bare
face. Look at
minimum that
that.
they will allow for themselves to want to
Go back
achieve,
the other way,
because
cameraman.
victory is the only option for them. An Empire, backs against the wall, they have no reason to fear anything anymore. That's the argument that I have. When you back an animal into a corner,
Chat,
it will
fun
start lashing
fact,
out because it can no longer
Pojo's
fall, it can
actually
no
just
longer
listening
escape,
to
it
that
is
song.
trapped. So Empire, gain
He's
momentum,
just listening
shut
over
down
and over and
TSM's
over, getting
aggression,
happy
make them
music.
question the comfortability of
Probably
their
it's
own
Raining
gameplay.
Men.
That's how you get them. But that's so much easier said than done because
He actually used to
TSM
love
have
that
been
song. I'm not even
so
kidding.
consistent in how they play the game.
We've talked in the past when extended breaks between rounds or maps like this happen, which, by the way, we are currently on a tech issue that has now been resolved. We're getting the teams into the lobby and then starting the lobby. We'll make sure that everything is good to go, and then we'll actually have the match
Actually a
on your
good
screen.
song.
We know that you don't want to, as nice as the stage is, that's not why you're here. As nice as our voices are, that's not why you're here. You're here to see this. This is the goods. But Nick,
Yeah.
knowing what we know about these two teams, their ability to approach the game from a mental perspective, and the fact that Empire is currently staring down the barrel of elimination at SI, the 19th team to go home. That leaves TSM as the winner. That extended break, does it help Empire at all? Or do you think they just want to get into the server and just start going?
I don't think the break's gonna help Empire because you don't have much to work with, right? You lost the opening pick, and then you lost the second, and then like that was basically the round. It was a nice try, but realistically the round ended at like the 1 minute mark. If you're Empire, the best case scenario for you is if you gain a little bit of momentum and you make TSM feel like the hammer is slipping away, because with each and every single round that they can accumulate now in Oregon, TSM can literally feel that hammer closing in. So Empire, if you can cut that right there and make them feel like it's slipping instead, that's how you get them, right? The mental game. If you win a round, like a crazy clutch that TSM should have locked and loaded, that's how you get the mental back into the game. But you have a very long path ahead of you with your Empire, because winning Oregon's just the beginning. It's not the end. So buckle up, get some popcorn, grab a drink or something, because Empire,
it's
they
pretty
gotta
much
bring
over.
it
You don't
all
gotta
the way,
get
all
shit.
5 maps to have a chance to win. If not, TSM walks away with it. We are on it once
Listen,
again. This
I
map
understand you
roll
guys
from
are
TSM. It's a
casting, you
kid
wanna
storm
make it
defense.
seem
We've
interesting,
gone
but this
down
shit's-
below. We're using the
Back it
castle
up,
each
back
and
it
every
up,
single
back it
time. And you
up.
could argue maybe Empire should
Kilogram
have
is tired.
considered
Let's
banning the
dub
castle because it's
TSM,
being
please and
brought so
thank.
well from TSM. And it's Gio on that operator as well, who had like 3 clutches so far throughout this series. We're only on map 3. But the castle lives on. It is not banned out. It is the Valkyrie and the Mira. And Dan, once again, using that gun 6 early on, is now alone inside a double blue door.
I feel like we can make copium jokes all day, but I'm going to say, and I can go out here, I don't care which either of these teams win. I don't care who wins. It doesn't trouble me at all. And I go into almost every single match thinking, okay, what's the better storyline? How is that going to make the cast any better? And what does the narrative look like moving forward? But I just want a competitive match, and so far, Empire have been asleep at the wheel. They need to wake up and gain control because they are dangerously close to where they cannot course correct. Hey, okay, Dan, not a bad start at all. 2 picks. If there's
You're honestly trying to tell me that Parker doesn't want, and Tara, the communist,
3-step plan, right?
doesn't
down below, then breach the wall,
doesn't want a Russian team best known for communism to win SI.
That is what they need to be doing, and
yeah,
it's what TSM has been so good at so far. Good job, Dan.
Well, he's going to continue to roll on with the rest of the team up to the top of White Stairs. This is a danger zone for North America, by the way. The scariest part of this map for NA fans is the top of White Stairs, and Empire knows that all too well. Joystick on a reconnaissance mission. And whether that Gemini will last much longer is anybody's guess.
NA players
TSM
have
waits
learned,
now with a minute to go. This bomb site really does work for you.
NA is real good at reading, real good at writing, and real good at learning.
It's a very winnable prospect. Geo narrows those numbers down, taking out Dan. Scyther's outside on the balcony, being watched by a bulletproof camera. This might necessitate a need, but nice shot as Geo peeks and Scyther through the soft wall. Gives Team Empire that same advantage. Down goes Chala. And this pause, apparently, helping them an awful lot. Merc steps into action, diffuser going down, smokes from the attackers, but it's Merc now to get into the bomb site amidst the smoke. He has no idea. A single kill to his name, but it's impactless at the moment.
Go for it, big balls.
Trapped inside of dorms, diffuser by the window. You have to kill all 3 of the opponents. There's no way you're gonna be able to get to that diffuser in time. You also see from Empire, they've gone down below. So Merc will buy time. He's the IGL of the team. He can't really spend it talking with the rest of them, but he knows how impossible this is. A Herculean task, trying to carry an entire team, just trying to fill time. Nice shot onto Always, but they're playing keep away as he baits it out, and then will get promptly swung on the window. He knows exactly where they are. He gets stunned in the run out. A nice kill, but he's out of time. Valiant effort for Merc. Majorly impactless kills. And finally, Empire put him out of his misery.
And while those kills, they are completely impactless and like they shouldn't even be counted on the scoreboard in a sense, they actually speak to the strength of TSM and Merc as a team and as a player, right? Because the fact that you find 3 kills there with 1 HP and make that 1 versus 3 a 1 versus 2, well, Empire, they played it disciplined, but there were still gaps. Like, sure, 1 person was down below, that was Sophia. Then they had 1 guy on that upside down window rappel, and the 3rd guy just all the way out next to small tower window. There wasn't a trade. So while it didn't matter, it does speak to how TSM are taking advantage of the gaps in the attacking lineup of Team Empire. Real nice wallbang there from Cypher, opened up the round for them. Then we see Merc just doing Merc things, finding the most ridiculous
JMC
skills.
cart in the 5 months.
That's
Merc
1-1.
is so much better than all of Empire.
As Empire takes Kid Storm defense.
Really in really in commanding fashion, right?
Bro,
the entry from Dan
for? You're getting
completely
slammed.
threw TSM off. You could see that how they had no real way to pivot after that. The first pick from Dan becomes a second pick from Dan. You've taken out 2 incredibly strong players in both Achieved and Bolo who are incredibly fluid on the roam.
And it also speaks to them because TSM are doing the exact same setup, so clearly they also think that's a fluke, right? That shouldn't be happening, that's a blunder. So we go again, and this time, well, either we'll have a player down below, that's achieved right now,
that's being
to
biased,
entry point, or we will simply just not fall back through the hatch, we'll go in a different avenue. So TSM believed that the bomb site and the strategy wasn't the problem, but more so that Empire got quote-unquote lucky. And I will agree with them. You know, Dan is not supposed to find that double kill, but that's because Empire played that specific isolated round extremely well. Now the question comes, can Empire adapt to TSM's adaptation and close out the 2nd round in a row?
Empire desperately need to find their footing, Nick, as we've talked about, and they seem to have done that in round number 2. That was a good start.
It was a good start.
You need more of those. Empire on map number 2 of Cafe had a strong round, immediately answered back by 2 strong rounds
Vulcan
TSM. 3 strong rounds, actually.
will
after
give
their
you
second
1,000
as well.
FPS,
So
even if you
TSM
play on a
just
calculator.
never relented, and that's actually been one of the big
Yep.
stories, is how these teams
But if
that
you have
we've
an
seen
Origin
so far,
PC, you'll get
they just
6,000
keep going.
FPS.
That was the main focal point for FaZe Clan whenever people casted them,
Exclamation
was
point
how FaZe
PC.
just never gave up.
It's true.
Real.
And TSM, I mean, they've had momentum the entire series. Even when they're not like leading in rounds, the rounds they are playing themselves, they've been controlling the pace. And you see it here again, Merc
Yeah, other
instantly retakes
computers,
big
you'll
tower,
get
shoots both
2,000
drones, and now
FPS.
Empire. You've gained nothing
That's
with
not
this.
enough.
I mean, you've opened up some of it, and you've got Merc's attention, but that's about it. Could Empire pull something off? Oh, Merc! Merc!
Never mind.
Oh, no, you were praising him.
I was gonna say it's a free kill, but
All
he became the free
nice
kill.
things that we said about Merc, and what a blunder we witness.
Listen,
But
it
Empire
happens,
needs this, right?
Shay,
Because
it
that's the way
happens.
back into this momentum-wise. That's the opening. That's the snowball. It's small right now, but it grows in size. And Joystick inside of Kitchen finds another one.
On to Bolo, who's roaming. Down goes Achieved. Empire putting on a clinic at the moment, showing why this is their map. An Adrenal Surge from Dan can come out and pick up Joystick, but it's Geo to finish it off and head back to
10
White
cooldown.
Stairs. Geo and White Stairs is not a mix that you want to be hearing all that regularly. He was on that EG team, and now he's on the TSM team, who just got crushed on Dorms 2 rounds in a row. After round 3, Empire take the lead.
Look at that confidence from Empire. They flooded the bomb site instantaneously. The moment Merc got taken out, that was a complete game changer. It looked like Empire was completely stuck. They had gained no ground. They went big tower, opened up the wall, and then they just left it. And, well, it may be someone was on a Jones saying, oh, Merc's inside a big tower, Merc's inside a big tower. But I don't think that's the case. I just think Dan was in the right place at the right time and managed to save his
Away she
teammate.
goes.
And, of course, you can
Away she
also
goes,
argue
bud.
that at the very least, Merc should have gotten that 1 kill, then got traded.
Merc
But
went up the
sometimes,
ladder?
I guess
mean, no,
guts
Merc
can
had
bleed
the
and guts can
play,
miss
but he
because
just
he whiffed
whiffed.
every single bullet, which never happens.
How different does that round go, by the way, if Merc gets that kill? Merc gets the kill on to Shepard. That's basically your full execute. That's one player that can't open up the wall. Now you don't have that same level of confidence that Empire has. You don't have the same ability to then maneuver back over into
Sarah's
Master,
pushing this
open
White
up
Stairs
closet
stuff. He's
wall,
unbiased.
and try to get a plant
Dude,
down. I mean, hell,
Parker
Empire
is
didn't
the
even
most
need to get the
biased.
plant down
Listen,
in that round. They were just so strong in their
Parker-
engagements on
Parker
their own.
is-
And
Chat,
again,
I've explained
the
this
roam is
a
what
million
falls
times.
apart.
The man's a
2 rounds in a
communist.
row. And not even just falling apart, because Empire actually
The
read into the
man
roam
is a
quite effectively.
communist.
So you have to wag your finger at TSM while giving a tip of the cap to Team Empire.
That you did. The only argument I would make for why that round might have just continued up succeeding is because Joystick, while that happened, had snuck into dining kitchen area and found Bolo as well. And he wasn't alone, because he was acting from a yellow ping from a teammate, supposedly on a drone of some sort of information. So even if Merc had traded 1 for 1, Bolo will still go down from Joystick, making that a 4 versus 3. And while it slows down the attack from Empire because those the Maverick Torch won't be available, I don't think it's a game breaker. Bolo this time around plays it a bit more safe as Joystick will contest. Now falling back this staircase. TSM not roaming on this basement round. They will play it safe and sound on the bomb side. And Empire, well, got a ton of utilities. 6 grenades, 3 flashbangs, 2 smokes, and 4 Retero drones. They're so prepared for this.
They absolutely are. Just chock full of goodies, as you want to say. Stacked to the gills, I guess you could as well. The big story so far through these 3 rounds has been Dan's emergence as a threat. He was not effective on Clubhouse, not the way that he needed, and actually costed his team a couple rounds, dying haplessly and needlessly. But he has shown that he can now be droned in effectively and is playing with more confidence. Out of all the players on Empire, Dan is the one player who does tend to show the most emotions. So if he can keep a level head, the whole team is going to be in good position. Halfway point here of round number 4. It's a basement defense from TSM down
there
below.
we go.
Hatches are getting opened
I
up.
redeemed
And as you talked about, there's still lots
the
of utility
Kickstarter
from the
charm
attackers to clear
and
out
the
goods.
fan
There
chibi
is
charm
no
on
Kyber
Xbox,
ball from TSM, so
PlayStation,
these
and
hatches will get opened up rather quickly from those exothermic charges.
Website's
The
like
Kai will
working
slow
now,
things down,
which is
force the
good.
Maverick to use the torch, but, well, that's not going to be the case this time. 1 minute and 15 seconds left in Empire. They have a ton of things to work with, and they're clearly wanting to put their eyes in that backside area. Blue and big tower stairs with that meeting hatch drop. And this re-terror drone will clear out some utility inside of
Yeah,
blue.
if you type exclamation
And it goes off
code,
yet again. Another,
I
there's still
I
at
tweeted
least
out
one
like
more for
instructions
Cypher.
on how
Looks
to
like
do
two,
it.
actually.
Or keeps it
Yeah,
on it.
if you just
And he's
say,
just
have
going
to
to
keep
continue with the
trying.
battalion of drones. Nitro Cell goes off on a Dan. Adrenal surges down. Grenades also potentially down.
Buddy
One more
Pros use
tossed in from
earbuds.
Joystick
Oh
as smoke
yeah,
obscures
so
the hatch. I
if
don't know
you
if that was properly timed, but it might actually
Pros
stop
use
Empire from going in
earbuds
as much as they want. Tons of nades
because
sailing into the bomb site, and one does
basically,
connect onto Geo,
so
but that's about it. Team damage done to
like if
always.
bugs crawl in
Joystick
your
picking off
ears in the
Achieve,
middle of
that's
the
all that he's
game,
gonna get. Bolo almost
you
gets
know,
the
obviously
spray
that's like
transfer.
really
And now
uncomfortable.
it's
So if you
Empire
put in like
falling
an
apart.
in-ear
In the midst
earbud
of the
instead
toxic
of like
canister, Shepard has to retreat.
headphones,
Diffuser's down as well.
then
They
you know
need to
that's
pick it
gonna
up. Look
happen
at
a lot
always his
less
HP.
often.
He can't
So.
really cover. If there's a single bit of damage done to him, he's as good as dead. Both players from Empire will walk in the same
Dude,
direction.
look at this,
TSM showing
look
great
at this
restraint,
laying down
always
back
gives
to back.
himself away. They want to bait out any nitro cells or toxic canisters. There's none to be found. Only bullets. And the bullets from TSM, they're good. Mark with the final 2 kills. And these teams far more even on Oregon through 4 rounds.
Team Empire tried to bait out the plant there at the end of that 2 versus 3, but Charla stayed inside of blue elbow, and that means that there's a possible flame to come through if Empire goes to the plant. That means if you're Empire, you have to just find the picks, but TSM, they play disciplined, proning, waiting, setting up that crossfire. They know how to play those 2v3 situations, how to abuse the fact that Empire are working against the clock, and this C4, the opening kill, really swayed
boys,
this
let's wrap
round in
this
favor
up.
of TSM.
Let's wrap this up.
Absolutely did. A nice nade tossed out as we got to see. Joystick and back tower stairs was so strong for Empire, and it ends up being a very critical part of the map. Time and time again, if a team cannot wrestle control of Pillar, you are not going to be able to get in and get a default plant down, even if you have that hatch control and box control as well. So TSM unrelenting, getting the pick on the Joystick, not surrendering Pillar control, allowing Merc while the other 2 teammates to stand pat and have Merc go through the hallway to flank Pillar is exactly what enables that style of play. And time again, we bring him up. What a glow up it's been from Merc. There were rumors floating around the time of the Mexico Major of dropping Merc from this squad. Issues with potentially attitude, consistency. We don't really know why. But what a mistake it would have been. Look at where this team is right now. Even if Empire 3-2 TSM, you have to look at Merc's contributions through those first 2 maps and all the other maps to get here and realize that he is the reason for this success of this team right now. And he deserves that praise.
Good
and he
thing
deserves
the
it quite
Earth
loud.
isn't flat because
fully
Dan
agree.
is so
and
tilted
I mean,
he would
myself,
fall off
I've
the
had doubts
edge.
about Merc earlier. I was kind of vocal on Twitter about how I was unsure about TSM's success at Invitationals, like I was of North America as a region. And I'm eating my words right now because North America, while as a region, might not have been the best. TSM definitely are.
I have 2 questions for you. First question, how dare you?
I'm sorry.
Second question, how do they taste? How do those words taste?
Bitter, sour, not sweet, that's for sure. But I will say it, TSM has been looking like the top 2 team in the world at this event. I think them and Liquid have been my 2 favorites so far. Empire, they've been a 3rd location, but in this series, they're outmatched by TSM so far.
Hold on a second. Empire here is setting a very fast tempo. And I think with the sound of the LMG, they know that they need to get out of there. Nade cooked. Attic opened up. Dan wary of a nitro cell getting dropped on him through that opening. And I think that's very wise to do that. Bolo has one in his pocket. That's the player inside of Attic for TSM. This is a meeting defense, the tertiary bomb site for these teams. And again, dorms will be a big focal point.
That it will. And we see now Empire getting a little bit stuck, but then finds an opening, goes to Bolo. That's the Goyo off the board. No big losses, but Merc is so low in health now as well under smoke.
Needs to try to ride this one out as the toxic canisters continue to go. I think at this point you don't want to die with any of them in your pocket. They are not a persistent gadget. Merc has expended all of them now. Dan and Bolo have been the story. We talked about Dan already, but what about Bolo? Bolo has been ineffective on the roam so far.
Wait, is Skyther
he hasn't
using
even
the
been able
AK?
to hold map control because Dan
No
is
wonder
just
they're
this
losing.
machine that continues to chew up land and push forward. Picks up a 2nd kill.
And
all of TSM are gone. Dan picks up 3. But look at Merc.
oh, not again.
They don't know he's here. Merc fires a little bit too early. He's not going to get anything for it, but now they know where he is. Merc, you didn't believe in the shotgun enough. It's the nade to now sail in. Merc flushed out. Chala in a 1v5, and he has to get out of the bomb site. He won't do that, by the way. It's a 4K from Dan and a flawless flawless round gives Empire the lead.
It's been confirmed. Merc is in possession of the invisibility cloak because once again, whether it's him flanking or staying in the corner, not moving a muscle, he will always somehow manage to not get droned out or found. Unfortunately for him, the highlight reel stops right there. The previous round, when they were on the defense on Kid Storms, he had the whiff on antenna window, and that round, I wouldn't say it was a blunder.
I mean, I really want to see TSM close this out, because if they don't close it out here,
massive kills that barely
like TSM's gonna start getting like fatigued. That's the thing that I worry about, whereas like Empire's now getting really warmed up.
You gotta believe a lot in it, and they'll believe in you as well. But Team Empire, they're finally starting to find some ground, and their celebrations are looking a lot happier as well. They understand the position that they're in, and if anything, I think they're just enjoying the fact that they're on this grand final stage, and now they're playing a bit more loose and a bit more, or having a bit more fun, and then 8-2 in 5 rounds. That's the big name right now, finding so many openings for Team Empire.
All right, well, back up to dorms, TSM will go because laundry is locked. That was the only bomb site that TSM was able to hang their hat on so far. Look at what is unfolding in front of us. Empire successful on both executes onto this bomb site, Nick. 2 attempts on dorms, and Empire are perfect on it. Even on meeting, where Empire had to deal with most of the defense in that exact same spot. Empire win that one too. They very clearly like and are comfortable with the top floor of Oregon. Another thing to note, if you'd like to reference the Oregon stats, is that it is a defender-sided map. TSM are not winning on the more favorable side traditionally, and that is a problem.
Yeah, it's the same story as the first map of Clubhouse, where it's like 54% favored on one side. Oregon is defender favored. Launcher supply being the most at 62% overall.
Bro, what is this guy doing using
honestly,
an AK?
The stats don't matter in this case. These are the best teams in the world. What happens, or what matters the most, is how they choose to play out these rounds, and more importantly, the adaptation. When you see a bomb for the first time, that's your immediate impression of how a team plays around it. Then, well, how does a defending team adapt on their second time? And then more importantly, how does Empire on their attacks now change their situation? So far, it's been Dan. Every round Empire has won, he had a big hand in it. Whether it's getting 2 opening kills or a single opening kill or just being in the right position at the right time to help his teammates, it's Dan. So if Empire, they need to find a different avenue to open up these rounds than a single player. And right now, actually, with only half the round to go, they've done good progress so far. Cleared up the jammer, breached open the wall, done a little bit of verticality. Dan was sneaking around big tower, but nobody from TSM was all there.
Yeah, absolutely. A good tempo being set by Empire at the moment as they've opened up that wall leading into games. That's the old generator wall, if you hear people refer to it as Gen still. It's just a holdover from before.
It's
Dan on 8 kills through 5 rounds of action. He's really made this half his own. And he's got his team to back him up. Gone 6 goes, but that's a miss. You gotta be a little bit more accurate with that ADS because that shield is so critical. There it goes, and it sounds like the fire will spread from the Goyo behind it, and yes, indeed. Oh no, Chala worried about the play at the top of the stairs, but Bolo on the flank. Chala thought that Bolo would be there faster. You lose access to your smoke because of that. And again, it's another mistake from TSM that is capitalized upon by Empire.
It is, and they don't have any tools now, but now Empire going deep on a center. They cannot plant that nade, opens up the round. Cypher inside of Kid Storms.
I just can't believe this. They've just barreled on in. The brazenness, a double kill from Dan, but it's achieved to slow it down. Dan is on 1 HP, 10 kills, with 1 HP. Scyther is the one that you have to worry about. And there he is, say the man's name. What do they say? Speak of the devil and the devil shall appear. The first half goes to Empire. They desperately needed something to shake them out of the funk that they were in through those 2 maps. They get it on Oregon, and to the second half they go with the wind at their back.
And now is Empire once again reading out the situation because Joystick found the opening kill onto Smoke of Chala inside of Kid Storms from the white stairs. Then he got shot down by Bolo below and Goyo. You can very safely assume that Goyo is playing a C4, so instead of planting in that default position, Empire, they push on through, they toss out the grenade, they push with that grenade, and despite the crossfire being there from TSM, they managed to find kill after kill after kill, and yes, Achieve did get a C4 kill eventually, but it wasn't on the planter, and that's important to note.
Dan is so nasty, man. Dan has just been, Dan, you're nasty. That's it. It's my official
That's your slogan?
That's my official proclamation.
Dan got
about it.
dumpstered
No
2
real
maps
need
in a
for
row.
me to go too in depth. As you see the fist bumps go out, let's go through the first half yet again. Through those 6 rounds, it's yet another 4-2 scoreline. This has been through all 3 maps, 4-2 scorelines to start off each half. The thing is that TSM have led both times. This is the first time that Empire have the lead after the first split. Empire
Listen,
getting
dude,
4
he was
opening
Donut
picks.
Dan, and now he's the
Guess which
Demon
rounds those were?
Dan.
The ones they won.
TSM getting 2 opening picks. Guess which rounds those were?
The rounds they won.
Again, the conversion rate for these teams on their first pick has been incredible. And throughout the entire stretch of matches we've seen today, if you get the first pick, you've got an over 80% win rate of going on to win the rest of the round. And I will, once again, I will keep talking to you. I'll beat that information into your head so that you don't ever forget it. Only one diffuser was successfully planted outside of that very final round, as I believe the diffuser went down at the last second by Dan again. It's very close. Other than that, one flawless round for Empire. They look in mighty good form going into the second half. Both teams love their timeouts.
Scary, dude.
And Empire want to put this one away and send us to map number 4.
That to do, and I mean, this first round is quite important for TSM because if you can find back momentum on this attacking side, you're off to a great start. But if Empire wins this round, make that a 5-2 scoreline, I have to wonder, well, TSM, is it time for a timeout, right? Talk about the game going forward because you have really a lot of room for TSM to make mistakes. You can throw Oregon out the window and say, we don't care, bring us to Villa. We don't care, bring us to Bank. But Empire, complete opposite story. Every round matters so much. They're on this basement defense in the first round. They're playing extremely passive, inviting TSM to the bomb side, allowing them to take map control extremely quickly. And with the Hibana on the board and no Kaid from Team Empire, they're getting a lot of value out of this utility so far. You got 8 grenades and 3 flashbangs, 8 drones to your name. TSM, they got it all.
Well, what did I say about this defender lineup that some teams
I'm not
favor?
tired at all.
On the
I've
right
been
side
on
of your
for
screen,
like,
Scyther,
I've been
Dan,
streaming for like
always
12 and a half
all
hours.
running
And
anti-gadget operators.
slept only like 6 hours the night before, and I streamed like 11 hours
and
the day
that's going to be a
before.
lot to cut through.
And I
So
did like a
even with
24-hour
8
stream
nades
the day
and 3
before that.
flashbangs,
I'm doing fine.
11
I'm
of
doing
those.
great.
You think about the Wamai
Never
discs,
better.
you think about the fact that the ADSs can eat a projectile
I'm so
apiece, you
awake
think
right
about
now.
the Aruni
I'm
gates.
honestly going to go
Once
run
you
a
clear those out,
marathon.
you're going to have to be quick before they reset. And a minute to go, that's the pace that TSM is going to have to play off of.
That it is, and this nade is going to define the moment. If this can find something, that's going to be an opening, but it does not, so TSM have to hold still, wait for Empire to make the first move, because you don't want to walk into this crazy amount of gunfire that Team Empire has, and if you're Empire on the side, you can wait quite comfortably. You got 3 more toxic babes, but no C4s, and Joystick has to fight against
I don't know how he lived through that second nade, and he might not either. There's the first one to go down. It's Scyther. TSM get their opening pick. 40 seconds left. Nobody moving a muscle through the hallway, but there's a possible play as it's Bone achieved to break in. 30 seconds to go. They've got the smoke in the hallway. Shepard caught in the crossfire, always in a 1v4, and that's it. There's nobody down from TSM. They've got control of the bomb site. It's always isolated over by Elbow, and Bolo doesn't let him get a single thing. No re-entry to the bomb site. It's denied. TSM pick up their very first round, and we are looking at the moment at an attacker side at Oregon.
That way, and that's why stats, they are sometimes not the easiest thing to go off of because it obviously impacts other teams and their matchups. That round TSM, it looked a little bit rough, right? The 5v5 on the bomb side, but what really did it for them was that Achieved dropped that electric hatch at the exact right moment. Huge flank from him. It created so much chaos on the side of Empire that they didn't even know what was happening. And of course, Seer, the first 2 gunfights, I mean, they just been in favor.
There's 52 bullets used on that one, by the way. 48 bullets, I think, after that.
Yeah, that is LMGs can be hard to fight against sometimes. And I also think that's why
there's no way you just said LMGs are hard to fight against sometimes.
Okay, they're always
as if there's almost always an opportunity where you don't want to fight LMGs. Like, come on.
All right, so if you have an equal weapon, okay, 31 bullet weapon, which like some defenders have, like Jaeger or Doc, Rook, Thunderbird, etc., it's not that bad. But the Roni, the SMG-11, it's bad.
Yeah, I'm in danger.
Yeah, I'm in chuckles.
Didn't you just say that the Jaeger gun has 31 bullets?
There's a Zofia at the breach with 150 bullets. I have the Roni with 16.
Take a guess on who wins that gunfight.
Could possibly go wrong?
I'm a little bit confused about Empire because like I think the way
he
TSM
forget?
plays their basement defenses on both Clubhouse
Think
and
he's
now
more
on
tired
Kids
than me?
on
I
Oregon,
guess.
the way they extend up and roam and challenge their opponents, I think that's the exact right approach to the game. And Empire, they're doing it really passive with this Wamai, Aruni, Jaeger situation, and I think it's really
Pangu?
outdated. And I don't think it's
I'm gonna start calling him
difficult to attack
Pang.
against. I mean, sure, if Joystick can get aggressive and get a kill, that's something. But that's not a strategy.
Pangu just shortens
That's a
everyone's
Hail
name.
Mary. That's
I'm
you
doing it back
praying
to
that
him.
something
He's
works out
Pang
in your
now.
favor.
Absolutely it is. So 30 seconds off the board, and it's a discovery phase for TSM. The bomb site for Empire remains the same as it was before.
Yeah.
Second chance down at Laundry, and what can Empire fix about these mistakes? They like this lineup, by the way.
Yeah, they do, and they're sitting the exact same corner. So, like, look, all 5 players of Empire, they're sitting on a corner within like a 5-meter radius. They're not slowing, again, no Kaid, you're not slowing down this Hibana, tons of value being brought out.
Yeah.
No one's killing drones, there's 8 left from TSM. A minute into the round, almost every hatch is blown right open. You have the same situation with the 8 grenades, the 3 flashbangs, whatever. And Empire like, well, we'll adjust and adapt. What are you gonna do differently? Win your gunfight? That's not reliable. Strategically speaking, they haven't changed anything really on the paper.
There are times when you hear casters and analysts talk about things like, oh, you just need to win your ones.
Yeah.
The thing is that it really sometimes just does boil down to that. There is no strategic depth. You are in a position where you will play to die and you want to engage, and if you lose that one, the whole round goes kaput.
But that's just tough, right? Because, I mean, you can argue that every FPS game, every FPS round, it comes down to that 50-50 gunfight. But if you can, you know, also have a strategical way out of that, if it doesn't work out, that to me is a good play. This right here will come down to those 50-50s we just mentioned. Who can play the positions better, TSM or Team Empire?
Well, Shepard is completely blinded over by Elbow. He's got his back to the area where he needs to be. Merc will walk right in, but he gets down. That's the real deal. And Shepard gets the very first kill. There's backup to go in as well. Nade gets tossed out. Scyther softened up, but he scoots away from that one. Shepard on low HP too. So Empire will take their lumps, but they walk away fabulously. Still alive. TSM in bad shape. There's one onto the magnet. Chala, the very first kill, gets swung on.
We're good.
But the kill feed is both a mix of blue and orange. Both teams sitting in a 3v3.
V3.
Pillars control, not quite there. Bolo taking damage. Now it's Geo, but he gets traded out with Bolo falling to Scyther. Elbow being watched. The attack from TSM will come from the back of the bomb site. Dan is inside a freezer. He's going to be the kingmaker for this round. If TSM prevail, they tie things up. Breaking the Aruni gate, but Geo still takes some damage. There's a bulletproof in there. Nice shot from Dan. Leaves Achieved in a 1v2, but Empire know this. They'll play keep away. Achieved tries as he best. He won't even find one of the two, and Empire go back to a 2-round lead.
Well done from Empire in that 2 versus 2 to really play it tight. It was again down to that 50-50 gunfight of who injures who. And it was a complete trade fiesta back and forth. Sure, Empire got the opening pick. It was traded back and forth, 3v3, 2v2, etc. And it came down to this final gunfight when TSM pushed on through Electric Box. And we spoke about if TSM loses a round, will they keep on going or will they call a timeout? And so far, yeah, it looks like TSM will say, we will keep on pushing. We don't want to slow down the pace of this game, keep it up right here. Really good trades from Empire, understanding that when they lost the smoke inside of Elbow, they were kind of doomed, right? No one could retake that position necessarily, so it was always who swung out from E-Box, traded his life 1-for-1, which actually was so worth it. When you're playing in that deep pillar area, it can be so difficult to get any kind of value. And well, while Always did indeed die, he guaranteed himself to bring someone else with him, and that is a really good play in this particular situation. That then means the basement has been won once by TSM on the attack, it's been won once by Team Empire on the defense, and now we're going to Kidstorm
instead.
instead.
Twitch got rid of Chance Drill though.
On this side half has shown their cards on this particular situation. That means
yeah,
that,
they emailed me and they said
there's a Empire playing it aggressive or passive, and of course Team Empire
there is a mod in your chat abusing Chance. By the name of Dr. Drill, though.
One of the
and we have
things
to
I will
remove
say
them
is
from
that
the
this
whole
is proving how
website.
closely matched these two teams are. Cafe looks like the outlier at the moment.
Yeah.
Go back to Clubhouse.
That's what they
yes,
did.
it was Empire's pick. Yes, TSM looked like the better team in the first half. Then the side swap came in, and guess what? Empire started to become the better team. And in overtime, TSM win 2 phenomenal rounds back-to-back. Cafe comes out, and it being TSM's map, it really does expose that there are some inadequacies when it comes to the map pool of Team Empire.
I'm actually pretty surprised that you haven't either,
You're back
Bill,
on
though.
familiar ground, and both of these teams look strong, but TSM gave up a
You know
lot
they
of
banned
rounds
Brandon
because of
for a
bad
year for
roams,
being named
and
Diarrhea
Empire
Balls.
capitalized every single time. Your opponents are going to make mistakes no matter what level you're playing at. Even the best teams to play this game have made mistakes, but your opponents need to punish you for them. If they don't, it doesn't matter if
He
you're making
literally
those
got
mistakes or
slammed
not.
for a
Empire
year,
punished
dude.
them. They get the commendation for that, and because of that, they've got the lead solely because TSM had some deficiencies on their own roam.
It's a really good point, and I fully agree with it. And I think a lot of people expected Empire to take the first map, then TSM wins Cafe, and then like Oregon is when this like best of 5 truly starts. Because Villa and Bank are not Empire's maps in terms of how good they play on it, and now
I really wanted to talk about what we just saw because once again, SI always brings the most viewership that we see, and it brings a lot of newer players. How did that thermite charge not blow up the wall? Well, there's a little light fixture in the classroom below. You shoot out some of the floor and throw an impact grenade down. The radius from the impact grenade will go through the floor on the other side of closet and take off the exothermic charge. That is something that doesn't get shown up on the scoreboard. But that is a sexy, sexy thing, my friends, and that can win you the round just by itself.
yeah, we call that impact triggering or impact deny. Any sort of explosive can do that, you know, above a reinforcement, below a reinforcement. And that's a very cheeky trick you can do. Cypher finds Merc. He's off the board now on this Iana. 6 and 6 to his name, and Dan finds another as well, keeping up Empire's momentum.
This has to be a timeout for TSM if they don't win this round. Maybe even if they do, because things are not going well. But oh, excuse me, where is Achieved to get this 3K? And suddenly TSM have a big lead. It forces Always to get back to the bomb site. Scyther's the only one to hold it down for now, but Always has been droned out. This is even better intel. Always spotted. It's a quad from Achieved. Nade goes in. He'll vault on in, but Geo steals
There
the
we
ace.
go.
It doesn't matter who gets the last kill because TSM gets the round.
Achieved got 3 kills, make that 4 from the big window. You'd think that when the first player from Empire falls, no one else would dare peek their head.
You know what we call those?
What?
Freebies.
Throwables, thrown rounds, mistakes, blunders. Okay, I will say this. Maybe off camera, what we didn't see was that Team Empire recognized Achieved was alone, an isolated target, right? And they said, let's swing this player together and eliminate him off the board.
He didn't even peek that, by the way. Like, he didn't lean peek it.
You see it here. He finds
You
one.
can
that's
imagine
free.
stealing the ace. This is the Invitational, dude. No
Oh,
one
they
gives a
did
shit about
try.
their ace being stolen.
Oh, that's...
Okay, so
If the guy jumps out...
hold on, I'm calling in. That's I'm looking up the price on that one. I'm looking, it says here,
You are nasty.
well, is it a nursery? There's a lot of babies being thrown out there, but you know what that was? I looked up the cost of that, and it's free 99 was actually what it said on 2 of those picks. Still, I think Empire did actually play that correctly, and they peaked at almost the same
Old
time.
par
We often
par.
talk about how you can't get a kill and then immediately turn and get the other kill. Well, Achieved said, yeah, I can.
Well, the guy in the big window didn't jump out the window. I think that was the one mistake where if the guy impacts the window in small tower and jumps out, then the person near the big window should also jump out so they get both outside the building, because you know the sort of whereabout, like left or right hand side of where Achieved will be. But if one person jumps out and the other one holds an angle, you're just once again kind of praying that Achieved makes a mistake. And that impact grenade is obviously going to take all of his attention because it's so loud. So while they tried to isolate a target, they didn't really do it correctly, and they got
Bring it back,
punished.
TSM.
And that means that, well, TSM just won a round they should arguably never have gotten away with. It was oh so easy for them. You're clearing out the ADSs from the stronghold. You got in. It didn't really hit the mark. So that's utility wasted, if you will. Second nade will try and do the same job, see if you can get it successfully, and there it is.
It's both.
Yep, you get all the ADSs, the shields, etc., and that's how you want to do it.
I believe that also gets the default cam.
Yeah.
So you get the default cam, you get the shield, both of it at the same time. With the way that TSM are playing their nades, they've loved this 8 nade lineup. They've still got 6 left. It's not the end of the world, but it is misused gadgetry. That grenade could go somewhere else to flush somebody out of a particular spot or get used on another gadget. Those are small little mistakes that don't seem that big, but over the course of a round, they add up. And they add up quite quickly, especially when you need to push somebody out of a spot or
they
you've
don't
got a
need the
prime
nades,
nade
chat.
kill
They don't
lined
need
up.
the
There's
nades.
20 seconds left, and you botch that first nade.
Not just that, but you only have one more flashbang, which means you might need to use your grenades to actually clear the ADSs or magnets, then use another grenade to do the damage. So, yes, every single nade matters, so does every single flashbang, and Team Empire on this dining defense, not meeting. They'll try and hold on the forward. Look at Merc on the flank here, inside a green hallway, could make a huge play, but he will say, not just yet. I'm gonna wait a bit longer.
I don't know if he has any intel, that's the real thing. 4 drones in action for TSM, still 2 in their pocket.
Impact grenade?
Tossed out. And I think they might actually be able to get this if there was even put on the wall. I think that's the case. Have they drone joystick out of this position? Because if so, that's a big miss from TSM.
They have no more exothermic charges left. It's only down to the Mavericks. So Team Empire actually can sit tight inside of showers because they cannot breach the wall.
I like this angle from Always from above, watching the hatch.
Merc going in.
Moment, but Merc is in. He sees an opportunity. Snaps onto the head of Shepard, removes it from his body. Dan is next. Merc has all their attention. The rest of TSM have to follow up. A third from Merc. What are these individual heroics that we're seeing? Diffuser goes down, joystick boxed out, and Always is the only player to stop a tie game. TSM, they see the opening. They take the opening. And Always now in a position above, where the diffuser will continue to tick away. I said that if TSM don't win that round, they might need to take a timeout. They proved me wrong. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to go into round number 11 with this thing tied up because it's all on Achieve to take out the last player. It was a foregone conclusion that Always was as good as gone, and now it's 5-5. Empire need to find something. If they surrender these next 2 rounds, TSM win the whole thing.
I love the fact that we got to briefly speak about the fact that Merc was looking for that flank with the gun 6. It was a very readable position because we as observers, we have that information. But Merc somehow finds not just one, not just 2, he finds 3 kills on the entry. And you asked earlier, what's the purpose really of Merc doing that? And honestly, it's the chaos effect. The second you're inside the bomb site from a flank, that's going every single member of Empire within the perimeter, in the area. They will have to just 180-degree flick,
America,
change their entire focus off that small dining attack. And then Geo immediately after, the moment Merc gets the kill, runs in and starts planting. Now Empire cannot stop the plant or lose every single member of their team, and it lied somewhere in the middle. They didn't stop the plant, and they also lost every single member of the team because Merc is just so much better. And when he got those first 2 kills, I'm pretty sure I could hear Gotcha from the crowd, if you will, scream. He's like, yes, yes, another one. And TSM, now back-to-back rounds, have absolutely stolen the show.
If Empire lose this, they have to call a timeout. It's that simple.
It's the last one, yeah.
It's your last round. If you do not call a timeout after this round, if you lose, if TSM goes up 6-5, that means they sit on championship point. If you do not call the timeout, and you lose that round, well, I don't need to tell you, I'm no mathematician, but you don't need to know that there's no more rounds for you to call a timeout on.
That's it.
Whereas if you're TSM, I think you can kind of let it go. Though I do think no matter what, the teams are going to want to settle down. The only thing is if the coaches have confidence in their players to play it out. If TSM say, we're ready for any bomb site, we don't need a timeout, then you don't want to give that slight advantage to Empire, who also can talk during the timeout, to possibly get back in the game or gain more strength or more knowledge or anything like that over you.
I agree, and we're seeing the same attack, the same defense. It's a third basement defense. The first time TSM won it, the second time Empire won it. Both were very close rounds and 2 versus 2s. Third time is the charm, but for which team? Whoever wins this will go on map point, and of course if TSM wins it, it is match championship point as well. So Empire, they really need this round to go in their favor, to regain back those rounds that TSM stole from them in the previous 2. And Joystick is out of freezer, has magnets, has
we need
utility,
an NA chant.
TSM will have to clear it first before making any moves.
NA.
No changes.
No changes from Empire. In fact, playing in almost the same spots. This is vintage Empire, where you knew where they were coming from on attack, and they'd
feel
still
the freedom.
You didn't even need to drone them out. But look at that.
Back.
A nade lands on the head of Dan, the best performer for Empire on this map. Removed from Merc who's been one of the best performers from TSM at this whole event.
Playing very passive against 8 grenades is such a bad idea, and I will say it one more time before the chaos breaks out. This is outdated Rainbow Six Siege. You cannot do this, and TSM are punishing it so well.
Believe in
Joystick knows that there's one at the bottom of the
miracles.
laundry stairs, but you need to be a little bit wary. Joystick, you just took a lot of damage on that peak. The smoke will keep the attackers at bay for now, but Joystick can't see through it to get the sight that he wants. Down goes Merc, that's on Scyther. Empire get one back. TSM might not want to be in the position that they're in. The Aruni gate is primed and ready in front of Geo. He can get activated again, but he's just sitting, waiting patiently. Diffuser will be escorted into the bomb site with Geo. Down goes Bolo. They know he's around the corner. A nice pre-fire. Chala is in, and he continues his surge forward. He gets 2 big kills. Diffuser needs to be planted, but they're just holding right now. Empire are holding. Passive, as you said. There's a big double play by Shepard, and they get it. They were holding until they weren't, and it's now Empire on map point.
We are now in a position where this is literally anyone's round, because what looks to be a certain team's round just doesn't go that way. On the Dorms defense and the Dining defense, Empire looked like they had it in the bag, but TSM stole the show. Now I was like, okay, Chala, you know, he was an Ashman at one point. He's now on the support duty, makes a phenomenal entry, gets 2 players, and we're thinking TSM is gonna bring it to match point.
Empire is Latin America.
Shepard and always they funnel through, they find the picks. This grenade from Merc was really good, and Cypher now clawed his way back, and Joystick held his ground and frees a hallway. Chala with that 1, make that 2 entries into the bomb site as a support player, showing that support lives matter too. But then it was always, and it was Shepard. 6-5 for the Russians.
And that really does also boil down to bad coverage from TSM. They had site control. It's a 2v2
Streak,
with the diffuser being planted. Nobody's watching
back. Very much
You've got control of supply room.
And JMC Cart, Merc is so than all them parts.
I said you want to take a timeout.
Dr. 88 for the 2 months.
It certainly looks like TSM have called their tactical timeout. It's been paused for quite a while. If that's the case, TSM are going to want to keep their team through it, and there's some celebratory fist bumps over on their bench. So I'm guessing
music there?
That's exactly what happened.
Am I hallucinating, or did that like just jump through a lot of really random trippy scenes?
Pocho, if you're the
I might be hallucinating. I've been awake for a really long time.
It could be as simple as going, guys,
that just fucking freaked me out.
Don't get like frustrated. Don't get bothered. Like, even if we don't
that
win
was
this round,
that was almost as scary as that new Zofia
we got
skin
2
trailer.
more maps to go, and we're still so much in the driver's seat, because remember, as we spoke about earlier, when TSM can slowly start feeling that hammer slip away and their odds are getting a little bit lower, that's when I think there might be some frustration, maybe some tilt factor to it, even though they looked really good in these last 3 rounds. So I think you should always use your timeout unless you're absolutely sure that there's no necessary need for it. Empire, they've been holding on Oregon, but TSM just used theirs.
Oh, it's a double dorms defense for Empire. For TSM, it's do or die.
$40 for that
If you
bundle?
lose this round, Empire take their map of Oregon.
Dude.
Again, though, this bodes so well for TSM, and I feel like you might think that we're being biased towards this North American team. But go back to map number 1. Empire got a distinct advantage in the upper bracket. They pick Clubhouse and then ban out a map. But guess what? TSM wins Clubhouse. Now even here on Oregon, this is Empire's map. Yep. And TSM have still pushed them to round 12. On TSM's map, it was a shelling. 7-3 in favor of TSM. So if TSM
when did
can
that,
claw
like,
on their
when
own
did
map,
I agree to that,
it
dude? Like,
that Empire
what?
takes Oregon, but Villa's up next. We know that Empire's not a bad team on that map, but TSM picked it for a reason. If they're as comfortable as they were on Villa, or if they're as comfortable on Villa as they were on Cafe,
Dude.
you might be in significant trouble for Empire.
Myself.
So this would end up being a Pyrrhic victory for them to take Oregon. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, because the timeout from TSM might end up paying off.
Dude, that's so
I
aggressive.
suspect
if
we don't see an early
like
pick,
that.
things will go south for TSM very quickly. Bear in mind that Empire defended this bomb site only once before, and it was a gigantic 4K on the window that ultimately gave them the round. And there you go. There's your early pick, Nick. A 5-10 joystick is frankly not good enough for Empire to win a world championship with, and TSM get the very first kill.
It's those grenades, those pesky grenades, time and time again, finding so much damage and opening kills on the side of TSM. They've been running 8 grenades each and every single round, with just 3 flashbangs to clear out utility with them, and it's been working so well in their favor. No corner is safe, no vertical floor is safe for you at all. Maybe next season with the new operator, but not right now.
There's drones being tossed in, still a bevy of them available. 7 for TSM, but those numbers now dwindled by 2 on down. Achieve down below. Does he have any nades? Yeah, he does. He has 2. There's again this 8 nade that's available, and they're going to go out like a flock of doves, but with a very different result. There's no peace to be found here, only war, and in times of war, the people with the better artillery tend to win. In this case, it's TSM. Another nade will go in to bounce off, and Shepard gets away. Merc drops down. Empire continuously being moved out of these positions, but TSM are not finding kills from it yet.
They haven't, and we tried Geo tried to breach that wall, but it was shut out by Always. Nade below from Achieved. Can also see that Electro Claw, perhaps no. Another nade comes out, he hears him above him, tries to take the angle, gets shut out a little bit, but this nade can just do a ton of damage. But no, Shepard finds the head somehow throughout the floorboards.
Really well played by Empire, keeping themselves in a position where Achieved cannot do maximum damage from down below. This is the tense moment, but look at Bolo's in this same spot, and they know he has to come up white stairs. An angle being held, Bolo fakes it out. Nade back in hand. Where are you going, Bolo? Hit the adrenal surge first,
I wasn't
get
sleeping,
the mark,
I was resting
but now
my
you're going to be
eyes.
fighting shadows because he's as good as gone. Up the hatch, Bolo on the ground. There's a pick on to Shepard. TSM will need to run into the bomb site. Bolo doesn't see the player down below. Always with a nitro cell. This will be a desperate attempt, but it's TSM to box them out. If Always can't do this, then it's overtime on the menu, and it's a post plant, making things even harder for Always. Still down in security. But there's lots of avenues that the attackers can see him on. He sees one down below. That's a pick on the Merc. 2 more to be found. Always losing most of his HP in the process.
It's fine.
Up
1v2.
white stairs. Through this doorway. One of the most treacherous retakes on any site, on any map. And it's TSM with 2 players at full HP. They don't lose a single point of it. Overtime again on Empire's map.
Here we go. Tied up once more.
Actually,
very convincing round from TSM. In certain parts of the round, there are some moments where we're thinking, what is going on? But the one thing that stayed consistent throughout were the vertical grenades. Bolo, I think, cooked and uncooked the same grenade about 5 times, waiting for solid information where the player of Empire was sitting, and it ended up really paying off. Always was down below inside of server, and he did not flank. Not sure if he was holding that double window jump in or just fearing the fact there might be a player or Jonah waiting, but this right here, the opening kill is what started it all, and that was with a grenade. It was Joystick who got taken off the board, and Shepard who suffered the same fate moments later.
Good coordination by TSM. They seem to have lots of information as to where those remaining players from Empire and the bomb site were, and they picked them off methodically one by one. Pardon the curse words there, but obviously TSM are actually celebrating less than they did on maps 1 and 2. It's got to be the weight of this moment finally dawning on them, how close they are. They've got Empire
years of
on
history,
their back foot. TSM, we
all
could
to just be in shambles.
When it was a 5-3 in favor of Empire, but both of these teams, they really stick with one another, and TSM are finding success from it.
It is, and I think, you know, when you're in the first and second map, it's all about gaining ground, you know, winning the first series or winning the first map in the series, winning the second map, and that's why I think there's a lot of emotions, right? When you're on the third map, when you have a chance to actually make it the final map, it's about hyper-focus. Sure, celebration is always important, but, you know, it's so much more about this right here.
Can you guys
focusing
just win? I want
on
to
the
go
task
to
at hand, the current round 6-6. That's the only thing that matters to these players if you're TSM. Where Empire, we're looking long-term. Joystick and Bolo, they get frisky together, but Bolo comes out on top. Joystick being shut down time and time again on this early roam.
My goodness. Joystick again, as we talk about, he cannot underperform. He's one of your star players. He needs to be in the action, the cut and thrust of the round. And now he's absent. The good news is that at Malusi, your gadgets will be persistent. They're not passive, or they're not active gadgets, they're passive. They just sit there, they continue to be there. But Empire are running this same lineup again on the bottom floor. Now, the thing is that Empire's record on this bomb site is actually quite good. It's 2-1. And the only real issue they had was the very first time when they lost control of Freezer and then Pillar 2. Are they going to commit those same mistakes? Well, this gives TSM a ton of time to play with because now they've got just over 2 minutes, of which 30 seconds have gone, where they get to get map control and figure out how they want to approach the bomb site.
But going back 30 seconds, imagine if Empire had a roaming strategy to support Joystick and have more map presence and shut down TSM together, that could be a very different story than just letting Joystick be the hero alone. And now, as you said, we're in the basement, and TSM, they've brought out the Flores. They get 3 more flashbangs to clear out areas. They get the Retero drones, which right now on your screen, that's a lot of damage. The shield down an elbow. That's a crucial, if not the most crucial position.
I don't know why he did that extra set of Habana
pellets,
honestly.
It is gone. It is not gonna come up again, and you're playing 5 versus 4
Yeah.
already.
I like that Shepard took that part of the map back, though. Taking elbow back, if they don't drone it out, they don't know that he's still in that same spot. A smoke will go out, and then a fleet of drones will also find their way through blue. Always with a nade, dances around it, but I don't know where he's going to go. He's in this position trapped. You're going to need somebody from Empire to swing onto this, because always will be as good as gone, and there you go. You don't win those gunfights. Achieved is leveled up on this map to a point where he is so good. Now it's Shepard to go as well. But look at that. Empire claiming the kill feed. They have something going for them. Diffuser is down as well. And it's a kill for Scyther to hunt on it. He'll be able to get Shepard back up. Hold on. Hold on.
No!
Play by Scyther. And he might have just saved the round. Achieved is in a desperate position by
This is
Pillar.
winnable.
Things looked so good for TSM, but they've gone from bad to worse. And Empire with 10 seconds left just need to fall off. Play keep away. They know that Achieve doesn't have the diffuser, and they know that Achieve doesn't have a hope in hell of winning this round. Empire back on match point.
Scyther just saved Team Empire, not from the series just yet, but from the round. That is a huge moment, as they can now be really happy about gaining momentum in this OT. Remember, you need to win
I'm not shitting myself on
rounds in a
stream.
row. Otherwise, we keep going. Infinite OT. We cannot go 8-7. That is not a score that happens right now. Either we go 8-6 or we go 2 more rounds. We're swapping sides every single round as well. That means Empire is now in the attack, and this looked so bad for
Jam on the
Team
struggle bus.
Empire. But Scyther, 16 bullets and a dream. Found kill after kill,
Kill after kill after kill. And you said the words that I wanted to once again remind the audience on: unlimited overtime. Map number 1 already went to OT. I will remind you that that was Empire's map. They went to OT. TSM wins both the rounds. No unlimited OT required. Here, there is once again an opportunity for it. TSM need to win this round, obviously, to stave off defeats. Map number 3 is Oregon. Map number 4 is Villa. Map number 5 is Bank, in case you're not reading the top of the screen in regards to what map we are on. We're on map 3. And then once again, we have Villa up next, if we need it. Still not sure. We could be 6 minutes away from crowning a new world champion, or we could be significantly longer. It really depends, and it's honestly on the shoulders of TSM, especially in this round. TSM on defense, going downstairs to Laundry. Expect this to be the main bomb site for both of these teams if we go deep into overtime. But if you keep winning it, then you can't go to it for 2 more rounds. It has been by far and away the most successful bomb site for the defenders. TSM won a perfect 2-0 on their half.
That they did, so Team Empire, you gotta now break it apart, right? Joystick will be alive again. He's had a rough couple of early rounds the last previous 3, or at the very least 2 rounds, being the first person to fall for his team. And I know that, you know, every single Pro League player is like their own biggest critic, but when you are quote-unquote the star player as well, as Joystick is for Team Empire, he's going to be feeling really bad about that, and I hope for his sake he doesn't get desperate.
Neither of these teams have looked very confident when roaming on this bomb site, so I think playing closer to the bomb is going to be a smarter move, and it looks like that's exactly what TSM has on the menu.
It is, and they're holding down the fort with a little bit of a different lineup, right? They don't bring out the Aruni like Empire does. They're bringing out the Goyo on Merc. They're also bringing out the Mute on Geo. That's likely to stop the Retero drones, and of course the Goyo shields themselves provide more cover. And Empire, while they run less grenades, they still have 6 of them, so plenty of shields to go around. Sophia, of course, has soft breach as well. The 2 smokes, I think, is the biggest impact here. That's the big key maker, where the smoke grenades will help you block lines of sight when you're going for that execute, whereas TSM were brute forcing with grenades. Well, you got the smokes to work with. No flashbangs, though.
One of the smokes seemingly got bungled on Empire's last Laundry execute on the hatch inside a meeting. You've only got 2 of them, like you said. You misuse 1. That is particularly damning, because you almost always want to use at minimum 1 of them to try and keep your execute unknown and hidden. You gasped at the fact that Merc almost lost his life at the very first gunfight. Not a great start for TSM, but with a minute to go, no players are dead yet. Nades getting tossed in on blue. You've opened up hatches in meeting and laundry. Empire have made the clock work pretty well in their stead.
That they have, and that's just what's going to happen when you're sitting comfortably on side. Just like Empire did themselves. Now the question comes, well, what's next? Bolo has now shot like 3 Geminis on the freezer side. Empire spread thin all across the map, but Bolo finds a nice shot onto Joystick. Once again, first to fall for his team. But Empire, here we go. One smoke's been tossed, second one comes out. That's going to be the execute.
And they'll go for the drop, but there's a nitro cell. Merc needs to ensure that it lands. Pulls it a little bit too soon. Polo now down. Is he retrievable? The answer is yes. One player from Empire inside a freezer. Empire's execute coming from laundry, but they're pummeling them, always with 2 big kills. Still in freezer. 20 seconds to go. Diffuser in Shepard's hands. He'll be escorting it in through the main laundry doorway. Merc, you've got to win those. You cannot let that happen. Scyther walks away with 1 HP. Good coverage. That's Diffuser, almost down. Geo in a 1v3, but Empire, they want to send this to map number 4. They just need a tiny bit of Geo's HP, and they're going to get it. Empire not letting TSM sweep. You put those brooms away, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to need a 4th map.
Let's see how far we can go.
Well,
I'm down for 4 maps.
Justy, he's not down to 0 points.
Empire.
I'm down for 5.
You're down for I would love 5 maps, Parker. I will say that much.
I don't need to talk for a couple days. We'll be good. You don't need to talk for a couple days.
I can't believe it's a final day as well. This is the end. This is where we crown the champion.
It absolutely is. Team Empire first made it to the 6 Invitational.
This is
finals,
scary, chat.
Grand finals.
This is scaring me. You know why? There's a huge. This is hugely like scary for NA because so far TSM played 2 maps previous to this against FaZe. There was a long break in between. And then now they just played 2 fucking, they played like like long maps, 3 long maps in a row.
Might not be the strongest on. That does bode well for Villa. Before
they can easily start getting really tired.
Hear the triumphant music in the background. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll find out what happens exactly on the 4th map between TSM and Empire.
Yeah. I'm fine, dude. Laughing that I go for TSM? Why are you laughing? Scruffy, Smuggler, thank you the trip 5 months. Jay, it's that lo-fi music. I look so tired because I've been streaming for 13 hours and I was like, I like slept like 6 hours before this, and the day before this I streamed like 11 hours or something, and I did a 24-hour stream before that. I'm gonna go to bed whenever this is over. I'm gonna sleep until the morning. Get a good like 12 plus hours of sleep, and then we'll do a long stream tomorrow as well. How many more maps are left? One more, because TSM's gonna win it. Dude, yeah. Oh, I'm dead tired, yeah. Am I making money by streaming? No. I know. I just, every single time that, like, you know, I have bills and stuff, I just tell them, like, I have a lot of followers on Twitch, and then they just waive the fees. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I also tell them how like much renown I have in Siege, and then they just get impressed, and then they just, you know, waive all my bills and fees. Yeah, I mean, basically when they're like, hey, we're gonna shut off your power, I'm like, listen, dude, I'm level 634, okay? And I have an alt that's 240. And I have a third account that's 100 and something. And then the guy's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. We'll just waive all the bills and fees. It's okay. I apologize for disturbing you. It's pretty much how it goes. Works well. Works every time. You guys have any? Listen, dude. Yep. How does Sweden have zero traffic? Gas is like $17 a gallon, and they call it petrol, so people don't even know. Like, people don't even know, dude. They're just like. They're looking for gas, and it says petrol everywhere, so they can't even fill up their vehicles.
So close. We got so close also to infinite overtime, and actually it coming down on this third map, but not just yet. Empire able to clinch out map 3 to make it deeper into this best of 5 grand final at the Invitational. Let's break it down before we talk about the rest. I'm Alex the Medic, your host for the show. With me on the analyst desk are Fresh, Jess, and Dev Marta. Friends, we have just a bit of time before we go into game, so we're going to crack on in with all the information, starting off with our scoreboard. What did it look like at the end of Oregon? Here it is.
I said in the pre-match, Milosh, we highlighted Dan as a player, and I said when his team needs him the most, he turns up. That's exactly what he did. You'll see Empire, they got 4 rounds on the attack through rounds 2, 3, 5, and 6. That was predominantly due to Dan getting in, getting the entry kills, and taking a few risks, being in some strange positions, but just taking those engagements, winning those engagements, and coming up with huge multi-kills.
It was... Oh, go ahead, James. I didn't mean to butt into your point.
Dan actually found 3 opening kills on that attacking side, and typically the attacking side is where Empire has really struggled in the past. They only got 1 out of 6 attacks on this map against Eminem, and they converted a 4-2 on the lead in the first half here.
Let's jump back to that Dan point where he's playing a lot of Finker in the rounds upon which he is making massive impact. You see him there on your screen. Every time he could find the impact, he absolutely did. But most of it came down to his gun skill. Conversely, the Finker player for TSM in Bolo, his entire philosophy was, I need to use my grenades. I need to make as much utility impact as possible. And then secondary to that, I get to use my LMG. Whereas Dan, in Dan's mind, there were rounds where he ran the flash grenades.
Petrol?
So for him, in his mind, his primary philosophy
I don't even know what
moving around with
petrol
Finker
is.
was, I have this many bullets. If you're in my way, I am
Gas,
melting you
dude.
down. And it was just cool
Gas
to see the
is
two
short
different
for
Finker
gasoline.
philosophies. What would you call
Petrol
it?
is short for
Formidable
petroleum, but
Finker
petroleum is like
force or
raw,
something like that. We
unrefined
named it
gasoline.
something. We'll come back
So
to
it
you
doesn't
with
even
the
make
word.
sense
philosophy.
to call stuff like
Oh.
petrol.
We'll think about it another time.
How's it going, Mr. Ad 9 meter?
There you go. Well, friends, grenades.
I know what
versus
it
LMG.
is.
I think that's
Doesn't
the big
make
story that we
sense.
have. But I want to talk about specific raid plays. James, you got one. Bring it up.
Okay, I feel bad doing this, but I gotta do it to him. Merc has been such a talking point, and he has been the king of playmaking. He made a fantastic play here where he flanked up through Attic and
Dude,
really
I don't
took
make the
big
rules,
tower.
chat.
Shot 2 drones in doing so, and now he's in an unexpected position. He's got behind Empire.
Honestly,
Problem
dude,
is,
I'm like so
what
tired.
happens
I'm
next?
pretty sure I'm
He
gonna
goes
call
outside,
it.
he goes for a peek, and unfortunately,
Holy fuck, am I tired,
he wastes his
dude?
entire magazine.
You're
And that is
moving and you're
honestly, like,
stressed
that is
out.
horrendous, and I was thinking Merc's gotta
What's
be
it
down
called?
bad after that. Maybe with Merc getting shut down
For
like that, Empire
do you want
can
to play
get back in the
Dying
game.
Light, Adam, or are you moving?
We
Are
need
you
a
moving
redemption.
to Ohio?
Because I've been on the Merc train. Stop. We need a
Yeah.
redemption.
I feel bad. I had to do-
Production, give me a redemption story of some kind for Merc. Bring it up on the screen so I can highlight how good Merc is when he is activated. We're down in a post plant, and I'm not entirely sure
You gonna be going
that
this
we are
week?
having the clip that we're
Well,
looking
maybe
for,
the
but
week
don't
after,
worry,
then we'll
because
do
there was a
some
round
Dying
where
Light.
Merc managed to go and six his way into the kitchen door, and when he did, he managed to
All
get a
right,
3K.
chat, I'm, like,
we don't have that
fucking
round for you.
dead.
We have a different one. This goes against my point, unfortunately. So you guys will just have to believe me and trust me that it did happen in round 10.
He was in that particular round. He was lurking for so long. You saw him on the kitchen door, and he sat with the gun 6 out, and he's waiting for his teammates. They call it. He hits it. He walks in sight, clears sight completely out, and that's what enables that plant.
They just don't want to.
All right, chat. I gotta. I can't. I'm just so tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. All right, chat. If you're new to the stream, make sure that you both follow and turn on notifications. The follow button's right here to put me in your followers list. The notification bell's right next to it. It'll ring, give you a notification when I go live. You can click here to sub to me on Twitch or give subs. If you scroll down the page, you'll see all these beautiful Twitch panels. If I'm not online streaming, there should be a home button, an about button, a video button. Click the about button. You'll be able to see all these. And if you're on YouTube, check the description. I have a Charm and Rainbow Six Siege if you want to get it. Step 1, click here and sub to me on Twitch. Step 2, click here and link up your Ubisoft account, Twitch account. When you do that, you will get my in-game Rainbow Six Charm for free on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. All guns, all operators, all features, all future operators. You only have to sub one time for 1 month, and you get to keep the charm forever. So definitely do that. Additionally, every month you sub, you get 60-month sub badge, no ads. Discord will, of course, support the stream. If you have Prime, click here or type *Prime, Amazon Prime. Log in your Amazon account if you're not logged in. You can click here, link up your Amazon account to check out for free, which gives you access to Prime Gaming. You can also link up a family or friend's account, obviously their permission. If you don't have Prime, you can sign up for Prime here or do a free 30-day trial, which gives you all the benefits of Prime, free limited 2-day shipping, Prime Video, Prime Music, Prime Gaming, and much more. And you can the big benefits of Prime Gaming are you can sub to me for free every single month on Twitch. I'll probably host the main channel just because the drops are done for streamers as well right now. So watching streamers won't get you drops. Only the main channel will. You get free games every month on PC, which you get to keep forever, and free in-game content. So definitely do that. If you click the free in-game content tab, you can see all this cool stuff for different games, including a booster for Siege. Where is it? Oh yeah, 1 week renown booster, 7-day booster for Siege. All my social media accounts are right here. My 2 YouTube channels are right here. Massive shout out. Thank you to all of our amazing sponsors as always. G Fuel is 30% off with code KingGeorge. Click this image or type extra short G Fuel in the chat. Use code KingGeorge. Get 30% off your purchase of anything on the G Fuel website. That includes like starter kits, tubs, cups, everything. If you haven't tried G Fuel before, get the starter kit. It's a cup with some flavors. You pour the packet powder in the cup. You add water. I personally also add ice. You shake up. And you have energy drink. 140 milligrams of caffeine, which is like around 2 cups of coffee, same as regular energy drink. They have no sugar. 60 plus delicious flavors that are so good they make caffeine-free versions because people just love the taste so much. Reusable cups, so there's a lot less wasteful, and they're 63 cents per serving. 30% off is the biggest discount you can get on G Fuel. And when you use my code goes twice per month generally for like 5 days each time, 4 or 5 days. it goes 30% off, which is the biggest discount. So just wait, like whatever, 8 to 10 days per month. My code is 30% off, so a lot of the month. When you use my code, you'll get 30% off. It's the biggest discount you can get on G Fuel. I get money from it, helps with my sponsor, and eventually we'll get our own flavor one day potentially, so we can get a malding mango or a raging raspberry or something like that. This is my personal suggestion page, but if you hover the Shop Now tab, you can get starter kits, tubs, cans, tons of stuff, caffeine free. Also, this is my current favorite flavor is Shiny Splash. Just absolutely delicious. It's like a blueberry lemonade. So that's good. And then there's like this Yuzu Slash bundle, which is PewDiePie's flavor. That's super good as well if you haven't tried it. It's this newer flavor. Give 50% off your first order of Keeps. Click this image or type # Keeps in the chat. And you can get 50% off your first order. It helps prevent hair loss. Adam, you need this badly. Let's be honest here. You're malding all the time. So is everyone else that plays Siege. So yeah, definitely make sure to order up. Corsair and Elgato make the best gear out there. That's mouse, keyboard, mousepad, headset, and streaming accessories from Elgato. So capture cards, stream decks, lighting kits, green screens, microphones, webcams, and much more. You can click this image or type # Corsair in the chat and use code KingGeorge to get 10% off your purchase of select products. Yeah, Keeps helps prevent hair loss, yes. So check it out. You can click here or type # PC to check out my beautiful custom build Origin PC. Only the best. They'll custom build it. If you have the desktop tab, you can go to the gaming desktops and have them build you the custom gaming desktop of your dreams. They also have ready to ship desktops. If you go to the laptop section, they have ready to ship stuff, as well as they can custom build you with the laptop of your dreams. They're one of the only companies that do laptops with desktop CPUs and GPUs as an option. You scroll down the page, this is my actual computer. You can click shop now and buy it. Additionally, you can check out this photo gallery of my PC. This is the level of customization you could do. You could put your logos, my logos on the glass. You could pick the color of the lighting, wiring, tubing, like fans, everything pretty much. You can also put your logo or my logo on the side. AimLab is completely free aim training software. Click here to download use AimLab for free. It's the free aim training software I use every single day to warm up and train my aim. It's also the official aim trainer of Rainbow Six Siege, Rainbow Six Pro League. If you want better aim, it's literally free. Like, it will significantly actually help you. Click here or type # merch to check out the full lineup of my merch. Everything from the classic stuff, which is the white logo right here for hoodies and t-shirts. They come in like 25 colors. There's sweatpants, hoodies, t-shirts in crystal, which is what I'm wearing. Face masks, liners, hoodies, sweatpants in black ice, hats in black or white, including beanies. And they also have the black logo on the hoodie right here. And like same thing, 25 colors as well. Red, green, blue, whatever, and t-shirts. Hey, Mr. Ad9 Meter, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime 44-month resub, baby. King of VA, thank you for some Slick Gabe, Callaway EXE for the Prime sub, Beebs for the Prime sub. By the way, Adam, Brandon's unbanned from Twitch, which is good. Did you hear that, by the way? Brandon got banned from Twitch for a year for having the name Diarrhea Balls. I'm not even kidding. All my social media accounts are right here. My 2 YouTube channels are right here. Twitter account is right in the chat. I always post on Twitter for I go live. Anything important goes on Twitter for myself, for Siege, for Twitch, for YouTube, and I also post up in my weekly schedule there. Main YouTube channel is right there. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we have a brand new video up. I have an editor who does a great job. There's actually a new video up right now. When I did a 24-hour stream, and I was actually losing my sanity. Brandon is so fucking dumb, but he's the best. He really is. I put a link in the chat right now, too, for my second YouTube channel, where there's full daily games of Rainbow Six Siege at 9 a.m. Eastern. I back up my Twitch VODs at 8 a.m. Eastern. YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok, where I post daily clips every single day at 10 a.m. Eastern. Funny moments, tips and tricks, rage, malding. It's all there. Public Discord server if you want to check it out. We have an Amazon shop page. If you go to amazon.com/shop/KingGeorge, all my gear is there. Anything you buy through that link off Amazon, literally anything. My gear that's on that page, electronics, clothes, food, 55-gallon drum of lube, whatever it is, I get money if you want to use that link. So bookmark that link and use it on your Amazon purchases. And final thing, we're giving away a $800 worth of Corsair gear. So what you do, you go to the link that's in the chat right there, type # giveaway, click the link, Follow me, follow Corsair, like the tweet, retweet the tweet, and then tag a friend. The friend that you tag, by the way, will win a Corsair K100 keyboard and a Corsair Virtuoso headset. And you will also win a Corsair K100 keyboard and a Corsair Virtuoso headset. So like over $800 worth of gear shipped to your both of your front doors. But that's about it. If you guys are new to the stream, follow, turn on notifications, grab the charm if you have not already. Make sure and stock up and get that 30% off G Fuel. It's only here for like another day. And then it's going away for till next month. And don't forget to enter that giveaway. It's an $800 giveaway, so it's pretty sweet. I'm going to send you guys over to the main channel after this. And yeah, enjoy the finals. Hopefully TSM wins. I'm still going to watch, but I need to like lay down, dude. I can't like sit up and function right now. So, okay. I'll draw the winners tomorrow. I'm exhausted. So, okay. I put a round a week for a reason, so because I'm just dead. Okay. I'll see you guys tomorrow.